All right, we're on YouTube.
Hello,
Hope
YouTube.
Andrew shows up. I feel bad.
It's past Andrew's bedtime.
I feel bad for when I was leaving and he was asking me a question, but I didn't think he was talking to me, so I just passed him.
There was a lot of cross chatter
But
going on.
You
What,
made a
Comic-Con?
point to go, yeah. I'm like, I'll see you later. And he asked me, are you going to LA Podfest? And I didn't think he was talking to me because I don't know why I would go to that. And then when we were leaving, Brenda was like, he was talking to you. I'm like, oh.
Well, because we were all talking about going to it, so I don't know.
Oh, I wasn't a part of the conversation.
How dare you?
How dare you?
I wish I was consulted about those pot deliveries.
Lindy put the kibosh on it, and I wasn't. If anybody objected, I wasn't going to do it. I'm not going to force people to.
Lindy.
But we have 4 people in for LA, right?
Yes, me, you, Derek, and Lindy.
Exciting.
For trying,
Yeah.
not trying.
For not trying.
Yeah.
The reef. It's a mile away.
Okay.
Mile away.
That sounds like a good rate for all those people.
Yeah.
It's $35.
Plus, Haley Atwell's going to be there, so that might
Are we
draw.
gonna go over there and meet her.
I'm going to try to.
I mean,
I'm gonna try to
we'll
sell her a
probably
Lego.
Have to pay something.
I'm
She's
willing to
gonna
pay.
me for my
I'll pay
Legos.
$20 to get
I
a
think
picture
you
of
do.
Haley Atwell.
Hello,
I'm not. You can.
I also have a conversation starter for Haley Atwell.
What? I like Agent Carter.
I live. No, I grew up next door to Bridget Regan, and they're like friends. I got an in.
Hmm.
Bridget Regan, who plays the red hair, the Black Widow.
Well, I have listened to the comedian Brian Regan before.
I don't think they're
That's
related.
a better
It doesn't matter. It's all connected. 6 degrees.
However,
man.
Haley Atwell is delightful. Like on Twitter,
I'm sure. I'm
She
just not
is.
paying any money to meet someone. People pay me money to meet.
I'd consider paying if I sell a bunch of stuff.
You blow it all on.
$20.
Is that what the rate is? Or you
I'm.
guessing?
I think that's.
I think at least
Hypothetical.
35. At
Well,
least.
then maybe I won't.
I mean, I don't want to.
That's a lot of money.
About it too.
But she's so sweet and cheerful and.
Get her on the way out. You're trying to get.
Well, I went up to Larry Hama and he wasn't charging anything, but that's Larry Hama.
There's
He
a
wrote-
difference.
The Death of Captain America novel.
Yes.
You know that they re-released the 3 Alien novelizations.
I used to have those.
I know, but for some reason they re-released.
They're
them.
really good.
Alan Dean Foster.
Yeah. Because the Alien 3 one is like not very much like the
It's like
movie.
totally
Because
different.
there was like I think it was based on like the second draft because it's got the dog alien in it because like the aliens latch onto a dog and then there's like this alien dog hybrid which if you watch the making of they tried it and like the effects didn't work so they scrapped it. That's in there. A bunch of stuff like way more stuff about the like it's like because it's more like where there were monks. Like it's a totally different. Sorry,
We're on
it's
YouTube.
pre-show.
Pre-show.
How
All right.
long has your longest pre-show been? Like 2 hours.
We've done like an hour
At least an
pre-show.
hour, yeah.
Well, there's also been like where we were setting up and then we were yelling at each other for a while about something and
Yeah,
I
mostly
don't
you yelling at
get
me.
the Joe's Crab Shack thing where you're like, oh, I need a number. You're like, just get it together.
well, because Phil was like, how many? And then you almost made it sound like, oh, I don't know if we can do that.
No, I just said I need to know how many.
And I
people to
said,
tell them.
one. I'm like me and Anthony, and then you're like, oh, is that how that might be? You're like, how many is that?
No, I said how. I know. Then I was asking Janelle, how many is that?
And I thought you were like,
And then you're like, no.
well, I thought you were gonna be like,
no.
no, you can't bring an extra person because it's too many. And I'm like, they can seat 10 people.
Yeah.
What are you doing right now?
Because I'm like, okay, Janelle, he's got Anthony. How many is that?
Our
So I
emotions
didn't
run
say-
high at a comic.
I just thought you were telling me I couldn't bring
Don't you
Anthony, and I'm
tell
like,
me how many
I don't
people
need
Joe
this right now.
My favorite was I already ate here.
He's very emotional about Joe's crap.
Because I was operating on like 4 hours of sleep.
I could tell.
It was Sunday, 45. I think I calculated 45 miles total.
Yeah, I know. And they were all unleashed upon me.
Oh, that was not that bad.
I know. But it was a little out of nowhere because I'm like, hey, Harry, come over here.
It always is.
We're going to have lunch. Don't throw this to me right now.
I like that we can all talk about it.
It's good.
And it's not like,
good.
oh.
After, you know.
All right, you guys ready?
Okay, ready.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creasy,
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
and we've got Derek here. How's it going, Derek?
I'm back.
You had to come back to Ukaipo. You couldn't get
I've seen a
enough.
lot of Phil in the last couple months. Usually just every year at Comic-Con or so. There's been a lot of Phil.
Well, you needed to see the orchard. Last
Saw
time you
the
didn't get to
orchard
see
for
it.
the first time.
What
I
were your
tasted the fruit.
What were your favorite fruits?
I like the plum.
Yeah.
And I like the fig.
Yeah.
The tangerine. No, the nectarine.
Nectarine? Didn't like the
That was the
nectarine?
best.
Oh, that was the
Nectarine
best.
was
Okay.
definitely the best.
So how would you rank them? Nectarine,
Nectarine, plum,
fig.
fig.
But you did like the fig.
I like the fig.
Okay.
I didn't
got
know
a
about
weird-
the unclean fruit from fresh from the tree, but Phil
Just
was
eat
like,
it.
just eat it.
Yeah. Well, what do you? I don't use anything on it. There's
No
nothing.
pesticides.
No
Well, you were
pesticides.
rubbing your shirt too.
Well, I just don't like the dirt on it.
It's not dirt.
I don't know.
It's just air.
Because it's literally just hanging there, not being touched by anything.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just.
And there's nothing wrong with polishing it, but there's no I don't use chemicals at all. It's organic.
Because they're small, and you can tell that they're organic.
Well, those ones in
Homegrown.
particular, the plums grow much larger on the other trees. Those ones are just small. I thought they were cherries when we first moved in.
Saw Phil's game collection, his VHSs,
All his DVDs, his old
Mhm.
toys.
garage,
I didn't even show him the music collection because that's in the bedroom.
Not allowed. I don't even get to go in the
That's off
bedroom.
the
limits.
bedroom is off limits.
Because man, you think I have a lot of stuff out there.
I've heard stories about the bedroom though.
Well,
During moves and.
Well, I
things
told
that
him.
were-
Well, that's the favorite stories when I found your special pillow and he freaked out.
I'm like, you don't want to carry that around.
I was like, "What's that for?" And then he explained it and went, "Oh."
But I have well over 2,000 CDs in alphabetical order in my bedroom. So
How many records do you have now?
So when it's time to
I
get
don't know,
romantic,
several
do you-
hundred.
Do you slip on a record or a
um,
CD, some music?
just whatever. The record player's in the living room.
Do you have a romance mix?
Maybe.
Okay.
You're like, shoot.
And I can tell you this right now. Brendan knows some of it, but most people would not have any idea any of the bands on it.
And you wouldn't say if they were
Well,
guest.
no, nope,
Okay.
nope. I don't think
Salt
so.
and
I'd have to
pepper.
think about it, but no, I guarantee you would not know any of the bands.
A little bit of Mighty Boston's.
Oh, you got me on that one.
Nothing.
Felix a good
Turns-
horn section.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. Totally.
Cherry Poppin' Daddies. I mean, there you go. We saw them. They played on the because we went to we went to
Roseanne.
multiple Roseanne when she had her talk show. We went to the tapings and one of the bands was we saw it was Cherry Poppin' Daddies was on one and
Smash Mouth, wasn't it?
no it was what are the Canadians, the 1 week guys, Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah.
When I was in 7th grade, the niece of the drummer of Smash Mouth was in my class, and this was at my peak Smash Mouth fandom. And I was like, "Can you tell me about Smash?" And she was decked head to toe in Korn paraphernalia. So she was so embarrassed by her lineage being associated with Smash Mouth.
Man, you went to because you had Allison Brie at your school.
That was high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I don't understand, like, my musical tastes before high school were completely
That's everybody.
ridiculous.
That's everybody. Everybody has that like turning point where because for a while you kind of it's this mishmash of like things your parents listen to and then some like popular, like whatever's popular. Because like I remember very distinctly it was like my dad had Michael Jackson and like the Beach Boys and like Village People. So like we
What is
listened to
your mom
Thriller. My mom is Madonna, Mariah Carey. She had like Debbie Gibson, but then she also listened to like a lot of oldies like Creedence and The Doors and stuff like that. But she also listened to a lot of like 80s soul R&B. I call that mom music, and listening to it is like comforting for me because it's like I'm in my mom's minivan and we're listening to like that one song. What is it? She was with the Niecy, like that. What's that? How's that song go? Crap. Anyways,
down hard, baby.
well, that's my jam. That's summer '96 jam.
When I drove over here, it took me 2 hours to drive over here. I listened to the full soundtrack of Dumb and Dumber and The Mask. And when I was a kid, the only music I bought was soundtracks, and 90s soundtracks. Were good decisions.
Oh yeah,
Because Clueless turned.
I know you were
20
talking
this
about
year,
Clueless, and that's
and I watched that. And
that
it was-
soundtrack is incredible.
And I was going through that, and that's a good soundtrack
That-
too.
That soundtrack introduced me to the Lightning Siege, which ended up being like one of my favorite all-time bands. A lot of other.
That's when I first heard ska music was in Clueless, and that
It's like
set me on a little tangent for quite a while.
it's weird that it's in there because nothing. They're not like ska kids. Or
No, but
anything.
it
They
was just
go to that.
time.
I think it was just like
They
a
went to
lot
that
of
club
there
or
was. They
wherever
went
it
to
was.
the.
Or was
Well, it was like a warehouse party,
yeah, something.
and that was the introduction of Mighty Mighty Boss Tones
Yeah,
to
to
me,
the world.
growing up as
It
a
was like
Mexican,
Oingo Boingo and Bachelor Party.
yeah.
growing up as a Mexican kid in LA, listening
Just
to
a lot
like
of Morrissey.
ranchero, listening to like ranchero
That is
music
true though.
is like '90s nostalgia for me. Like no doubt.
Yeah, everybody's got their.
ranchero music.
Because that's like my
is, the
mom's
same.
R&B soul music.
Yeah.
Or like a Whitney Houston ballad. I immediately just think of like sitting at home because my dad bought my mom a CD player for her 40th birthday, but this was when CD players were like $1,000, and then he got an amplifier that weighed like 100 pounds, and this was like a monstrosity. And then like she played like Whitney Houston, Fine Young Cannibals. I remember that was a big one.
Name 2 other songs by Fine Young.
Good Thing.
How does that go?
Do 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 ba do good thing.
That sounds like
I
you
know
made
one.
I
song
swear
by
to
them
you.
and one
Oh,
only.
dude, I'm gonna
I
prove
believe
it.
you.
What
Like,
was the third one?
Oh crap. Well,
it
dude.
must drive you crazy not to be able to think of it.
That was a song that I hated at first, but now I love it.
Speaking of Finding Cannibals, I think at least 2 of the people in Finding Cannibals, before they were Finding Cannibals, they were
Beatles.
no. Crap. Somebody's gonna. Henry Smith says Derek.
Cool.
Let's see, what were they called? They did Tenderness, which is on the Weird Science soundtrack, and then they brought it back for the
Try a Little
Clueless.
Tenderness?
No,
It's
the
just a song.
it's playing at the end of Clueless, and it's at the end of
Oh,
Weird
that's Fine
Science.
Young Cannibals?
Well, it's the band before. What are they called? English Beat.
Do, 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 do,
Tenderness.
Do you remember
where is
when-
your tenderness?
For some reason, Adam Sandler's
That's the singer from Finding Cannibals.
Just Go With It is completely filled with mashups, and that is with Umbrella, and that was in all of the previews, and it goes well with it.
Hmm.
Adam Sandler.
Well, you know what else about Finding Cannibals? There's a Sesame Street cover that's C drives me crazy. It's about the letter C,
yeah.
and it was Fine Young Camels, and it's like these camels dancing
remember
around.
that.
Yeah.
They had some. I remember my favorite thing, like one of my favorite Sesame Street ones was they did Shiny Happy. Wasn't it Shiny Happy Monsters?
Yeah, I think
And
so.
they had the
Wasn't Michael
'cause-
Stipe was in it, right?
well, Michael Stipe was in it, and then they had they had a puppet for the B-52s girl because they had like the beehive, and yeah, it was pretty great. I love that
They
one.
had the Spin Doctors,
Oh yeah,
2 princes.
but yeah, so I went from that.
One more. The scariest one was a U that was pulling in the singer singing "You Really Got a Hold on Me," but he was like assaulting the person. It was scary to me.
Dude, I've had some weird unemployment moments, you guys, where like this song went in my head, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" And it was like I know this is something from when I was a kid, and I was like trying to think about it, and I was like, and it was in my head. It was like the chorus goes, "Boo hoo wah wah, sad sad," and I'm like, "What is this? What the heck is this?" And then I typed it in, and it's a freaking Sesame Street song
For what?
for like telling kids it's okay to cry. It's a song about these tough
But is
boys.
it a parody or something?
No, it's an original song about like these tough guys. They're like this gang of tough, but they're like, we still cry, boo hoo wah wah, sad sad. Dude, you gotta watch. Oh, dude, we're watching it.
Don't do it on the show.
Oh, come on.
It's fine.
Oh.
We'll watch it later.
We'll watch
Remember
it.
Serial Girl? About a girl that loves cereal, about Material Girl.
Well, okay, you know the sad thing?
In a cereal
Cereal world.
I am.
The Mr.
a
Hooper's
Sad,
cereal
dead?
the sad
girl.
Sesame Street news this week. Maria is retiring.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know
Does that
she was
affect
still
you?
on the
Do you still
show.
watch the show?
Kids
Your
watch
kids?
Sesame
Yeah, but-
Street.
Your kids?
Do you watch
Yeah.
the new like current?
Well, whenever they
Well-
put them up on there.
Well, I got him the old school because I'm
Yeah.
like, you gotta, because isn't it like all Elmo all the time now?
No, see, everyone
Well-
thinks that, but it's not.
Lynch's kid used to watch it, and so we watched the new one that is like redesigned.
Is Tully still on it?
Yeah.
And like parodies Comic-Con and stuff, but they have Sesame Street Rewind that tells you things like this is not for educational purposes because this is so old, and it's stuff like kids on the street, and Gordon comes down. He's like, "Oh, I have Kermit's upstairs. Follow me upstairs." He's like, "Okay." And he goes upstairs to the apartment.
yeah.
Kermit's like, "Hey,"
Yeah.
it's like, "Hey, kids, follow strangers," because Muppets are in their
That
apartment.
happened a lot because there was the Three Bears and a Little Baby one, and the kids like that one. It's like the baby bear one, and the little girl has to go to the bathroom, and the guy's like, "Oh, come on up, you can use my bathroom," and they go up in the.
I'm like, what are they
that's
teaching children here?
Let's do that.
Different time. But anyway, yeah. So they still,
I guess because
So
I
that
watched a
means-
lot with Emma, but she specifically loved the Elmo
Well,
show.
Right, so you get. I mean,
So
but
we
that's like
watched-
the segment at the
But
end.
then that's all we watched was the Elmo shows,
What
and we'd watch
happens
them.
to Maria's husband and her kid?
I don't know.
They're gonna. Kill
Are they
her
gonna
off.
just replace Maria?
Maybe.
gonna kill her off.
Well,
She's
Is she like
retiring.
super old?
She's like in her 70s, I think.
Because I'm like
She's been on it since practically since the beginning.
since like the '60s.
Yeah, like I think
Barney all
we got a
day. What is
Barney
wrong
fan
with you?
over here. No.
No.
Because when I would spend summers,
Barney never made the greatest movie ever made,
No.
aka Follow That Bird.
Barney was in a movie though.
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
movie
but-
probably was
His
stupid.
attraction's still in Universal
His
Studios
movie
Florida,
didn't have
a-
untouched and not moved.
I don't think Willie Nelson was in
No.
the Barney movie
But when I was at a
or
kid,
Waylon Jennings.
I used to spend summers at my grandparents. They didn't have cable, so I would watch everything that was on PBS. And I was like 11, watching like Sesame Street.
Did you watch Today's Special? Because that show was amazing.
That was
That was
on
Nickelodeon.
at that point.
Oh,
Mr. Rogers,
I always get
Puzzle Place,
confused.
which
Puzzle
perplexes
Place.
you. All right, do you know what the Puzzle Place was?
I remember
a,
it.
a bunch of different races of kids that have this special intangible place that they can all go from around the world.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
And they would have episodes like, oh, the white kid wants to dread out his hair because he likes the black kid, but he can't do that.
Was Ghost Rider on when you were a kid?
Ghost Rider was on
Was it with Julia Stiles?
the Max Mouse episode. Yes, and the one where the kid wanted to join the gang, but
Yeah.
they made him smoke pot.
Yes.
The one where Ghost Rider traveled through
I
time.
remember there was a scary episode that like scared the crap out
There
of
was
me.
the Goofy Gus episode where they're trying to write a scary story.
I think that
based
was
off
it.
that doll.
I think there was a doll. Yes, scared the crap out of me, and I was
They
like,
kept
I can't watch
casting
this.
kids in it.
Oh yeah, it was like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Well,
or like,
that's why Barney is creepy because I grew up with my sisters into Barney because where there's a big gap there, and the same kids are on it all the way through. So by the end of their run, like you've got this like 16-year-old kid
They're
like
losing their virginity.
he's
on
like,
the show.
but he's like learning how to like do the alphabet still, and I'm like, dude, that kid learned that like 10 years ago.
How Barney doesn't like teach him how to use his learner's program? or
No,
something?
no, he's still like, oh Barney, let's sing a song about taking a bath, and he's like, okay, kids.
Maybe they're like just severely like
Developed.
mentally
Apparently.
disturbed.
But if so, what does that tell you about the kids that are learning from Barney? All of them are behaving that way?
But yeah, there was going back to music.
Yes, okay.
There was. What are you doing?
Getting another water.
Okay. Can you give me one?
Yeah.
Thank you. So there was that period where you're just listening to like things your parents and then things that were really popular. Like I remember when Don't Worry Be Happy, like what was that, 88?
Something like that, because that was
And that was just all
that
over
was my
the
grandma's
place.
favorite thing. We listened
And then
to
the
that
next
thing.
year, because I remember the next year was Kokomo, and then Kokomo was just freaking everywhere.
Well,
and-
then
and I remember-
Mermaid soundtrack
and-
came
oh,
out,
yeah.
too, and
But I remember my dad and my mom got in a huge fight because my dad was like a Beach Boys purist. So Kokomo came out,
Like,
and my
that's not
dad,
Beach
well, my
Boys.
dad, I remember I didn't understand this at the time, but my dad's like, I don't want any of that Mike Love shit in the house.
I agree with
I was
that.
like-
Because Kokomo's the worst song ever written. I don't like Kokomo.
There's worse songs.
And then
My dad hated Mike Love with like,
what's
of
the crazy Beach
fire.
Boys name?
well, it's Brian Wilson,
Like
but
when-
he's
So Brian Wilson wasn't around when the Beach Boys did the Problem Child soundtrack.
no, he
And
wasn't.
that
That's
sucks.
all their sellout. Like you could call it the Beach Boys sellout because they were on Full House. They did like 300 shows a year.
And in that
They were
that
doing
movie
shows
that they made
everywhere.
about Brian Wilson, Mike Love was the one like, let's just be normal, man. I can't stand all this.
Did you see it?
Yeah,
Is it
experiment. I liked it.
I wanna
So
see it.
while Brian Wilson as John Cusack was locked in a closet by his crazy doctor, like
Yeah.
they were shelling out.
They were just they were doing everything.
I saw him play a couple times during the Mike Love
I saw him at
guy
least.
in it.
Well, my dad would reluctantly go because he's like, I guess as long as they play the old stuff, but they really wouldn't that much.
No,
I mean, they'd play like they'd be like, I get around and like some of the, but you wouldn't hear stuff. You wouldn't hear any pet sound stuff or like.
We never did that. But...
Well, like they might do like they would. I remember sometimes like they wouldn't even play like Good Vibrations. Like,
would you call Look Who's Talking a kids movie?
yes and no.
Because I brought it over.
I saw it when I was a kid.
And I put it in, and then sperm come out. My grandfather's like, I'm turning this garbage off.
I saw it in the theater with my parents, and I think they were like, "Oh."
But I didn't know what was going on.
I think that's
like,
part of it.
I watched it as a
because
kid.
At one point,
Well, the second one is the sperm one.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
no, they're both
of them. But in the second one, when they show the Roseanne Barr kid to Mikey, they're like, Mikey, this is your little sister. And the baby goes, who's this asshole? And my grandfather went ballistic.
It wasn't until the third one when they put the animals in, that's when it went like full kid.
But the first and second ones, like when I went back and watched them, like, these are really dirty.
John Travolta's boss is trying to sleep with him by snowing in stuff. So that
I never saw this.
It's pretty bad.
And there's a lot of dog sex humor, because obviously.
I guess I haven't watched it. And I think, didn't they do another like straight to video one?
Oh, if there did, I would have known.
Maybe not then.
After now, that you think there's another one?
Look Who's Talking Today.
Do you know that it was a TV series?
No,
With
really?
Tony Danza, Baby Talk on TGIF.
I didn't know that was like a Look Who's Talking.
That was, I mean, I guess they had to pay the Look Who's Talking people because it was a blatant ripoff of Look Who's Talking.
Wow. I did not know.
I am an expert of all TGIF eras.
Well, I definitely bow to your superior knowledge in that area.
So they did announce recently they took a picture from the table read and Scott is in Fuller House. I remember you didn't really care, but Janelle knew what I was talking about.
Janelle was more excited about it than I am.
So I'm wondering, what if he's the love interest?
He has to be.
He has to be, right?
That he was the guy that died.
Yeah, that's at first, but then he's like, his name wasn't Fuller, so.
I watched enough Full House to know like what you guys are talking about.
I can't wait for Uncle Joey, like old Uncle Joey antics. Like, what's he gonna be doing? What's Uncle Joey up to now?
Trying to still do his stand-up with puppets.
Does he have the Mr. Woodchuck revival? Like,
I don't think Popeye impressions are gonna go too far with these kids.
Is he still doing the like, and then the wood thing, like all the like, ooh, it sounds like.
Well, I was watching it recently with Brian. And it was the episode where Danny dates like a college student.
Oh yeah, and he's always singing the Young Girl song.
Because she broke up with him and he was sad and he's singing Young Girl in the kitchen. But as we were watching it, all the family was shocked that Danny's date was so young.
Yeah.
He was like, do you think this is based off of Joey Gladstone dating 19-year-old Alanis Morissette? Because they were all high-fiving each other for that stuff. Yeah.
I just remember that Bob Saget did America's Funniest Home Videos, and then Dave Coulier tried to do America's Funniest People, and it was not as good.
America's Funniest People was a mess.
It was always like going to malls and then having people do weird
impressions and
it was weird short films.
It was the Cracked to America's Funniest Home Videos mad. I kid you not, because it was a little edgier, and the kids would be like, "Oh, we got to watch America's." It was
I read
after
recently. I'm going to read a little Wikipedia article about that because there was like a race issue of the original hosts. Arlene Sorkin, who's the voice of Harley Quinn, and why she was thrown off the show, and she sued them.
With America's Funniest People?
Yeah.
Really?
Hold on.
Did you ever watch Out of Control? That was one of the original Nick shows.
Yeah.
With Dave Coulier.
Yeah. And
they had the fast forward thing.
Yep.
And then they would just do weird stuff like they'd be like a restaurant review and like it'd be like Dave Coulier in a restaurant and like just doing like, oh, look at these meatballs, like this dumb crap.
In 1992, Sorkin was dismissed from America's Funniest People by Vin DeBona.
Yeah.
In response, Sorkin filed a lawsuit against DeBona, claiming that she was dismissed from the show due to her race. After ABC chairman Dan Burke had suggested to DeBona that Sorkin be replaced by an African American or a person of ethnic minority.
So reverse discrimination.
So Sorkin sought $450,000 for lost earnings and an additional unspecified amount for harm to her personal reputation and emotional injury. Sorkin additionally claimed that after she denounced the move as being racially motivated, DeBona changed plans and hired new co-host Tawny Katane, who is also white. I don't remember her being on the show.
I only remember Dave Coulier, but it didn't do it for me. So I don't
the show wasn't on that long, was it?
I guess it was on a little bit.
Well,
because it premiered like the next year after.
And America's Funniest Home Videos was huge.
Yeah. Still is in my house.
I
My
know.
kids are still mourning that Tom Bergeron retired.
Oh my gosh.
I kid you not.
So who's the new host?
It's Carlton from Fresh Prince.
Did he leave on his own, or they get
Yeah,
him?
he's like retired. He did it for like 20 years or
Yeah,
something.
he was on it forever.
He's the longest host of the
He's
show.
on it longer than Bob Saget.
But my
He
kids,
just, but his
Audrey, like
his
we watched
jokes,
his last episode.
he made me appreciate Bob Saget because when he tries to do the jokes, like they are terrible.
It's all bad though. Bob Saget.
Yeah, but
for
Bob
bad.
Saget
Remember
was
when
at
Bob
least-
Saget would like do voices.
Yeah.
For the,
Oh yeah,
That's the difference. Is he just like narrates.
it's always like a dry, like this guy is going to try a different mode of transportation. Then he'll like
and then he'll
scooter
like,
off the roof.
Bob Saget would be like, "Oh, this looks like a fun thing."
Yeah.
Remember when Joey and Bob Saget like the same girl, and since
Yes.
Joey could do all the voices, Danny was like, "I can do voices. I'm Tom and Jerry," and it was those Americans. It's like they don't talk.
With Audrey and Luke, their dream is to get a video on America's Funniest Home
They're
Videos.
always coming
They
up.
do
with-
rehearsals.
They're doing cooked videos.
Oh, dude, they do rehearsals. They're like, "Daddy, get your videos doing this," and they'll like pretend to trip over something
Are
or
you
whatever.
just walking in the kitchen one day and they're just banging your face with a
I'm
frying
afraid it
pan?
might get there at some point. But when we watch the final episode of Tom Bergeron, Audrey's like all sad, and she looks at me and she's like, "Well, Daddy, we might get on America's Funniest Home Videos one day, but it won't be with Tom Bergeron."
Wow, your kids are very.
I'm like, I know, but it'll still be cool if you get on there someday.
Your kids care about things.
They
That's
do.
Good.
They really do.
They really
They're
do.
very passionate about it.
My favorite video of all time may have been staged. It's because it's somebody.
So
else.
many of those are
Oh, yeah.
staged.
It's somebody else walking on the beach, and for whatever reason, this guy's being filmed, and he sees a hot lady, and he turns to look, trips, and falls into the butt of another hot lady, and he's like, "Oh, oh God!" I laughed.
It does seem you can tell on a lot of them. They're set up.
The easy ones are like fat guy jumping in the pool breaking.
Yeah.
Everybody likes
Or just
that.
little kids doing. Well, as Jeff always points out, the kids, it's either babies or dogs, and if you can get a baby plus a dog,
Yep.
that's like super gold.
Yep.
That's like $1 million right
There's a
there.
video of me on the 4th of July 1991 crying because there's no more squirt left. And for some reason I had it in my head that there was a commercial where maybe squirt gave you superpowers or something. So I was like devastated there was no more squirt left. And I can't drink squirt around my dad anymore because
It's a touchy subject.
he'll bring it up.
Man.
All right, we got some reader mail.
All right. Mario wrote in this week.
Mario,
We're going to address some of them.
This is the abridged version.
this is an abridged Mario.
Okay.
Mario, you gotta tone it down a little bit, please. Wait, should I even tell him that? Because now,
No, now you just like.
now I
fired
opened
in
the
other direction.
Pandora's box. Well, so you can just send them in and see what we end up
Yeah,
reading.
We'll pick and choose. We can't read everything.
You guys need sound effects for the Marmaduke section. After Phil reads the strip, we hear a sad trumpet joke fail. Wah, wah, wah.
All right, so Derek, you want to be our guest?
Sure, we can do that.
Derek's going to be our guest sound effects guy for Marmaduke tonight. Should I read
Let's-
it now in case he has to leave?
No, let's just do it.
What if you have to leave?
Well,
Okay.
before I leave, we'll
Before
make
you
sure we
leave,
do
you
it.
got to do it. Okay.
And then, has Brax ever gone on vacation? If so, what was he on vacation from?
Yes, he went. They visited.
Well, they
home.
went to Planet
To
Brax.
Planet Brax, yes. And he was on vacation from being.
Also, they were getting sued, but
Well, yeah, that happened too. But
then they also went to SeaWorld one
they've
time.
gone to SeaWorld.
They went on
Does
tour.
he mean
They went on
like
tour.
the strip on vacation or the character?
No, he means the character. He's giving me a hard time because I go on vacation and I don't have a full-time job. So I go on vacation from what? That's his thing.
Oh,
Because I'm on
Come on.
vacation from being on
I saw
home.
you at your house. You got to tend to that orchard,
I know, right?
Yeah.
till the soil.
Take care of the kids. I'm not saying I don't have it easy. Don't get me wrong, but I do stuff.
What is your? I think we've done this before. What is your typical school day?
School day, yeah, because we've talked about like there's not a typical day throughout
Uh-huh.
most of the year, but school
You
day,
wake up,
get
7,
up, get the kids ready.
6, 7.
It's like 7.
Okay.
Well, it depends. If we have to drop Janelle off, it's earlier. But if I'm not dropping her off, 7. Get the kids ready. School's at 8:10, and drop them off. Well, now I'm dropping Luke off this year, so I'll actually have 3 hours to get stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Before I would come home with Luke, and then we
Get
would,
stuff done.
You
yeah.
get to see.
Watch more Mexican pointy shoes videos.
You
Well,
get to watch Hot Bench.
interspersed. with
Hot
that.
Bench is the one with 3 judges.
No, I can't do daytime Judge TV. It's not.
Phil will get sucked
I can't
into
do
a
that.
hole so
If Joe
fast.
comes home and says, "What did I do?" and I say, "Judge Judy, Judge Alex, Judge Marilyn Million," then it's gonna be trouble.
You can just say you dusted or something.
That was
So
pre-Audrey
what do you
Phil.
do now that they're gone?
So now that they're gone, it's gonna be balanced between housework, which is
They do have.
sorry need.
It seems like
do
they.
you put in like music like "Dude Looks Like a Lady" and dance with the vacuum and stuff?
Yes, music, but no songs again that you would have any idea what I'm talking about.
Phil
Yeah.
seems to constantly be doing. It's a never-ending dishes and laundry.
Well, that's like the main. But see, now I'll have time to chip off beyond that because that's like the daily maintenance. You got to do dishes and laundry constantly because you got 4 people.
Mm-hmm. You have a dishwasher?
You have a dishwasher, but still you got to load it and undo it.
And the kids, like, they're always eating little things, and they get a little bowl for everything, and you gotta wash all those bowls.
It's definitely like walking up a sand
cups
dune
and-
with having children, you know.
It's never-ending cups and bowls and.
They're finally, like this summer though, they're getting more responsibilities and stuff. So
Janelle did
for
teach
lunch-
him how to load the laundry.
Yeah.
By lunchtime, what are you doing?
So well then, I mean, I got to pick up. Luke's done at 11:45.
Okay.
So it's only
Is
like
Audrey doing a full day yet?
She goes until like 1:30.
Wow.
Something like that now. And then if she has electives, it goes to like 2:30. So
Sports ball?
sport ball, yeah, sports ball.
Sports ball.
That's what they're elective. It's sports ball. It's just all different sports that have balls. And Audrey told me like after the first
At
day
first
I
we
picked her
thought
up-
she was making it up.
Yeah, well, no, right. But then, like, the first day I picked her up, she's like, "Daddy, we played volleyball today." And the lady's like, "No, what did we play today?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, softball." She's like, and she told me, she's like, she's going to learn, she's learning a lot. I think that, you know.
She's learning about the balls.
Yeah, with
the
my help,
different
I
balls.
think she could really, like, you know, do well in the class. And I'm like, she might need extra tutoring in this because she's not getting the help from home. I can help her learn to read.
She did take a Lego one, seemed pretty
She took
cool.
a Lego elective.
You can teach her how to do that spin pitch. The underhand
Yeah,
spin
sure,
pitch.
yeah. You saw me dancing over here. The spin pitch is not, even just because
So you
underhand.
pick them up. What
So
do
pick
they
them up.
do? What do you set them to do? Are they doing homework or are they doing?
I mean, they have a little bit of homework, but it's not. I mean, it's like write a little story or something. So they'll do that. But
What's their
A lot.
afternoon activity?
we'll just play we'll play a board game. We'll do puzzles. We go outside. You know, depending on temperature, we'll go outside and play on the trampoline or whatever. A lot of times, you know, I'll get them outside on the playground or the swing set or the trampoline, and then I'll do some yard work. You know.
Then Janelle comes home.
Then Janelle comes home and, you know, more usually at that point it's like free time, like just, you know, that's when they get to play video games or just get Legos or whatever. I mean, we play some stuff throughout the day too, but it's usually more.
Who makes dinner?
It depends.
Okay.
Usually probably Janelle, but
Sweet.
not because she's just a better
She's
cook.
a really good
She's-
cook.
and she really likes to cook too. There's some food I'm really good at making, but she's just really good.
Mhm.
Like so.
What time do they go to bed?
It lights out by 8:30,
Mm-hmm.
but you know usually about 7:30 we start the process because by the time
Because
you
it's
brush
kind of a
teeth
process.
And
because
then
they stretch it out like
you
no
read
other.
Jonathan Livingston Seagull as Janelle is doing her needle points.
Yeah, something like that. Well, we always like read a bedtime story is the last thing for them, and then no, I mean I don't. Because I don't go to bed. That's when I get my creative work done normally.
Well, 'cause Janelle goes to
kids
bed
go
Janelle
pretty
goes to bed,
early.
and it's Phil's time to
So
shower.
yeah, so like Janelle and I'll hang out for an hour or two until she's ready to go to bed, and then that's when I get to writing
Or
whatever.
sit around watch YouTube
or if
videos.
I'm distracted, play a few
You
puzzles.
say writing needs to sit around watching YouTube.
Yeah, I want you know, or somewhere in between there. Usually a combination. of both.
Combination of
Usually
all.
it's like, oh, this is a really good scene. Oh, dude, I've been wanting to watch that video about Mexican pointy boots again.
Oh, I haven't beaten this level on.
Then I'll type a little, and then that's right, I forgot
And
about
what
this.
time do you get to bed?
It
Varies.
depends, but usually, I mean, the earliest is usually like 2 or 3.
Oh, wow.
If
Phil
don't get
does
any
not
sleep.
sleep.
I don't sleep much.
So average is like 4 hours a day?
Yeah, I mean, and then probably like 1 or 2 nights a week, I get extra tired and I'll go to bed by midnight.
You're like Jim Lee, because Jim Lee gets up early. Because he's not only the publisher, but he's still drawing half of the line.
Yeah.
And so he wakes up at 3 in the morning and just starts drawing.
He probably has more to show for it than I do, but
You
yeah.
have a YouTube history.
Well, you should see it, man. I watch all kinds of good dance videos and old footage of bands.
Where do you do that in the house?
Well, you saw his
My
little
little
corner
corner
over there.
Oh, okay.
Now, there's
I
times.
pictured a basement for some reason, but
There's
a
no basement. We're in
in Southern
California, yeah. But there's times when my desk gets piled up with too much
If
junk.
I haven't been grilling him,
Brendo doesn't come over and keep me honest, so then I wind up migrating over to the table or out to the playroom.
So when you recorded there,
I was out in the
the
playroom.
both of you, You're in the playroom.
Yeah.
Well, we only did that a couple times.
Yeah.
And Luke is in the next room?
Yes.
Sometimes though, like a lot of times though, Luke would end up sleeping in Audrey's room.
Yeah,
It's
like
the FCC tapping on the glass and you guys get too rowdy.
well, normally either if he's because we only did it together there like twice maybe.
Yeah. But what if like when it was like you
But
were
when it's
in there
just
by
me,
yourself?
Like usually we start late enough that he's
There were the
asleep.
puzzle camp.
Yeah.
camera
His
on the
kids are
puzzle.
very
Yeah.
heavy sleepers.
Okay.
So normally he'd be asleep and I close the door in between us and then just do it, you know.
And you've never seen their bedroom?
Yeah.
Well, he's seen
Okay.
it, but just
I
in
just wanna know
general.
how off
I
limits
slept
it was.
in there. I slept in Luke's room.
No, he means our bedroom.
Oh, I've been in there a couple times.
Yeah, it's just
When I was
okay,
helping you clean up,
when someone's
and
coming
then
over.
when I was
and you wanna,
helping
like,
Luke find his socks,
when someone's coming over and you want to tidy it up, that's just the last place you hit. So if it's bad,
it's just giant piles of laundry, giant piles of DVDs,
clean
Phil's
laundry. So I'll take the clean
insane
laundry.
CD collection, Janelle's CD collection,
that takes up 3 walls. on the
Janelle's
floor.
various piles of stuff.
It's honestly right now probably better than usual.
Your
But it's
bed
just-
has like all kinds of just kids stuff.
Yeah.
Just
It's just it's not the most presentable part of the house. That's all.
never
I
has
liked
been.
There's a lot of room. Smelled like my grandparents' house in a good way.
Which I took that as a compliment. That's cool. Like I said, it's probably the decor has not changed since
It's
about
the
the
biggest
time.
kitchen I've ever seen, I think. Just the floor
Yeah,
space.
it's cool. That's one of the things we liked about it because we came from a 2-bedroom apartment where it was much smaller than that. So yeah, it's cool. We like it a lot. And the coolest part is we paid less. We paid less in our mortgage now than we paid like by several $100s than we were paying for
Those
rent.
kitchens at Brookside were so small.
Yeah.
I remember if Curtis and I
Couldn't
were
have two
both
people in there, at the
in
same
there, we
time.
would be like bumping into each
Yeah.
other.
So it's good. It's a good place. And Derek got the full run today.
All right, last question, because you're never gonna live this down.
I realize that now.
Does Brax use lambskin condoms, and does he follow the Amazon link?
He always follows the Amazon link, and he's a cartoon strip who's only drawn from the head up. So it's not. It doesn't even come into play.
How are you safe in Planet Brax?
Brax. There's only one word on Brax. It's just
You
Brax.
get Brax skin
You
condoms.
Brax
It's just
skin.
Brax. Brax.
It's
Brax.
Brax,
Brax.
Brax.
That's it. That's a running gag in the strip. Brax. 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 Thank you for writing it, Mario. Keep it coming. Keep it
Oh, I
interesting.
had another. I forgot. I don't think I pasted it. No, that's not it. I had another thing. I guess I'll just read it off of the.
Got another thing.
I got a tweet.
We got a tweet.
You could tweet it. You can email us at Yeah, I don't understand that either. Sometimes the YouTube posts. This one is in Spanish. Sometimes it posts in French.
We just want to be multicultural.
I can't figure it out.
Josh
why it
called
does
into
that.
question my ability to appreciate other cultures, but I think this indicates here that I can appreciate many cultures.
All right. So this one is from D. Gordon. I believe that's Denver.
Oh yeah, okay.
And he writes, the wife found those black cherry popsicles. These are the fruit tear
Yeah.
for $2.99. Yeah, they're on sale right now.
Ooh.
They're a buck cheaper than the other flavors, but if you go to Stater Brothers, all the flavors are on sale. So I got a bunch
dude, I
of
love
every.
those.
Dude, the black cherry ones are
I
really
love that
really
we got you
good.
hooked on a popsicle brand.
Well, I'm also hooked on the Jolly Rancher popsicles.
It's not Jolly Rancher. Well, they have.
No,
those,
I have the Jolly
but
Rancher
did
ones.
you get the
Well, there was the Hello Kitties were the ones that you gave
what's
me.
the rubbery candy? Why can't I
What are you
think what
talking
they're
about?
called? They come in strips.
I love when you're talking.
Oh,
about
Airheads.
Airheads, the Airhead
Brendo
lollipop.
But doesn't it have Airheads in them?
What?
Don't they have actual
Yeah,
Airheads?
it's actually
I mean,
rubbery.
have you-
See, I don't think I want that with a
No,
popsicle.
It's fantastic.
Have you seen the Willy Wonka peel popsicle where it peels?
No.
You
What?
haven't seen that?
No. What does it
Everywhere.
do?
Well, you peel it and then it's like a banana popsicle.
What?
I'll show
I
you.
need to go in the grocery store. I don't do grocery shopping.
See, I was looking at
Just take
the.
care of the kids. And
Take
do the
care-
yard work.
Do the yard work, take care of the house.
I would love going to grocery stores. I would do that.
I also
Phil-
sell a lot of stuff online. Like I actually do
Mhm.
some business, believe it or not.
Janelle doesn't allow Phil to go to the grocery store
Just come
because
back
he's
with
like
Airheads and
well,
I
Jollies.
that,
unload-
and also
I
he's-
unload the groceries.
he's like when it comes to pricing, he's like insane. So he'll try to get the cheapest.
If I go, I have to price everything, and she would rather just go fast.
It's like I saw these roommates come back. They went to like the cheapest store in North Hollywood, and they're like, look at the toilet paper we got. It was only like 40 cents, and it looked like a tarmac truck driven over because it's all black and smashed.
Yeah, you got to balance it.
When Phil lived on his own, he ate canned corn and sweetened condensed milk.
I lived on $20 a month for groceries when I lived alone.
Peel a pop.
Oh, I need to try that.
Vanilla grape.
It looks fantastic.
I'm gonna have to try that too.
I'm sure it's very healthy for you too. It's
Those
banana.
popsicles are only like 60 calories.
I know, but what is that banana peel made out of there?
Mm.
It's like probably a Jolly or like an Airhead.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, I don't know. I looked at the Airhead ones and I just thought it was
Oh,
weird having Airheads and
Oh, they're
popsicles.
good.
I
They're
gotta.
really good.
Well, those Jolly Rancher popsicles are amazing.
Yeah.
I love them because like I'm a sour apple nutcase and like having it like, but it's all the flavors. It's all the Jolly Rancher flavors in one popsicle, except some of them have more of like.
It's
But
like
it's
swirls.
Yeah,
right?
but each flavor, and then there's a one flavor in the
They make
middle.
Like quick push-up pups. What?
Well, they make everything now.
You should really, because I like going through
The novelties section.
just pepper through and snake through every aisle to see what weird new thing, especially in the freezer aisle.
But
They're
see,
making new Klondikes all the time. The Oreos have every flavor in
Oh,
it.
the
yeah.
Oreos have gotten out of
but see,
control.
Janelle brings that stuff home usually. She's pretty good
You
at
gotta
finding
know.
the
You gotta
stuff.
know what's out there.
Yeah, but you don't even know what's out there. What if there's something she's not?
But I'm saying she knows the kinds of things that I
Yeah, but
look
what if
for.
she's withholding
You know
things?
they
she
sell
wouldn't do
frozen
that.
bread.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know why they
It's
do
frozen
I
everything.
lived on frozen bread as a kid. It's the worst.
Are you talking about Frozen, like the movie?
Like no,
Or-
bread.
Yeah,
Frozen in the freezer.
It's in the cooler.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst. If bread was not meant
What
to
did
be
you
frozen.
say you were a nutcase for? You're a sour apple nutcase.
Sour apple.
Is that on your resume?
Yes.
Sour apple nutcase.
That's how we got the job. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. For later
Dude,
in our own show.
I remember there was these kids that sold candy at junior high school, and somehow they had figured. I don't know if they had like some kind of machine or if they were doing it in the microwave, but you could get a blow pop with a Jolly Rancher like wrapped around
yeah,
it.
you just microwave it a little
So
bit. 'cause you get the
and then they
strip
would
one.
sell them, and so they'd get a blue raz because remember when blue raspberry
Oh, yeah.
was like just huge, and those blue raz blow pops were just like the hot commodities. So a blue raz lollipop with a sour apple Jolly Rancher wrapped around it. Oh my gosh! And they sold them for $1.
They probably made good
Made
money off
so
of that.
much money.
What are those things like a nickel
Yeah.
back then?
Let's talk about old ice cream
Can you-
truck stuff.
I'm pretty sure we've already talked about this. Do they still sell like the old school, like the full size Jolly Ranchers?
I think we have talked
I think
about
you can get them online. I think that's
but
what
I
we
don't
found
think
out.
they sell them in the store.
Oh, dude, they're like this
the original
big.
Jolly Rancher was like a big
It's like a
stick.
full stick, but they were dangerous as all get out because a few licks and you could make a shiv out of
No,
those things.
seriously.
Like you would cut
You
your
could cut
tongue.
Yep.
Like, yeah, just to look just to look like Georgie Animal Steel's kid.
What's that from?
I don't know
I
what
don't
he
understand.
I think that was from
I had like Mexican ice cream trucks, so there was
Colored Tongue. Oh, he had a colored
Oh,
tongue.
yeah.
So there was like, did you guys ever have? Because you lived in the Southern California,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Did you ever
Oh,
have
ice-
Lucas? The lemon pepper.
Oh yeah. Although,
Oh.
dude, I love that stuff.
Like,
See, I
people
did not
snorted
like that stuff.
And
I
now
did
they
not.
have Lucas ice cream bars.
But a lot of that stuff was like banned for having like iron or mercury in it or something like that.
And did you have the bombs where it was like a aluminum little bag? And
Oh
you
yeah, the
squeezed
bomb
it,
bag.
and
Yeah.
it got
Oh yeah.
fat and you threw
Oh
it?
yeah. We got my grandma to buy us those, and one year because all the weird stuff that they sold like in the ice cream trucks.
They still
And-
sell Sonic and Mario and Tweety Bird.
Oh yeah.
Gumball.
Oh yeah, with the
eyes.
gumball eyes.
Teenage
I love
Mutant
that. The
Turtle
Teenage Mutant
ones.
Turtles.
Yeah, because they're still around. Nobody
I was all
knows.
about those. I like my favorites were the Disney ones, like so they had the Disney the ice ones that were like, but they were huge. I love
The
them.
thing that was going to be our logo, the Disney
Yeah.
popsicle thing.
Yeah.
Still waiting on that.
And then, are you talking to me?
No, the lady that you said was going to do that logo, like, never made it.
Ooh,
I don't know. It was a
isn't
friend
it
of yours.
Rachel?
I don't know.
I think it was Rachel.
Maybe.
Give her a piece of my mind the next
Well,
time.
we got a great logo from Aaron.
We could have a better logo.
It's
could
not
have
nice.
All of the popsicle ancillary people. It would be me, you, Benson, Phil, Gates.
We have like a whole set.
Set of
Matt Cruz.
popsicles.
Oh, but then my all-time favorite are the like WWF ice
Of
cream
course,
bars
yeah.
because they had
Never had those.
they had like the 2 cookies with the ice cream in the middle, and then it would be like just a printed thing on the cookie.
Did you ever have the chocolate bar that was like weird, the candy bar that was like white? Let me look it up.
No.
I never had. I want them now. They don't make WWE ice cream bars
Nope.
anymore.
We have tried to try. There's an ice cream truck that drives around and goes by our house sometimes, but we never can like catch it.
But then I was like the poor kid for most of the time, so I was like the big sticks. They were a quarter. Like,
Oh yeah.
because
Those are good though. But
Oh,
you
they
could
were
get
delicious.
The,
And plus, it's like a giant thing.
what was the yeah? You got the most bang for your buck. But what was the American, like the red, white, and
Oh,
blue
yeah.
ones? What were those called? Like
They
the
still
rocket
you can
ones.
the rocket
Oh, the rocket pop.
Rocket Pop. Yeah, those are good.
There was Rocket Pop, Bomb Pop,
Yeah.
and then you had Push Pops.
Oh, they made them for like Rugrats and stuff. I guess they kept. I don't see.
Yeah,
anybody
those
do
they still exist for different things.
that. I haven't seen it.
Do you
But-
remember those like lollipop
Look
popsicle,
at
like
this.
the
Push
rocket?
Pops?
No, like the. They were
Oh,
like
yeah.
cone-shaped, and
They
you
were
could, like,
cone.
those were another one you could sharpen
Strike
up like really
Force
bad.
Hillbilly.
Yeah. Those were like the 80s. Those are the 80s ones. I loved those. Were the best.
They were like red and green and yellow, and they're like cone shaped.
Yeah.
Like wax at the bottom.
And they had
and
like
you could,
different colors.
Yeah, and you could like sharpen those things up like.
But Jolly Ranchers, I destroyed my tongue a few
Yeah.
times.
Even if you weren't trying to, those things were just sharp.
Because those were also, because I remember at Boys and Girls Club, those were like the cheapest candy.
Yeah.
It was like a nickel.
Peach Jolly Rancher, my all-time favorite, followed closely by raspberry.
I was a sour apple and then Fire Sticks. The cinnamons.
yeah,
Because the
it's
cinnamon
okay.
was called Fire Sticks.
It was. But if I was going for cinnamon candy, it was always Fireballs.
Atomic Fireballs.
man.
Maybe I made it up. Candy bars.
You just dreamed
It
it.
was just white. A
'Cause I
white.
found it on X Entertainment. They're like white
Like what?
bar. It was like candy. I don't
Like
know.
chocolate?
Something, I don't know. I
Like
did find
white
out the
chocolate?
WWF chocolate bar, but his bar was like a white thing. I don't know.
Maybe you dreamed it.
Remember Fifth Avenue bar had like a peanut character in the commercials? He was like, "Oh, I don't like this Fifth Avenue bar. I don't want to be."
Was it Mr. Peanut?
No, he was like a depressed peanut guy.
Isn't Chris Parnell Mr. Peanut now?
That's Bill Hader.
Bill Hader.
It was Robert Downey Jr.,
Yeah.
but he was that. They even redubbed the ones that he did.
Because he had other better things to do.
I hear that he's difficult with voice acting because he was supposed to be Megamind,
Huh.
and apparently it was like they couldn't wrangle him.
He's Iron Man now.
How do you not do voice acting? That seems like the easiest.
Because there's so
job.
many, you have to do so many different takes, and
Yeah.
so many different reflections. Maybe that's not his process.
Maybe
You
that's not
gotta-
his process.
Well, you could. That's my.
Maybe that's not his process.
Oh my God.
Maybe that's not his process.
That's one of my favorite Simpsons things when Lisa's recording all the dialogue for Lisa Lionheart and she's being very particular, and then Krusty comes in. He's like, "Let me show you how to do this, kid." He's like, "Hey, talking Krusty. All right, let's go. All right, kid, it's done." And then he leaves, and then the recording guy's like, "All right, we're ready for you, Krusty."
I think that's why Krusty's my favorite character because he's connected to all those like bullshit, horrible tie-in products. Krusty's
Pregnancy tests.
test may cause birth defects.
And then they're like testing like a lamp, and the guy touches it and like burns his finger, and he's like, "Approve that, stamp it," because it's like the Krusty. Because
Well, don't keep it plugged in.
Because Bart's like, you know what? Because they're at it's at the Camp Krusty episode,
It's
and
gonna be the movie.
and Bart's like, you know why I appreciate? I know this camp is good because he dusts off the Krusty seal of approval. He's like, because of this seal of approval, and then it cuts to like Krusty looking at all these products, and like one of them has like the doll like has a knife in it. The lamp like burns people. They're like falling apart, and he's like, these are all fine. And then that's my other favorite. Oh, dude, that episode's so great.
When I
'cause-
met Krusty at Springfield, he
Yeah.
went to the high five. I went for it, and he went.
Oh,
burn.
Didn't
That's my
appreciate
favorite heel wrestler maneuver. That's when I know they're doing their, because they'll find like the really good heel wrestlers will find the kid that wants to high five him and do the like Ric Flair did the like slick back the
Are
hair
kids
like the
into that?
they like one
Or
kid
they-
like
Wouldn't you be disappointed if somebody
Yeah.
did that to you?
that's the whole point. It's a
But
bad
what if you
guy.
didn't know that? What if you're a new wrestler?
Well, that's what they need that they want that reaction. They
What
want
was
you
the
to be
wrestler that
upset.
yelled at you or something?
What?
Or said something like "Get out of here"?
Virgil.
What did he say?
He said, "Buy something or get the f out of here."
See, or is that him being a heel, or is that
No,
being
that's
a
Virgil
douche?
being a dick, because Virgil is.
Is he a heel?
He's not. Well, he wasn't. He's not supposed to be. But in real life, he's a sad bastard that he's not wrestling anymore. All he does is go to.
Is that why you were listing the wrestlers that have fallen in your eyes? Because Virgil was one of them?
Well, Virgil ruined me on talking to wrestlers for a long time.
I love how you can tie any subject back to wrestling.
I am
crusty high
very good.
fiving wrestling. Any subject.
Well, he did it.
You know what
I
I can
didn't
tie
know.
together to any subject? Stitcher.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't finish my crusty.
Oh, finish your. I know, because you're going on a wrestling.
Did you hear what happened with Stitcher? Like, it got hacked and all of their accounts were like made
Stop
public
it.
on the internet.
This is the
Here, so Stitcher's the new Ashley Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was it you that said you had a good point where everybody's like, "Oh,
It's like everybody's laughing about hacks,
no,
but
your
I'm like,
information is vulnerable."
but like everybody, I'm like, the moment you shouldn't be laughing about people getting hacked, even if it is for some, because you're next. Like it's not like they're like, oh, we're done, guys. We're not hacking anymore.
I think my HMO at one point. Was
Everything's getting hacked now. Like
hacked. We had to have a
everything.
meeting about it.
Strong passwords, people.
That's
Use
why-
LastPass. That's what I
wouldn't
use.
touch a company that was vulnerable like that.
My last favorite thing from Camp Krusty is,
Alright.
and I use this line all the time, when Bart finally confronts Krusty, he's like, "Why'd you do it?" He's like, "They dumped a truckload of money in my house. I couldn't say no." And he
Tell
just-
your mom your cookies suck, and then like Lisa's like smuggling letters out.
that episode is so good. And then Krusty, to make it up to him, just takes him all to Tijuana.
I think the Stitcher headquarters are based in Tijuana.
They might be. They're
We know
based.
that El Chapo. Did you see
Stitcher is available all over the world.
Did you
It
see
is.
all the Christian heads that were like denogonized? Like just El
Is that
Chapo
real?
just send. I don't
Oh.
know, but the heads are. You look.
That
at
wasn't
It,
Christians. That was just
those are
just.
priests and stuff.
Well, that was just like they just dumped a bunch of heads in the middle of the
But
street.
the thing is, you look at it, and since you're so morbid and movie based, well, I am. I'm like, oh, those look so good. Oh, those are real. Those are real heads.
Yeah, they just dumped them. That was like at the height of the drug cartel stuff, where they were just dumping dead bodies.
I heard Stitcher made its rounds digging tunnels in the beginning.
We should have a segment.
What if El
just
Chapo kills
Derek's
Trump?
misinformation.
Like, what if El Chapo actually succeeds in
How would he
killing
do that?
Trump?
Well,
Well,
they're
he put a bounty on his head.
On who?
Trump.
I went to a bar recently in East Hollywood, and on the side of the building, because it was like, you know, a poor neighborhood, it said MS-13 was sprayed. Do you know what MS-13 is? Like a worldwide gang, like with ties in Mexico and stuff. That's a tag. And
They're
I'm in
everywhere.
the territory, and I had to get that.
Well,
out.
End of Watch. I mean, after watching End of Watch, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's terrifying.
If you look, there is gang.
Did you see End of Watch?
There is gang territory everywhere, but they're not really active.
No.
So, but
A lot of that.
gang
It's not like the '90s where it was just like
But they're going after Trump?
El Chapo threatened Trump, and
Did I tell already on the show?
I don't know.
that we were
Trump
at the
is just getting
bookstore,
out of control.
And the guy at the bookstore made a crack about Trump, and this lady who was in there was like, "How dare you, sir?" And was like legitimately angry that
Big
he was.
Apprentice fan.
He's like, "Sorry, I thought," and like after she left, he's like, "I thought that was a safe subject. I guess not."
The best
Not in
thing is
Kaifa.
there was the first Apprentice LA, and his son Baron was just born from Melania, and he's talking to the baby on a phone while driving a convertible. He's like, "Okay, Baron, take care of yourself." And it's a baby. You don't tell a baby to take care of yourself.
Shouldn't you be doing that as the father?
Yeah, you're the dad. Anyways,
Anyway.
so Stitcher,
So Trump is like,
he thinks he's like convinced that El Chapo is gonna kill him.
but he's invested in Stitcher.
Yeah, sure. No.
See, this is
What are
the
you
Derek's
doing?
misinformation
It's
corner.
a subsidiary
He keeps catching you
of
on
the
it.
Trump Steaks company.
No.
Have you tried a Trump steak?
Why would I eat a Trump steak?
Why wouldn't you though? Wouldn't you want your food to be connected to something?
You know,
Just be
doesn't he
eating
like?
some
He only
random
owns
steak.
like 10% of his own name now. It's like they ousted him from his own company.
Is it all
'cause he's-
foreign now, or is
I
it all
think it
American?
just got taken over by the board because he's such a terrible
If
businessman.
they find out like China owns most of the Trump brands, like he's done, right?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I thought.
Well,
all
they
the
did
things he
find
had
out.
made him
Well, they
done.
did find out that he employs tons of immigrants, even though he's like
I'm
so
sure.
super anti-immigrant.
Well, Tower Heist was originally written to be Trump Heist, where Alan Alda was Trump.
Oh my
Really?
gosh.
Why wouldn't they do that?
Wait, Is this Derek misinformation?
No.
That's real.
Okay.
That's real, and it was supposed to be the Black Ocean's 11. It was supposed to be like Eddie Murphy, like all the black comedians, and then Ratner took over.
Oh, Brett Ratner. I still want to know what his Oscars would have looked like.
If I was, because remember Billy Crystal took over after
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy took out, I would have, like, ladies and gentlemen, Billy Crystal, and you would have heard, dun, 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 and I would have come out with the Detroit Lions jacket and a gun. That would have been great.
That would have been great.
That would've been good.
I'm going to host the Oscars.
Um,
They call it a thankless position.
Scott Ackerman and the Comedy Bang Bang guys are doing the Emmys this year.
Really?
Yeah, they're in charge of the
I
show.
might actually watch the Emmys.
But people
At least
like
the
that
clips afterwards
are
on
always
YouTube.
like
They always
ghostwriting
play it.
Emmys. Like,
They're already
they always
doing it
ghostwrite
anyways.
TV movie
Yeah.
awards and stuff.
That's how a lot of those comedians get their start. Like Jonah Ray was talking about, like that's how he got his start, was like writing jokes for award shows.
Scott
and-
Ackerman wrote jokes for Shark Tale with Patton Oswalt.
Huh.
And that movie was great.
Yeah.
I just remember everybody was upset
I think that
because
movie's
they used like
available on
rappers
Stitcher.
in that movie, and that's when I'm like, are we in order to do a voiceover in a kids cartoon, do you have to have it be some character? Because Tim, one of your biggest stars, Tim Allen was convicted of like several felonies.
Yeah.
Like
Drug trafficking.
if we're gonna start doing that now, like
Right. And
come
he's a
on.
beloved family actor now.
Because they were mad about it was like some of the rappers, like wasn't it like 50 Cent or
Probably, yeah.
and then they were also mad that Martin Scorsese, he's like he makes violent films. I'm like, the shark's not murdering. Like
Robert
it's
De
like,
Niro is in it. Will Smith is in it.
Yeah.
people are
He's in
dumb.
violent movies.
People are. It was Michelle Malkin, and she's just a crazy person that likes to stir up attention.
It's the weirdest thing is Marilyn Manson doing that Nightmare Before.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas thing. It's like Disney would have never let him do that in the 90s.
No, they would
Wait,
not
what
have.
did he do?
And now
He
nobody
did
cares.
This Is Halloween on the anniversary.
The Nightmare
Nightmare-
Revisited.
Yeah.
Really?
And I'm like, the idea now that we're in an age where Marilyn Manson can do a track on a Disney album.
He's just an old dude now.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's like Hail Satan, and everybody's like, nobody cares anymore. Because in the 90s, when Disney was in their heyday, they were the target. Because they were.
Well,
the
that's why
number one
Dogma
target.
ended up not being on Miramax.
So weird. No, nobody cares.
Some people do.
Kevin was showing me one time some of the Dogma letters, like, holy crap. Like, it's
What if
pretty
you guys
nuts.
got letters like that? What if Phil decided to draw them off of it? What if you got letters like that?
I don't know. Would Janelle let you keep doing the show if we were getting death threats?
Probably not.
You don't have to tell her. Does she
Okay.
listen to the show?
Sometimes. Sometimes she comes in the chat.
Does she sometimes just decide to use her phone and just play the radio BrendoMan for the kids for 4
Oh,
hours?
totally, yeah.
Gotta learn about peanut butter mysteries somehow. Oh, is
All
it
right.
peanut butter poltergeist?
Oh, yeah, Peanut Butter Poltergeist, my new book. I haven't started
Are you even
reading
going to
it.
like it because you don't like peanut butter?
Well, it's the Poltergeist. It's the bad guy.
Okay.
The bad guy.
How do you know he's a bad guy? You don't
I'm
know.
just assuming
Friendly
the,
ghost.
The ghost on
Aren't
the cover
most of the
looks scary.
You
ghosts
can't read
in
a
those
book
kid
about peanut
ghost
butter 'cause
books?
he
No,
doesn't like
the
peanut butter.
ghost on the front cover look mean.
Phil has an irrational dislike of peanut butter.
But I also have an irrational love of dumb kid books about ghosts.
And he loves Kung Pao chicken, but he orders it without the peanuts, which
Yeah.
I that's so wrong.
I recently read There's a Ghost in My Soup.
And then Ghost in School?
Ghost Who Went to School. Footprints on the Stairs.
Oh my gosh.
I love that stuff.
All right, well, you can listen to podcasts on Stitcher. Use the promo code BrendoMan if you haven't signed up for a free account
I
yet.
use iTunes.
Well,
You
you
can also
can't
do
listen
that.
to iTunes everywhere
Yeah.
on your phone. It
I got
doesn't
an
save your
iPhone.
place.
The iPod app,
Well,
the podcast app.
I can listen to it anywhere.
Yeah, but not everybody has that.
And
But if you don't,
you don't have to download those podcasts, not
Right.
streaming.
Try to stream these.
Well,
Not on iTunes.
I'm just telling the truth about the podcast.
You
Stop
don't
it.
know.
get out of here.
Stitcher charges you?
No, it's free.
You have to sign up?
No, well, you can log in.
Do you really
Facebook.
want your information out there in this age where everybody's getting hacked?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
It uses your
iTunes you don't have to
Facebook.
log in.
Information.
It doesn't even have to. You don't have to have Facebook.
Well, if you don't want to, you can. It doesn't.
You can log in separately.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
options.
that's putting another username and password out there in the world.
Did you know that Fanta was created so that Coke could deal with the Nazis because they couldn't give the Nazis Coke, so they created this orange flavor under the table so they can sell it to Germany?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard Stitcher does.
Oh my God.
Sounds very questionable.
All right, well,
that is true. Fanta was created
I
to
don't
sell
know.
to the Nazis.
Taking everything with a big
Speaking
grain
of
salt.
podcasts, make sure you listen to the Benview network of podcasts.
Let's see. Let me see
Yeah,
here. Let me
Benson-
pick out the good ones. Tim Van Otrieve and Mark Bolton are good guys. Comic
So
Nerds
that's
Unite.
Comic Nerds Unite.
But I've only been on once. I've been begging them to be on again, and I get the runaround. So maybe not listen to them.
Mark Bolton just did some cool artwork for us.
Yeah.
Citra is real popular in North Korea. I heard that's true. I heard that they hire slave labor. There's Popsicles. That one's pretty good.
I guess it's
I don't know.
okay.
I hear a lot of the information on that one is questionable.
Shut
too.
Up, Leonard, with Andrew Lindy and Benson. Star Wars Nerds Unite. That one Tim Van Otrieve does with his wife. They talk about Star Wars. Pick Your
Really?
Path. Benson slaves away writing that.
Yeah, that's the reason why like Benson doesn't hang out with anybody because he's always working on Pick Your Path.
Picture
Did you
starts
say
pretty
you
good.
didn't know there was a series of books called Pick Your Path?
He did not.
Oh, okay.
Can I help them sue him?
I don't think those whoever they are
Picture
around
starts
anymore.
very good if you care about the movies Francis Ha,
He made how many
Garden
episodes?
State,
Yeah.
The Lone Ranger, and
Escape from Tomorrow.
Escape from Tomorrow, which you're on.
Oh my gosh, that movie. It's just me going, oh my gosh, this
Then you
movie.
talk about the inner workings of Disney.
Oh yeah, you asked me. We talked about Disney a lot.
Extra Damage with Josh. That's about video games.
Yes,
Dinner party small talk. What's that?
that is like they do comedy. It's like comedy type stuff.
MBWS.
Yeah.
You have a lot of wrestling stuff to talk about now.
I
We should do
do.
an episode.
Yeah.
What's Grissom on the Run?
That is a sports podcast.
Should that be added to this round of nerdlingers?
We need a good roundabout.
Diversify, man.
We need women.
I agree. We need women. I totally agree. Hey, there's women on Midnight Marinara
There is, even though Matt Benson wants to take away their
Janelle has occasionally been a guest on our show.
once.
Is
twice.
Andrew's wife on Nerd's Eye View, starring Andrew.
I don't know. I don't know if she's ever been on a podcast. I don't even know if she likes podcasts.
What else is
I
there?
never met Andrew's
There's
wife.
Benview on Spielberg.
Yeah, which you don't.
Questionable. Benson's Boombox, which has Chris Gutierrez on it, now I like him because I know who he is. Dinner Party, did we talk about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Friday Night Film Fights.
That is,
That's
they're talking
good.
about film.
They take like two
two
movies that are
movies.
similar,
Uh-huh.
and then they like.
So like
pair them
Dante's
together.
Peak and Volcano.
Yeah.
There's not a lot on there, is there?
Oh,
They
tons.
talk about Armageddon and
Yeah.
Well, like
what's the other one?
Vice versa and
18
my
Trading Places,
trading places,
et cetera. All that kind of thing.
Vice versa.
Not trading, like father like son.
Oh,
Yeah,
And
that's
vice
right.
versa.
Trading Places.
what was the other one with Armageddon and
One of those
Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Deep
Impact? Never
The
seen
father-son
Deep
switching
Impact.
movies? Remember the father-son switching song from Minnesota?
18 again is literally that movie with George Burns and the guy that was fake Ferris Bueller.
Yep. And then you also have what's the one that Nate loves so much?
Dream a Little
Dream a Little Dream. That's another body swap.
Is that a
What's
body
that?
swap movie?
Yeah.
The
What?
Fred
Wait,
Savage
I don't
one.
even remember.
It's
Like that's vice versa.
That's vice versa.
That one's great because it has
They
Judge
all blend
Reinhold
together.
going.
it's
These bowls better be gleaming.
Corey Haim and
Who do they switch with?
he switches with an old dude. I think it's
What is that?
it's Jason Robards.
with
They
Dream?
body swapped.
What about When in Rome? That's a new one.
Oh yeah.
What's Flagons and Dragons?
That is Dungeons and Dragons and talking about craft beers.
What is a flagon a craft beer thing?
So
Flagon
it's
is
a
a
mug,
mm,
like a
is a
giant,
giant.
fancy mug.
Yeah.
I think that's all of them.
Yes.
Flagon with the dragon. Has
I think
the
we
brew
did that
is
pretty.
true.
That was pretty
It's a thorough.
easy, but it was like very fluid how we did all that.
Yeah, good job, Derek.
And those were accurate descriptions.
Very
So
accurate.
ones to avoid. Recap. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what not to avoid?
That's right. Don't avoid this.
Is getting a website at DreamHost.
Yeah.
The worst.
You can sign up for a when you sign up for an account, use the promo code BrendoMan.
That's very popular with revenge porn web.
They don't allow porn.
They don't?
I don't think so.
I better take a look at my credit card statements then.
Well, you save $50 if you use the promo code RadioBrendoMan, and you get a free domain registration.
I heard they have ties to the Darknet.
No,
The Dark Nut?
You never heard of the Darknet?
you're
Oh,
saying Dark Nut.
I thought you said Dark Nut. That's a bad guy from the Legend of Zelda series.
That's my cracked.
the Dark Nuts.
That's my cracked parody of the Dark Knight.
The Dark Nut.
Well, you know where you can buy that cracked parody, probably on Amazon.
That's right. You
But
can buy
we
everything
never
on
really
Amazon.
talked about how the cracked archives were destroyed when the anthrax scare of 2001 happened in their New York offices.
Is this true?
And they destroyed the archive of every cracked magazine.
I can't tell. I sure
No,
can't tell.
no. These are facts. I'm not saying that
You're the boy
I
who
don't know.
Roll.
Phil bought an old cracked magazine the other day
I'm
from
not
like
saying you can't buy
1980.
old copies,
when we were
but the
at-
originals
Right.
are gone.
Well, Phil bought an old cracked magazine from like 1985 when we were on our camping trip. I gotta say, it was kind of a letdown.
Totally bad.
Well, I remember I was at Big Bear in
There's
1999.
so many cowboy jokes.
And my grandfather bought me a cracked magazine, and he's like, "Let me look at that." And when I was 12, I thought, "Oh, this is practically like he's looking at a penthouse." When it's really like NSYNC jokes, and I thought it was like I was gonna get in trouble for it.
Like I did.
And he threw it in my face like, "Whatever, man."
At least, yeah.
The parody of Phantom Menace was called Epic Dud 1, the Fandom Mega Mess.
Wow.
Or maybe that was the Mad one.
Yeah, Mad had Fandom, I think, but I can't remember.
I love coming up with Mad Magazine movie titles. I tweeted J.J. Abrams. I don't know why. I should be tweeted to Mad. I was like, if the Star Trek sequel is not called Star Trek Into Dorkness, then I don't know what we're doing.
Oh. So what are the things about Amazon
Well,
Prime?
you can get an Amazon Prime free trial, 30-day free trial, if you go to.
Inside gout, the workings of your foot. That's not bad.
Yeah, Inside Out.
I like that.
That's good. Big
Oh.
toe.
Wasn't there a gout joke Inside Out? No, am I remembering something else?
Maybe.
Well, anyways, free Amazon Prime 30-day trial. If you go to radiobrendo.com, click the Amazon Prime link, and you get unlimited free 2-day shipping. In some areas, same-day shipping.
Have a drone come to your house.
Yeah.
I want that.
Don't grab it though.
What do you do if like the drone oh, thank you, Mr. Drone.
Yeah.
I think he just drops it at your door.
Yeah.
Don't get anything glass, I guess.
And then you can borrow books from the Kindle Owners Lending Library. You also have Instant Watch, over 40,000 movies and
Been
TV
watching some good
episodes.
stuff on this. I'm watching.
They got a lot. I mean, they got Batman animated series on there,
That's what we've
And
been watching.
Superman animated series.
and Superman.
Mortimer Gibbons is on Amazon.
Mortimer Gibbons,
Yeah.
apparently the show, the film.
It's amazing. I'm telling you. You guys got to watch it.
All right.
We watched a couple more.
My favorite Mad Magazine article of all time is after they were clearly an entity of Time Warner, they did a full-color parody of the Warner Brothers store catalog, and it was just like, children made these Scooby-Doo things, and it's like, here's a $900 cookie jar, here's something Chuck Jones threw away, and it was the most biting the hand that feeds the thing ever.
That's kind of what they do.
But now, I mean, why would they make a Mad Kids? Like, Mad Magazine, I know it's discontinued,
Well, yeah.
but Mad Magazine is for kids.
Yeah, but it's like for younger kids.
But
There was less boobs.
but
That's basically what it boiled
in the
down to.
80s, all these things were like, you were trying to level up to this. If things came down to your level, then you're never going to level up.
You could start leveling sooner.
It's not a level up, it's a level down.
Well, the younger kids.
I don't know. I didn't approve of it.
Well, apparently
Didn't
neither did
last.
the public, because it's gone.
Well,
You know what the public does approve of?
just buying stuff on
Buying
Amazon.
stuff on Amazon to help us out.
Go to radiobrendo.com, click the Amazon link, and then do your normal Amazon shopping. Get
Then
the
we'll
same-
read your dirty laundry on
Get the
there.
same great Amazon
You know,
prices.
Podcasts are starting to steal this idea.
I don't think they're I think everybody's
Yeah,
doing it.
people are
I think
doing it.
just
But what
But
they're
doing the
doing is
reading
they're
off thing?
picking a particular, on the Adam Carolla show, they pick a particular weird thing somebody bought, contact them, ask them what the hell they were thinking, and then
How do
give
they
them
know?
like,
How do they know?
'Cause it doesn't tell you who bought
I don't
it.
know, but I think you have to tweet them what you bought, I
Oh,
guess.
okay.
Oh,
They must
you
tell
tell
them.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you get a prize. So you gotta
Right.
up your game.
No.
No, we started it.
I know, but you gotta keep going.
That's good.
You
We
gotta
are.
adapt and evolve.
All right. Well, we got a Bluetooth stereo headphone. Is that yours? You got a Bluetooth
Nope.
headphone? All right. We got a mini DVI male to HDMI female video.
Just
People
the interesting.
No.
getting these video
Some
adapters.
guy was so keen on Jurassic World, he's like, I need to
Already
pre-order the
need to pre-order.
3D Ultimate Edition
And
now.
then we got. I'm pretty sure this is Adam Wells. We got the Phase 2 collection, which I don't know. Have you guys seen this?
Let's see.
I'm always
Coming.
tempted.
It's
It
always
comes
have cool
in the
stuff.
frickin'-
Oh yeah.
Look at that thing.
but I already have them.
This fate. Well,
Well, the Phase 1 is the case.
I
with
know,
the-
but I already had them at that point.
I did. Well,
Can you still buy it, the Phase
Yeah.
1? How
it's
much
$150 bucks.
is it? Jesus, these people.
And then the new, well, this is $225
more
bucks.
movies, more movies.
That's true.
Right? No, it's less movies.
Yeah, that's weird.
But maybe it's got a bigger doodad.
And it doesn't have. They've already said they're not going to do.
To...
They're not doing like, because you know how the Phase 1 had like the one shot.
Yeah.
They're not doing that for Phase 2.
What do you mean?
It had like
little shorts.
The little shorts.
They're not doing anything for Phase 2.
Not for, because like that was on the Avengers.
Because the last one they did was the whole Agent Carter thing.
Yeah, they're
Iron Man 3.
And they're not doing that for Avengers or any of the others.
They're not doing that anymore. Period.
I don't know. They said just not for this one.
Actually, the last one was the one where they revealed that the Mandarin still is out there. Anyway.
All right, and then we got.
When Adam Wells faked that Game of Thrones scare.
Are you gonna just rag on that forever?
It peeves me. He's like, no, it's totally genuine. I'm like, you have a camera set up in front of you.
Well, because they told them to do that. They're like,
so
set up your camera. Something's gonna happen.
I haven't seen an episode yet. Maybe it is shocking.
You have to watch it, and then you might understand. I thought you were done. I thought you made it all the way. Oh, what season are you on?
3.
Okay,
I decided to finish Angel and Buffy.
You're almost there. Oh.
Which is better, Game of Thrones or Angel and Buffy?
They're so different. They're both really good. I don't know. Game of Thrones is amazing.
I know that you don't like something when you say that because you rarely not like something, and when I'm like, oh, I'm up to Connor, and you're like, I fucking hate Connor.
Connor is the worst. He's so annoying.
Well, he was raised in Coruscant.
And young Vincent Kartheiser is not the Vincent Kartheiser that
I don't know, I'm pretty
honed his craft and is on Mad Men is an amazing. Okay. He's not very good in it. Okay, season 5 Connor is okay, but like what is season 3? Are you on season 3?
Game of Thrones still?
Angel.
No, Angel.
Oh, okay.
Season 3 Connor is like an annoying little bitch.
Okay.
That's a pretty universal opinion.
But I'm saying that you're so jovial that when you say something's bad, it must be really bad.
I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts once you get through the whole
Static
thing.
Electricity.
We got a
science kit.
No, we missed one there. You got a heavy-duty flat LCD swivel stand. People keep buying all these TV accessories. We got a static electricity science kit.
4 paws, wee puppy housebreaking.
We got somebody bought a hook for a kayak, a lashing hook. Somebody bought another TV.
Nice.
How much do you get?
Like 7%.
Well, it varies depending on the category.
This month we're at $35.
From all this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it pays for the hosting, which is cool.
But you don't really see any of that money.
Well, I don't see any of it yet.
It just goes into the hosting.
Well, we have a surplus, but then there's a surplus from other. So Phil and I are like, we have to work out the numbers, and then
it's good. Don't worry, we're not going to be leaving to the Caribbean anytime soon. It helps. It's great. It helps a lot.
We do a popsicles one. That splits the audience. I mean, you still get money, but that leaves Phil out.
That's true.
Well, I think there's different audiences.
That's true.
I don't know. We got 4 paws, wee puppy housebreaking pads, 150 pack. It's a lot of puppy pads.
A lot of puppy pee.
They pee a lot, I guess. We got gunmetal frame aviator glasses.
Got a thing for Bryce Dallas Howard. Who doesn't?
We got a Star Wars The Black Series IG-88 figure. That's the fancy ones.
Lucas knew how to create characters.
It's a $22 IG-88 figure. Oh yeah, those are the ones like Muse has. Muse is buying all those.
I like IG-88.
It's pretty cool. And then we got, and then somebody bought an Xbox One with Madden NFL 16.
Wow.
So that's they're up to 1 terabyte hard drive.
Oh my God.
Really?
Look at that.
Mine when I had to rebuy it because it Red Ring the original one was like 40 gigs, and then the second one they're like, well, you can buy 2 gigs or 250 gigs. And like there's nothing in between.
That's it. Wow.
So now they have a terabyte drive.
Yeah, on the Xbox One. Yeah.
That's all you could store.
Well, because some of the games. Right? Well, yeah, and all of them like they were reading the rare. They were saying
How much is that? Well, it's only $400 for a terabyte hard drive.
Well, with Madden, it's probably cheaper if you just get that's a bundle.
I think that's the price for. That's definitely the price for just an Xbox.
Well, this one comes with Madden. So.
Yeah, it comes with free.
Well, you can get the 500 gig bundle for $348.
That's not bad.
And the terabyte is $400.
Xbox One sucks though. Where I don't want any more Xbox dealings. I'm PlayStation when I get my PS4.
I'm telling you, Black Friday. That was such a good deal.
What did you get?
I got the PS4 with
You have
the.
a PS4 in here?
I've had it. Yeah, I've
For
had
how
it the whole
much?
time. I got it with Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto 5 for, was it 300?
Huh.
And it was the Black Friday bundle.
Will you let me borrow it?
No, why would I let you borrow
So I
my
can play
PlayStation?
Arkham Knight.
No,
I'll bring it back.
no. What do you
can't-
think I watch all of my TV on and play
Well, when
video
you get a
games?
job, you won't need it.
No, I'm not letting you borrow my PS4. You need to get a job.
So to come over
I
and
guess
play.
that is your. way
That's
you
like
watch
my
your movies.
major
They figure you can't be
entertainment
playing
device.
that
And I
Disney
play
50
all my
day.
wrestling games, and it's my.
What else do you got?
I got a PS4. I've got a Wii U, a 360.
You can't watch things
and a
in
PS3.
360?
I can, but I don't.
I'll be done with it in like a week.
No, I'm not letting you borrow my PS4.
Well, I've learned that asking to borrow a PS4 is apparently a grave injustice. You're not the only one that reacted.
Well, again, I just told
Who else have
you.
you asked to
I've just
borrow?
asked them, like, you're not even using it.
I use mine every day, and I just
buy
told
the game,
you.
and I'll give you the game.
I just
when
told
I'm
you
done
I
with it.
paid $300
Why
for
don't you
it.
buy it and then come
How
over
about
and play
that?
it?
I give you the game when I'm done with it. Well,
No.
you don't even play the other one.
I know Josh does those kind of deals, so maybe talk to Josh.
Well, where does he live?
He lives in La Palma,
Yeah.
Where the hell is that?
near
Buy
Benson.
Cerritos.
All you people are so far away.
Because Josh let a dude borrow his thing, and then he let him
I think I
have.
asked Josh, and he did a similar poo-pooing.
Oh,
See.
well. Well,
I
plus,
don't
like,
really
we're
need a
playing.
PS4,
I think
actually.
Josh plays on it because he plays Destiny like all the time. Anyways, I play him.
Because there's no more blockbusters to run game systems.
It's true.
Nobody would do that.
Can't
Maybe I should
Redbox
look it
it?
up. I don't know that for sure.
No, there's probably like local places that would. I don't know.
Do those places exist?
Somewhere. We've got a
Play
local
Arkham
video
Knight.
store here still.
All I want.
I'm pretty sure they don't rent PS4s there.
Well, they might not. I don't know.
This one, Arkham Knight.
Well, thank you. That's all the stuff for this week. Thanks for buying stuff and supporting us. Keep doing that. That's really cool.
Did you ever finish Arkham Asylum?
I did not. I'm still working on it.
But you haven't touched it in years.
I played it recently.
Okay. This is just for you because this is a great game.
It is a great game, but I just have tons of games, and I only
I know
have.
you play wrestling all
And I play wrestling all the time.
the time. So it doesn't end.
Well, if you want to talk about wrestling and Arkham Knight with us, you could do it in our group on Facebook.
Yeah, we got a Facebook group for Radio
You could
BrendoMan.
ask people on our group if they will loan you their
If somebody would
PS4.
ship me their PS4 from
That would be a good
Tuscaloosa.
place to ask. You might have luck there.
Join our Radio BrendoMan Facebook group. If you go to Radio Brendo, click radiobrendo.com, click the Facebook group link.
You can watch lots of awesome videos that everyone posts.
Yeah, your Mexican
You guys have to watch the Mexican Pointy Boots documentary.
pointy boots.
It's amazing. Matthew posted it, but for some reason he posted like the wrong thing. So you got to look down in the comments.
And then if you look up, I don't have a link to it, but if you go to Matt and Brendo's wrestling show, wrestling chat, we had I did like a live vlog in there of first Virgil did an AMA and it was just completely insane.
This is in your group. For
yes.
That, for your.
And so I was like posting stuff. Mark was posting things. Steve Espinoza posted in there, and then the Hulk Hogan situation happened. So we were kind of like live developing, like, oh, what's going on with this, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then we also have our Radio BrendoMan subreddit. Be sure to check that out. That's reddit.com/r/Radio BrendoMan, or just go to the radiobrendo.com page. Any Kickstarter updates?
Yeah, I posted tonight. I actually posted on the page some artwork that Mark Bolton, listener, friend of the show, and co-host of Nerds. Oh my gosh,
Comic Nerds Unite.
Comic Nerds Unite. I can
Really?
only go Nerds Unite. Sorry, Mark, but it's awesome, and we're gonna use this for the cover. It'll be part of the cover of the record. So
Tim Van Otrieve's
to check that out.
Looks like the girl in Southpaw, and then I started looking at Tim Van Otrieve, like, you kind of look like Jake Gyllenhaal.
He does kind of have a Jake Gyllenhaal thing going on.
Skinny, and I was like, now I was thinking about Tim Van Otrieve fighting for his kid. It's weird.
Well, anyway, if you go here, show Derek on the thing if you want to. But anyway, so we're working on the artwork for that. Things are coming along nicely.
Mark Bolton kind of looks like Jack Black.
Mark's been doing a lot of cool stuff with that, and we're gonna have his artwork on both the BrendoMan All Stars EP, and it's not in the group; it's on the main page.
We gotta talk about pixels.
And on the 7-inch. So gonna be cool. This is the front
Oh,
cover.
look at that. When was that?
That was
That was when you
2013
were
Comic
skinny,
Con.
when you're on your lentils and you
Yep.
shaved. Whoa.
All right, here you go. That's our front cover
That's
art
pretty
there.
cool.
Yeah.
Did you pay him?
No, you volunteered to do it. We're not making any money.
What
so.
if, because in the Jaws documentary, I learned that they took the book art for
Okay.
the poster, and the book people are like, here, we need to sell that so we can sell more paperbacks. And then they put the art on everything, all the merchandise, so they lost out on millions of dollars.
Well, I can guarantee you he's not losing out
Well,
on
who
any
knows?
dollars.
That's a cool drawing.
If he wants to take a part in a part of it, then he can help pay for some of the
Yeah.
that were not quite covered.
Whoa. Okay.
No, we did really well with our Kickstarter, but we kind of planned knowing that it wasn't going to cover 100% of everything because it's expensive to do vinyl, but we wanted to do it.
But we have some leftover money
We had
from
a
the
little left over from the
previous
last one, so we
Kickstarter.
figured it would kind of balance out, and it probably will. We're going to be pretty close to breaking even on everything by the time it's all done. But there's definitely not there's not going to be a huge surplus or
No
anything.
art budget.
So no, definitely not. I was just going to do everything, and then Mark helped out. Probably he just wanted it to look cooler for his
sake.
So yeah.
Why?
So
Is Mark on the vinyl?
no, but he's
Just when he bought one,
if he's
so
going to
his-
get one. He wanted it to look cooler than
Okay.
if I.
and
just
whatever
did it.
art Phil came up with.
I
Remember when you got all mad because I threatened to sue you over the BrendoMan archive? You thought I was serious. You looked at me like,
I never
"Oh,
know."
You're gonna do this now?" And I'm like, "When have I ever sued you?"
I don't know. Ever since Matt threatened to trademark my name.
I
And
own
I was
it technically.
convinced he was
Those
going
tapes are
to.
viable in court.
No,
On
they're
the
not.
BrendoMan name.
No, none of that will hold up. If
No.
Matt had actually gone ahead and trademarked, then that would have been a
why
major
could he just
problem.
plant a flag in BrendoMan? He didn't invent What was he trying to trademark?
BrendoMan, and I was like, I will fight you on that.
So
to the
he was trying to do it before you did.
Yes, but I don't need to because I have precedent. Like
BrendoMan for
I have all
decades.
kinds of
He probably has
evidence.
high-powered lawyers.
All we would have had to do, no, dude. Here's what would have happened. He trademarked it. I would have grabbed the Vaudeville Theater CD with BrendoMan in it, gone to any court, and just been like, here, and like that would have been
1999.
done.
That's like in that Simpsons episode, Mr. Mailman.
Yes, and he's actually like they steal, and then that's how Lampwick makes all his money is they stole it because he came up with the zippy.
There's a rare photo of Sean
Talk-
Connery signed by Roger Moore.
Talking a lot about
$100.
A lot of
Simpsons.
Simpsons talk.
Love Simpsons.
So
All right.
Kickstarter is going to be good, but also going to be good. Long Beach Comic Con.
It's going to be
When's that?
September 12th through
September 12th and
13th.
13th.
September 12th.
Yep. And we're doing a panel. We don't know when yet.
So can I get in for free?
Possibly.
You never know.
We don't get guest.
We don't get guest
We
badges.
don't get guest
so you could
badges.
apply.
So
I could apply. Is
Yeah.
You're saying that if I apply myself, I can get.
Yeah, you apply yourself.
Okay.
No, I mean apply for a professional badge.
yeah, just be like popsicles.
How do you do that? Because I
Go
just let
to the
you do
website.
it. Go to the website. Apply.
Yeah,
And they just give it to you.
Well, if you have to submit credentials.
Do I have the same credentials as you, or is there something that you?
We have our webcomic,
a
but you
comic,
could
yeah.
do popsicles.
You never know. It
You
may
can-
or may not happen, but it's worth a try. The worst they could say is no. You could also try for a press badge if you want to like cover it. You never know. I don't know. I mean, it's worth a try.
Well, that's September 12th and 13th. We're going to be
But
there.
I'll tell you where you will be.
August
Oh,
23rd
Yeah, the Not Shrine show.
Oh. I will
at
be
the
there.
Reef.
August 23rd.
Which
I don't
is-
want people coming up to us.
It's
though.
Yeah, of
that's
course
a
they
whole.
are.
We're having the Benview table,
Yeah.
It's mostly to sell my Spider-Man.
Well,
but
that's
we're
it.
also
It's
going to be passing out
multi-purpose.
stickers.
Oh.
We're going to be recording a
We'll
podcast.
sign our merchandise for a little extra.
There you go.
No, we can't do that.
You can if you want.
You're gonna sign your
Like for a
Batman
dollar-
toys.
Well, I'm unemployed.
The Shrine show will let you do just about anything.
I know, but if some poor soul comes up to me once my Mary Jane figure, and I'm like, I'll sign it for more money.
Yeah, as Derek from Popsicles.
Paul Dini didn't do that to me. I'm not gonna do that to him.
I'm gonna see if they announced any more guests.
It's
Sometimes.
the same. The stuff they just sent out is all the same stuff that they've had.
All right, we got Haley Atwell, Ale Garza,
Fred Ladd,
Fred
Lauren
Ladd,
Lester,
Lauren Lester, voice of
voice
Robin,
of Robin.
Mike
I
Mayhew,
almost thought that said Peter Mayhew.
Jack H. Harris. He's the producer of The Blob,
80s Blob.
the 50s Blob,
You know, they have a lot of Power Rangers now.
and then
Yeah.
And
Well,
there's
Phil and
so
I-
many, I have no idea who they are.
there's they're like the Power Ranger section at the toy in the toy aisle is getting pretty big.
Yeah.
Now it's like Dino. There's like Dino ones. There's this one. These guys are from Wild Force.
There's a lot of Power Rangers. Oh, and that one's from Time Force.
Time Force. It's a lot. Well, anyways, but Haley Atwell, that's a big deal.
So a lot of good stuff,
I
and
went
you
to
guys
one
can come
where
out and
they
meet
had,
us.
They had
And we'll be selling all kinds of things.
And buy Legos and action figures.
I got
and
Buffy statues.
Buffy statues. And
Draco Malfoy was pretty easy to meet.
what are you selling, Derek?
I'm gonna sell.
Action figures?
Did you meet him?
No, you had to pay for it. I don't know if I should get rid of my Todd McFarlane T2 figures.
I don't know.
They're very messy, and they keep making T2 better ones. So
Are they like when are those from? Like what?
they're original ones, like from 2000.
Like in the
2001.
sealed?
They're sealed.
I had like the actual T2s.
Could
couple.
I give you a list of things and you find out how, or should I? If I apply myself.
You can do that
All I
on
would
your
do
own.
is
But
type-
Phil is the guy.
But here's
that
what you
knows
just
how to
do.
Here's
that.
what you do.
Go into Amazon and type whatever. The easiest way is just type in the barcode.
In Amazon.
Yeah.
And they would still have.
Well, it has the
Spider-Man
marketplace.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Like that, because that's where people buy that stuff online.
So that'll
Okay.
give you at least an idea of
Like
what you're
the
looking at.
marketplace
I
price.
have Spider-Man 2002 figures. I think I have
eBay's too.
Yeah, don't look on eBay.
Don't look on eBay.
that
It
takes
won't.
I have to
work.
look in the tubs because I put a bunch of stuff in there. I have Shrek figures.
But you definitely want to know before you go what you want for it, because people will just, and they'll fast talk you. You've been there.
And the people that come to buy stuff at the shrine,
Give me
they
this,
know
give me this, $20.
what's happening,
They, like, snap
and they
at
will
you, and
try to. They will use all kind. I mean, Phil.
They
We
always-
watched Phil get swindled.
I so regret
No trades.
walking
trade.
away
That's the
from
rule.
that table as the guy was busting on the drumsticks
Oh my
and
God.
busting
And your
up.
Apocalypse, was it your Apocalypse
It was
figure?
Apocalypse.
It was the $75 one.
Yeah.
And you let him trade it for what?
I don't know. He threw like a ton of garbage.
A
at
Neil,
me.
an authentic Neil Peart drumsticks,
The thing
a
that
Power Rangers autograph.
the thing that he offered.
It was the
cleared them
Action
out.
Man. It was the
Action
Captain
Man.
Action.
which I did wind up selling, but I got like $50
Because it
for
turned out to be a mutant
Negotiation
Captain
was
Action.
not. It was like a day long because we were
It's
right
just-
next to the guy.
it was
You were
just
so
irritating me
you were
all
so
day long.
I
annoyed.
swear he showed up with a briefcase and like a paper clip,
Just
and then he like traded up
It was- yeah.
all day. I did steal your joke right there.
Okay, credit's due.
It was a nightmare.
I wonder what
But
else I got.
the other thing was those guys when you first were in there, the dealer guys, like they
They
see that I have
and then
Legos, and
they
like,
try
oh,
to.
$5,
I remember
$5.
one time the guy's like, "Oh, you're charging retail prices,"
I'm
and
like, yes,
Phil's like,
I
"Yes."
am. That's
Maybe
what
I should
can
sell
get
my
for them.
Mondo vinyl.
Well,
That's set fetch a nice price.
Do you want to get rid of those?
I just have no. It just used to all be in my office. I don't have an office anymore.
Well, save them for when you have an office again.
I guess, but
Are you
that
never
would
gonna?
fetch probably a nice price these days.
I don't know. You might want to check Mondo's. I think Mondo hit the. I think they hit the
saturation
wall.
points.
But
I
those
think-
are sold out.
Yeah, it doesn't. They're sold out, but the only people that are like there's nobody that everybody that wants one has one, so it's just people. There's I don't think like I think the bubble burst on that. Like you might get like do you have a Joker one?
I have all of them.
Okay, I think the Joker one might be worth $75.
Oh shit! I paid $15 for it.
If you do them as a set, you can probably get more too.
Yeah. But I think you're looking at like $30-40
Extra.
max. And I think like the bubble kind of burst on those, and the posters
Would
definitely.
the statues be more if I still had the boxes? If I had
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yes.
Definitely.
They all. I mean, you're talking.
statues.
I have them in the box with all the original packaging.
That'd be
The
really nice.
one that I wish I had the packaging for, the Lard Lad donut guy. It turns out it's a Kid Robot, and it was like a super limited one. And Kid Robot has a huge, not even Simpsons fans, but like just a regular collector market. Like in the box, it's worth like $200. I paid like $30 for it. And the ones that I thought were worth money and are worthless are the freaking those Dark Horse Simpsons statues are freaking
I
worthless.
have unopened Attack of the Clones figures.
Those are probably.
Yeah.
So how about this? The episode 1 figures that I opened and taped back and put them all
Definitely.
you could probably get $1 for them.
Unless maybe I think
back. Should I
some of
bring
the.
those?
I mean, here's
Just
the thing.
look 'em
I'll
up
bring
on
the tub. I'll bring
Amazon.
the tub.
Yeah, just bring it because
Well, you've seen those guys at the shrine that just have the giant.
people
tubs.
will buy it stuff, but you're not going to get $50 for
You're gonna
that.
get,
But
like,
if you want $1,
Loose
you could probably
figures,
get
yeah,
$1.
you're gonna get like a couple bucks. But unless they're like, do you have any of like the Chase figures? Like I know those
Darth
are still. No,
Darth
not
Maul?
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul?
You know how there's like when they the way they did those. the way they did those toys,
Ace Windu somewhere
there
with
were-
a blue lightsaber.
there was like a chase figure in each one per box. Those are the ones that, like the Greedo. That's why the Greedo was worth money, because it was the chase figure.
Didn't Mace Windu have a purple lightsaber?
But I have the one where it was
Oh.
episode 1 where he had a blue lightsaber because I didn't know what his color his lightsaber was.
That's pretty cool.
Well, go on Amazon. You're looking at the marketplace prices.
Yeah.
And
What if they say 1 cent? Because
Then-
a lot of those say 1 cent.
then it's not worth.
You can get $1.
Yeah.
You can, because you got to figure, even the ones that are for a penny, you still have to pay a couple bucks shipping, $3-4 shipping. So you can ask $2 for it, and
But
it's still better than.
That's how you know if you have something worthwhile, is if it's going for 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. Like that Apocalypse that you saw. You looked
Right.
it up on Amazon. You're like $75. Okay.
Well, and see, so I was asking $75, but it was like listed at $80 on Amazon plus shipping. So but I have to ship it, so you have to consider what cost you. would
Did you
lose for
sell
shipping.
all those multi-pack ones?
I sold a lot of them. I have a couple of them still.
Because you know who would buy those off of you?
Who?
Jason Mewes.
Oh yeah.
Well, you saw how that's all the ones he collects. He probably has most of
Probably
them,
has them. I
but
have a lot
you
of
might
stuff.
want to
Phil does
bring.
not haggle down. I tried
Well,
to get some money for him for those witch. But we actually, did you say that we finally got Square?
Yeah,
Yes.
finally got Derek all. Well, I don't know
And
if we
we-
said that on the show, did we?
Oh no!
Because I
we didn't
helped
on the
Derek
show.
get a
Well, once
Nintendo
back in,
t-shirt.
what was this, 2011? We did
Something
that
like
trying show.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, "Do you have any more Witchblades?" Phil's like, "No," and I'm like, "Actually, there's some in this box," and he wouldn't give me a taste, and I barely knew.
There
at
was
this
like
point.
$30
And he was like,
worth of.
No.
No, it was a $5. I sold it for $5.
And he was like, "No," and then
And
When-
Derek wanted me to give him a cut.
when cut to this year, when Phil had extra tickets. I'm like, what are you going to do with them? He's like, I don't know. I might get another shirt. I'm like, can I get it? And he's like, fine. And then quite separately,
You both
we
came
both
to the
had the
conclusion.
idea of, like, I guess we're square now.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of that.
Because you
Oh,
both
good.
had a condition. I was worried it was going to be different things, and then you both were
No,
Well,
like,
it's the same
I
thing.
said, I think that this would make a square. But Phil came to me with, like, under one condition. I'm like, no. And then I realized, then he said it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're good.
And then I got him a lemonade, but I wanted to make it seem like I had slipped something in it. And I was like, congratulations. But I don't think he got the joke, so it was just me being weird.
Nah, I just assumed you were nice.
I wanted to throw the lemonade behind me and short out all of the charging phones that were behind me.
well, again, that's August 23rd at the Reef, which is a mile away from the Shrine Expo Center.
Usually was.
It-
The last one was at the Reef.
.com. That's all the details. I think
if you
admission
see-
is $10.
If you
Something
see
like
the
that.
guy walking around in a crew jacket for Batman and Robin, that's the guy that's been doing it for like 20.
Oh yeah, we know him.
Oh, we'll have to talk to him.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the one that
Whoa.
sets you up in the morning.
You never talked to him?
Well, I have no reason
He's
to.
a character.
Yes, he is.
He's the
I'm going
I
to be on
think
the
he
other
and-
side.
we're-
I've been going
Phil
this
and
for
I are-
20 years,
Your,
Phil.
this is your
Yeah.
first time.
Phil and I are
They're
still.
like really early in the
Yeah,
morning.
you have to get there
I'm
early.
excited to do that.
We got there
'Cause
late the one time.
You have to get there early. One, because he's very crazy
That's
about
why
it.
I like saw
And
you.
two-
I came up to you.
Yes,
once,
you came up
'cause
to
you
us.
just had stickers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
we were-
"What's that Brendo fellow?"
And so he's very particular about it. And the best, all the prime buyers, they pay for the early admission, and that's when you sell
The
90% of your stuff.
Okay.
Is that first hour?
I'm
So like
excited
you
about
have
that.
to be there.
If we had a saga and they made shitty prequels, that would be our shitty prequel. Like, oh, they met before.
It's true, Phil. You were there when
Yeah.
young Derek came up to our
Young
table.
Derek. We
That was
probably
like-
gave you stickers or something.
That was like 2010 or 2009
That was
maybe.
before Smodcastle.
So that was like 2009,
But I
2008.
had seen you at the house.
Yes.
So, it was
So
like
that would have been
2009.
2009.
Because I made my triumphant return to the Shrine Show in 2009.
Yes.
That's probably then. Okay.
And
Anyway.
you approached, you cold called.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm not afraid to do that.
good on you, because I'm not good at that stuff. Like, hey, dude, you're
Well,
on
I've
the,
seen you rush
you're on the-
cars at Comic-Con. What do you mean you're not good at that?
well, like message board people. I'm like, are you on the message board? Yeah. I did talk to Jamil though, and because like we had never met in person. Finally,
I had met him. I don't know if he remembers this. This is very inside baseball, but we met at a Volgathon in New Jersey.
Huh.
I hold people in very high esteem that I've conversed with on both coasts.
yeah. Well, like New York people, like I've hung out with, like, for instance, Rob, movie dude. I've hung out with him on both in New York and in LA, He was the one we went to get the fridge at his house.
Oh yeah, so I met him too.
Yeah, but not in New York.
No.
So we'll be recording, we'll be selling,
Yeah.
We'll be
meeting the fans.
Giving out stickers.
Derek or Phil will try to get me to eat old gum again.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for it.
Derek's gonna go up and haggle for that. Is this the year you buy the Joker makeup kit?
That's the same guy that had the book I want,
I
right?
never wanted to.
Oh, you want the book.
I want the book.
Phil's gonna try and get that book from
Which
Popeye.
It's
It's an Alfred Hitchcock.
Because I could get it online.
The thing is,
He
and
won't
this is not
budge on his prices.
This is not helping with Come to the Con. They sell things that should be way cheaper, like pulp novels and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, $8 for this old Shadow. It's like, no, it should be 75 cents.
Well, that's what Phil.
That's my whole point.
Phil,
with this
every
guy.
time he goes, he gets in an argument with Popeye about this book.
He does have a lot of really good.
He
old
has
stuff.
cool stuff, but I'm like, you're
Now
way
he has
overcharging.
McDonald's placemats.
Well, and the dumb thing is, though, he brings the same stuff back every time because he's never
We're
selling
never
it.
gonna get rid of that Batman Forever placement.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What am I gonna do with it?
Remember that one year there was those guys the guys that had the 7 head in the box. They still have that. I remember that was really weird.
He also has a bunch of old Mad magazines that he's charging like way more than they're worth.
I could never get rid of my Mad magazines. I
No.
can't. No.
Well,
Do you have
you've
any
seen
of
my
the
place.
comic book ones?
What do you mean?
Like when it was
I
a
have
comic?
paperbacks?
No, like the original
Oh no.
when it was a
Remember when they
comic.
were in the 90s when they did that? They were.
Well, Phil has a bunch of those.
Yeah,
I have
and they were weird.
Do you have all of them?
I have many of
It's like
them.
here's a parody of Howdy Doody.
Yeah, I have a very large because
Phil's
some
pretty
of the
obsessive
boxes,
about it. Like some of those boxes in the garage are just
they're
full of
magazines.
I like to think
magazines.
that I
Nintendo
understand.
Powers. You keep all your Game Informers, which I don't
No, I don't
understand.
do Game Informer.
Okay, you stop that.
For a while I did, and then I had to give up something. But
I remember when you were, and
there was a while.
I think I witnessed
My
a fight
aunt
over.
kept, like boxes and boxes of like Women's Day.
Well, that's
Family
the classic hoarder behavior. That's the
There's a bunch
gateway.
of Avon
hoarder.
boxes of twine.
However, like when we were in college, Janelle's grandma gave her a box of like old magazines she had ordered, but they were from like the 40s
Yeah.
and 50s, and I was like so stoked because I cut that stuff up and made like show flyers
Find like
and stuff.
cool. Phil would always have cool little artwork for.
Yeah, like that's how because I didn't know how to draw or anything.
So last time you made some money then?
What?
So-
Oh yeah. I mean, you're not gonna be
It
a
was from a
millionaire.
box that somebody gave you though, right?
Well, no,
I
he
bought
bought
it.
a
Oh,
box
okay.
off of Schmecker for.
I bought it off him, I think, for like $300 for like
Did you
a
make it
huge
back?
lot of stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah? You were wheeling and dealing with some pretty
That's
high
what
prices.
Phil does.
That's why I want him to help me.
Well, that's his secret.
I'll help you there too. I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
You look it
I'll
up
bring
on-
Post-its.
just know what label what or have a list so you know ahead of time about what you're looking for,
Okay.
and then start you start at the high end and know how low you're willing to go.
I'm so bad at this. The first time I haggled at that show, it was when Daredevil was coming out, and there was a cool cover, and I'm like, I'm gonna haggle. I'm like 15, 16. I'm gonna haggle with this guy. And I'm like, it was like maybe $2, $1. I'm like, I'll give you 50 cents. And it's like, no, they're going too good. I'm like, okay. And I walk away, and he finds me, and he puts his hand in me, and he's like, we're here for fun. We're gonna have fun. I'm like, 50 cents. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So you're haggling is just the sad like walk
I
the Charlie
guess.
Brown walk away.
That was so pathetic. My haggling.
I'm not afraid to argue with people and haggle. I'm
I don't
so
know.
cheap.
Money
It's
is
just not my
so
thing.
yeah. Money. I can't argue with money.
If it was not entirely frowned upon, I'd haggle with people at Target. I don't know where it became this thing that in America you're allowed to just set a price and there's no arguing with it. 'Cause Come on.
Try.
like that PlayStation 2 game we found at Target the other day, they're trying to sell for $15. I'd
It
be like,
was
come
a
on,
new
guy.
PlayStation
Come
2
on, guy.
game.
No one's
in the
buying this for
wrapper.
$15.
When I bought the original Batman Arkham Asylum, I was waiting in the electronics department for a man to buy VHS tapes. I'm like, I have a real transaction here.
Yeah. Well.
Well, I went to the Sears recently, and it used to be good to find a lot of
Oh, yeah.
games
Oh, yeah.
and PS2 games. They got rid of video games completely.
Yeah.
Can't buy that Hannah Montana DS game anymore.
That was like the savior of like if you were a kid going to Sears.
Oh, that's
because
that's where my grandparents
yeah,
shopped, and
like-
it was right down the street from them.
So your mom or whoever would
I
go
don't
look
know how
at.
Sears is still around.
I don't
There's
understand.
like nobody in there.
There's
Nobody's
never
buying
anybody in
appliances.
there.
grandparents.
It is. I think it is grandma's.
Nobody's buying phones.
Because the last time
Their
I bought
game room
something at
stuff. Nobody's
Sears,
buying tools.
But I just remember like that was the savior for a kid, is you could go over and look at the video
Yeah.
games and computer
Well,
games.
toys.
And
that's where all those like Star Wars toys, those were bought by my grandparents at Sears.
in my town we had a Sears outlet. It was freaking awesome.
I still have the Jabba the Hutt's palace in the box from that Sears.
Maybe the first Sears, it's in Santa Monica near the coast, and it's about the size of this room, and it has like a bicycle, a fake Christmas tree, and like some wrenches, and that's it. And they have a full Sears auto. I think that's what keeps them alive. It's all
Gotta
like,
be.
Yeah.
And then there's this little room with an old man guarding the bike and the fake Christmas tree and the wrenches.
Somebody's gonna run in there and just grab that bucket. Finally, it's mine.
They also have their like photo thing where they
Do people still do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those
And they
mark
charge
it up big time.
So much money.
Like if you wanted to get pictures with your family, where would you go now?
They do.
Oh, there's no question. We already go. Target.
Target does it?
Not all of them, but
Where
some
you
of
can
them.
pose?
You can pose. Yeah, they do the full
I've
thing.
never seen any Target.
There's
do
only
that.
a few. We go all the way out to Cerritos for it.
Cerritos.
From here, that's the closest one in Cerritos.
That's like when you find a Walmart somewhere that has a McDonald's that serves pizza.
Yeah.
That's like a weird thing
Go.
somewhere out there.
They have it. Janelle gets these coupons, and they let her double stack the coupons. So we go there, and she gets $4.99 a sheet for the pictures, plus they give her a discount. So they'll like ring it up, and they're like, "Okay, that's gonna be $450," and then she hands all the coupons, and they're like,
Pictures?
"Oh yeah, that's how much. If you went to Sears, that's what you're paying."
$450 for pictures?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, you don't even know. So then,
How many pictures?
Janelle gets a big stack of
Oh,
them.
but if you were like getting a couple wallet size, a big one.
Yeah, then
Even
you get like
those-
$100.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Oh, wow.
expensive.
But when Janelle hands the coupons,
Because
we
you
walk
got
out of there
sitting
with $40.
fees and
Oh, yeah, 'cause
whatnot.
the sitting fee.
How much
She
did it
gets free
cost?
sitting fees because her
Uh-huh.
coupons. She gets the $4.99 sheets, plus she gets bonus ones. She walks out of there $40-50.
Wow.
And they're always like, "What?" And they're like, "I don't think
What
this
have
is
you done?
right." And she's like, "Give me my picture for $50." So
Is there a lot of
What-
arguing in your family with people in charge of
Oh,
pricing?
absolutely.
Because I noticed your mom
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
Joe's Crab Shack was like, no.
Yeah, because
And
this
she was
is
telling
great.
stories about writing letters to hotels.
Yes. At Joe's Crab Shack, they messed up the order. a
They
little
gave
bit.
Derek.
They gave Derek my mom's, which was similar, but they had hers.
'Cause
Had
I
like-
ordered what you ordered.
right, you got what I got.
But
and
hers
they-
had the stuff.
hers had
shrimp.
like the fancy stuffed shrimp, and they
And I
gave
was
those
like,
to
what
Derek.
is this?
Yeah, and they're like, what is this? And my mom's like, oh, that was supposed to be for me. And
I
Derek's like,
basically like spit it out. I'm like, here you
oh,
go.
sorry, yeah, you can have these. And my mom's like, no, it's cool. And then she got them to bring her.
And it was like a
hers.
whole
And
plate.
They brought her a whole plate of them, right?
And I got to pay
And you got to pay
normal
for right.
price.
That's how it should be.
for stuffed shrimp.
Yeah, that's how the Vecchios roll.
It felt like I was getting.
No,
Play
it
with
was
murder.
their error, and we, that's what happens. We still give them good tips, but they got to bring the right stuff that you paid for.
So Phil stuff to mention.
Oh yeah, I wanted to tell them about how I've sat in. I've done sit-ins, right?
Sit-ins with what?
Okay, I think I might have told this
Wait,
on the
what?
show before.
Classes?
No. To get you asked about arguing with people about money and stuff. So one time, this was actually like right before Janelle and I got married, and I got a flat tire, and it was late at night. No, I actually got 2 flat tires, so I ran over something on the left. And so I got our car towed to Costco outside the tire place, but it just closed. And so they didn't have time to do it that day, and it said no parking outside. So I go inside and talk to the guy running the tire place, and he says, oh, it's okay, I'll show you where to park it. You can have it dropped over here. You can leave it there overnight, and we'll take care of you in the morning. So we do that, and we come back in the morning, and the car's gone. It turns out they had it towed. And I go in and talk to the guy, and he's like, yeah, it says no parking. And I'm like, I talked to your guy last night. He said I could leave it. And they're like, well, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm like, that's not my problem, and you guys are going to pay for my towing fees because it's like $250.
Uh-huh.
He's like, no, we're not. And I'm like, yes, you are. Give me your manager. And it escalated until the dude came down from the upstairs of the Costco room. And Janelle and I wound up sitting there, arms crossed, like in front of the customer service. So people had to walk past us to go check out to get their stuff. And eventually the guy came down and was like, what do you want? And we said this. And they're like, no, we're not doing it. We're like, well, we're not leaving until you do. We sat in for about 2 hours until eventually the dude in the suit came down and handed us a check for the $250. Paid for us to get our towing done.
So it was like silent resistance.
Yep.
I went to a Target because I bought a King Kong DVD, and there was a comic on the back, so I couldn't see the back where it would say full screen or widescreen. I bought
Oh,
full
no.
screen.
Oh.
And so, or no, it was the standard, and I wanted the one with the special features. And so I come back with it, and I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. I want the one with special features. And I'm like, well, technically that's a different item. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, here's where I'm going to do my first stand. And I'm like, no, the comic was covering it. I didn't know what it was. And it was the little, I think the lady that the Target lady is based on is the one I had to argue with. And she's like, no. And I'm like, yeah. And then there was like a stalemate. And I was like, well, then keep the DVD then. And I walked out.
And you didn't even keep that one?
I didn't want it.
Oh, see.
Oh, no.
What was I
Oh,
supposed
dude.
to do?
Okay, here's
Oh,
what
young
you got to
Garrett.
do. You got to come out with a plan of attack. My plan would have been just flat out return it. Don't even deal with the lady and the technology. You have to
I
kind
should
of
have
do.
returned it for
Yeah.
the same thing
Yes.
and then returned that.
Yes.
Because it was open. I'm like, I needed to open. That was the sticking point. I needed to open it to see that
if
it
it's
had
the right thing.
it was the right thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
should've just done that.
but you just gotta find. Oh, dude, I know they've clamped down because so many people have taken advantage of like return systems.
When I
But
worked
you
at
just-
Borders, people were returning library books because we didn't need a receipt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you did
I didn't return
No,
library
people
books,
are-
but I did. I remember a couple times I got the wrong. Amazon.
That's why they're bankrupt. That's
Yeah.
why they don't exist anymore.
But I remember a couple times I would return things. I've returned stuff at Target and Walmart that I didn't buy there. I've done that. Just because I remember.
That can backfire, though. Because when Janelle got married, we got a bunch of wedding presents.
Yeah.
And this one lady gave
This
us...
guy wrote, "You'll have to close with us inside because
We ain't leaving. Yeah, that's where we're at. So she gave us like this music box thing and had like a bride and a groom and it like spun around and we're like, oh great, we don't want that. And we found out that they had them like at Walmart. So we were like gonna go take it back. We didn't have a receipt or anything, but we're like, oh, they'll take back anything. But they wouldn't let us return it because they said they had other ones in that line, but they didn't carry that particular one, so we couldn't return it there. And we're like, so
So that's why
mad.
you got to do your research.
Well, so we're going back, like, okay, we'll go take it to a different one, and we like get in there, and I don't know what made. Oh no, I know what it was. We couldn't figure out how to return it, so we gave it to my mom. We're like, here, like, I don't know, do you want it? And she's like, sure, I'll take it. And so she opened it up, and inside,
because they had put
she had
money.
she had folded like $20 bills and made like little bows and stuck them all over it. So
Ooh.
the present wasn't the like junky thing.
Uh-huh.
It was like $400. And my
Oh.
mom's like, hey, you guys sure you want me to have this? And we're like, why? Yeah. So we almost returned $400 in cash.
I don't never. I don't.
Walmart.
I haven't been married, so I don't have that kind of thing. I was like, I forgot what it was. Oh, it was Amazon didn't ship my my one of my extended editions. It didn't arrive on time, and I was leaving for a trip.
Oh, right.
So I went to Target, or no, it was Walmart. Bought the special edition and then opened it. So then when the Amazon one that was sealed, I just took that
Return
one
back.
and returned that one. And at first it wouldn't scan because I had a different barcode. And then because I look for the dumb kid and I'm like, oh, it's probably just not working. He's like, yeah, you're right. And then he's like, here you go. And I mean, I don't know.
But that's not like, it's not like they don't have a product then to sell. It's the same
Well,
thing.
One time we returned a broken Xbox.
Well, that's that. Now you're getting into see, because I'm not about ripping people off. I just want to get what I deserve, and for
Well, they
the right
wouldn't
price.
fix our Xbox.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We had the box, we had everything, but it was like way out of, like it was an open Xbox, and we returned it, and we got a new one.
I had when my Xbox red ringed.
That's what it was.
I had to call Xbox
Yeah.
support to see if the warranty was still on it. They're like, and they had like MSN passwords from years before as like security questions.
Yep.
And the one was like 12th grade crush, and I'm like, lady, I have no fucking idea who that is.
12th grade
Can we just
crush.
move on to whatever credit card? Please move on. Because she was like snickering, like 12th grade crush.
Just go down the
It's
line.
like, lady,
Susie.
move on.
Kelly.
Bobby.
I do that every time because my movie pass is linked to a very old, because I linked with Facebook, and Facebook is linked to a very old email I don't use anymore, and it's Star Wars centric. So I have to spell Obi-Wan like I'm being slick, like I'm not saying Obi-Wan. I'm like Obi. And it's a recent year because Obi-Wan 2000 was taken, so I just kept going on it. And so it seems like I did it like yesterday.
Obi-Wan 2015.
Very interesting.
That's awesome.
So we played Dungeons and Dragons.
We did, yeah. First time in like 3 years.
Phil joined the Black Box crew.
Yeah. I almost got
They liked you.
Shanghaied, but
Everybody liked
Derek put me up to a
Vilkebach
vote.
was giving you a hard time.
Yes, but I was... Someone rolled an insight something or other, and they found out I was cool.
You should have rolled for hazing.
They didn't have that on the stat sheet, so...
Vilkebach really wanted to haze you.
I know. It was
Vilkebach
good.
to Derek,
It was
you
fun.
guys.
Got to play. Again, I haven't played in like 3 years. It's the first time.
You guys all did a good job.
You're only my second DM, so you know.
It was funny. All I know is him, and when something is coming, like Brendo like gets all excited.
Do you think I need a better poker face?
I don't
No,
know.
I
It's
like
fun. It's fun. Because it's laid back. I mean,
You said before, because we were all playing for the first time, and you had DM'd for the first time, most of them are really cutthroat and swift and don't let you really figure it out like
Yeah.
you do.
well, and I
Like
think
if we
it's,
had Harris, we'd be dealing with trickery. And,
right. What's a
Because
fun?
people, like Dungeon Masters are supposed to like trick people into doing stuff, right? Like
Well,
if you're a
some it
dick.
depends on how
your approach
you
is.
play. Like some people, there's
You're
like,
trying to kill everyone.
yeah, I'm not that guy.
I think that's a perfect.
I want
group, though,
everybody
'cause
to have
everybody's
fun.
Like, everyone
Everybody's
plays it for
chill.
real, but it's chill. It's like
Yeah.
a perfect balance. It's like when we played with Josh in that
Yeah.
group. Like nobody's like super hyper intense about it, but everyone takes it, plays it right. So it's fun.
It was fun. So that was fun.
Very, very cool. Liked it a lot.
You went to Disneyland?
Went to Disneyland, and Luke got to go on the Matterhorn for the first time.
So the new Matterhorn?
New Matterhorn
Cool.
is cool. Yeah, it's
New Yeti.
new yet. Yeah, they got 2 new animatronics, which
What's
are
the other one?
they're very similar. They're in the same spot where they were before, but they're just new and higher tech.
I felt
And-
up a girl on the Matterhorn.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, well,
You can't do that
don't get to
anymore
sit next
now.
To each other anymore. It's separate seats now.
It's no
No,
instant.
she was in front of me.
Yeah, they don't have
They
that anymore.
So what is it?
There's It's
It's like
well,
a
you know
separate
how
car.
it's like also each seat is separated. Where it used to be, if you
You,
were
like,
sitting
sat
with a
in their
girl,
lap.
they're like in your lap. So we always called it like instant first base.
Everyone's got their. Everyone has a separate seat now.
First brace is kissing.
So it was like instant second base. Well, because we saw, I remember
The
we'd
grass
always,
level.
you'd always sit there. I mean, Phil and I, without fail, we could point out a dude,
Yeah.
just like we're like, oh, because like right when they're about to go in the cave, that's when they go for their move.
Yeah.
Like, oops.
So it's just single toboggan?
So no.
Well, no.
It's a double one.
It's
but the other
individual
person is like
seats.
an individual seat.
Oh,
so.
so the seat in front of
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would have to like be like this.
you. Okay, I can do that.
So so Audrey was in front of me and she was a little freaked out. So like I had to lean forward like this to hold her hand. So it's not like there's no sly move or anything like that.
My
No more Matterhorn move.
No, definitely not.
my dad was like, we just want to ride this, so let's lie to him and say that it's as slow as Pirates of the Caribbean. And I remember, like, I practically broke my dad's ribs. He's like, you have to let go of me this part. This is not designed for you to be holding on to me this way. Oh, I was so mad.
Well, so they have 2 new animatronics, plus Steve Espinosa is going to Disneyland next month. When was the last time you went? You need some tips? We got lots of tips.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, all kinds
Here's
of stuff.
Phil's tip corner.
Well, I don't want to like spread it to the whole world,
Well, let's just talk about the new.
Well, anyway, new Matterhorn. They have 2 new
Let's go into the
animatronics,
more.
and then as you climb up the first road, relatively recently, they added the snow effects on the
But
side.
now they have the shadow
And now it's
Yeti.
like but it's not just a shadow. It's actually like a little animation.
Oh, really?
of it. It's similar in style to like the
On Everest.
Everest, where you see it up in front of you there, and it kind of like run, like climbs up and chases after you with it. So it's cool. Other than that, it's large.
Do they still have the one where he roars and it's like insanely loud?
Yeah, I feel like there's a roar spot that was different. Like that first one you
That
climb up.
first
I think
one
is-
always just scared the. Even when I'm like grown up, I'm always like, ah,
I think they took that out.
that was
'cause
like jarring.
It follows with the animation
Okay.
now instead.
Because it used to just be, you'd get to the top and all of a sudden be like, "Brrr!" like
Yeah.
super loud.
I think that it's just the animation one. So.
I hated that.
But it's still really good. So Steve said he went last month, but it was for your nephew, so it's going as an adult. Well, the new Matterhorn is cool. I would definitely recommend trying it. Also, if you're going on Small World, always hang to the right.
Yes.
As well as Haunted Mansion, always hang to the right when the line splits. You get a lot shorter lines that way.
Without fail.
Absolutely. Even if it looks like the other one's going to be longer, it's not. Don't fall for it.
Well, Haunted Mansion's usually never that long.
If it is, though, this last time we went and it was long, but we got in literally half the time.
They're not scared of the ghosts.
The kids?
Yeah.
No, they're cool with it. We eased them into it. We started with Haunted Mansion Holiday. That's more like silly. And then,
Not as serious.
Yeah, that's intense. So
But now that the Hatbox Ghost is there, the lines probably are longer.
it is a lot longer, and that's why we wanted to
It's
go.
really
to see
people
the Hatbox.
care about that.
It's cool. It's a cool new effect.
If you are a Haunted Mansion fanatic like I am, like this is something you have been dreaming of your entire life.
But
I'm not even joking. My
Dreaming?
entire life, I have dreamt. Dude, you don't even know.
Like this rumor.
I have Haunted Mansion dreams on a regular basis. I have dreamt up. I've told Phil. I've dreamt.
Have you dreamt better?
Oh yeah, like 100 different
Like me dreaming of
iterations.
The original Batman.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, my nightmares were Haunted Mansion based as well.
My nightmares were
the candelabra that floats at the end. That was like one of my worst nightmares. It was like at the top
My
of the
nightmares
stairs.
were like my parents being murdered.
No, mine
Yours
was
were
Haunted
zany.
Mansion. No, it was at the top of the stairs, and I would like reach up because I was freaked out, and there was no light, so I'd reach up for the light switch,
That
and the
seems
light
like
switch would move up the wall out of my reach.
That seemed like a book cover of you. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I love.
So now, if you took me on the Haunted Mansion now and pointed out that ghost, I would be like, wasn't he already there before?
No, it's a whole new scene that's built in there.
Okay.
Well,
It's
anyways,
not just a dude poked there.
I
It's like a
know,
whole
and
new
plus
little
I've
area.
studied. Like if I could have like a
not have this Hatbox?
because the original effect they couldn't get the technology to work,
And what is the effect?
and it's this head disappears and then shows up in the box,
Okay.
and they
It just
couldn't
didn't
get it to
work
work
right.
right. It never fully disappeared, so they took it out, and then all kinds of and then Haunted Mansion, the actual like structure was empty, like sitting there for like years before the ride opened. So people were just like, oh, they closed it, and like because somebody died because it was so scary, and
Or
like
Steven said that there's a myth that there was a ghost walking through the hallway.
that one is true. That is absolutely true. There was a period in the 80s where there was a dude in a suit of armor that walked in the hallway, the knocking hallway, and he would jump out at you. And I remember when he did it, and that was because I was like, this isn't the Haunted Mansion, and he did it, and it scared the crap out of me. And I didn't go on it for like a year after that because I was like, what is that? Because they were trying to make it more interesting. There's actually, if you search, I had the website bookmarked for a while. One of the guy that played the knight
best
had
Disney
a.
Insider things is like gone now. They had the Rocketeer ride.
Oh yeah, you were
planned.
telling me about that.
But in Florida, they have the end scene where they take like your heads off.
Yeah, that's all
Like-
new.
Like
I haven't seen that
like
yet.
that. They should do that in LA.
They should, I agree.
That seems
but-
more interesting than a Hatbox.
Well, the Hatbox Ghost is a legendary thing.
So there's more people going on it to see the Hatbox ghost.
Yes.
Are
Absolutely.
they advertising like here's
Yes.
the Hatbox ghost?
I don't know. I haven't seen ads. It just
Well,
kinda
anyway,
like,
but you've
everybody
seen
knows
it?
about it. It's
I've
all the
seen it, so I'm just
hardcore.
saying people just know. Like
The
you don't have to
hardcore-
advertise that stuff.
But that's the one thing I have to see sometime. But yeah, I've dreamt a thrill ride version of Haunted Mansion, Haunted Mansion with like suspended cars, really scary Haunted Mansion, walk through Haunted Mansion, like ghosts, like real, I don't know, all
That's what it
kinds
looks
of
like in that?
crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yes. I mean.
And like
So
yeah.
they were testing this trackless Haunted Mansion,
Yes.
and then they built it in China, but they have laws against how supernatural you can go, so it's not
It's
Haunted
not
Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
Right.
But Danny Elfman like did the music for it,
Yes.
and it's trackless.
That ride looks so amazing. My friend helped. He worked with some of the design on it, so I got.
Why
some,
don't we get something like that here?
Because
I read that whole thing.
they
about
have a lot more money in some of those parks. Because the Chinese parks, they work in conjunction with
like
government stuff. Like Tokyo Disneyland is that they have an unlimited budget basically because they work with the government. So that's why they have like some of the craziest. Their parades, the parade itself takes up the entire parade route. Like they're
all at
huge,
once.
and they have different themed parades. Like they have multiple different parades a year.
I read about the extraterrestrial
Oh my
Right,
gosh.
How we were supposed to get that first, and
Yep.
Disneyland failing in France killed
a lot of
cool
stuff
in Disneyland.
Yes.
Did you guys ride that?
I got
before?
to do it, but
He
Brendo
did.
did not.
I never got to do
Because
it.
you were scared?
No, I wasn't
It
there.
was closed by the time you went out there.
I went by the time I went, it was Stitch, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
So what was it like? I went on the Stitch one.
Okay, it was because the Stitch one, the walkthrough is similar, the part at the beginning, and you sit in the same things, but instead of like silly Stitch, it was this terrifying monster.
Uh-huh.
And so,
And it
like,
killed people, and
and
like
so
blood
the opening
sprayed
thing right
on
now
you.
it's kind of silly, but like it showed it like
Like
more
a guy
over.
on the catwalk and stuff.
No, yeah.
There was like
blood dripping
flashlight.
down.
And they shut it down because it was too scary.
Because it was too scary. People were complaining.
But can you say this is scary?
It was called Extra Terror Estrial.
I think
and
they
it said,
should
warning
have.
parents, this is not for kids.
Uh-huh.
And
people
kids
still
still
complain.
freak out on Stitch, so there's still
Because
like
it's dark.
yeah, like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen this video, the earthquake video from Tokyo Disney Sea during the earthquake. Like it's crazy, and you can see the light towers moving. Like during the tsunami, like the earthquake that caused the tsunami.
Earthquake?
I
just want to know if it's a new thing.
No, it's just how he says it.
Anyways.
because I pointed it out a bunch.
So
So
earthquake is definitely a
people,
thing.
there are there's
Okay.
video out there from like Disney Sea and from Tokyo during that earthquake.
Disney?
Disney
Oh.
Sea. Nothing.
No, you're
Stop
that's
it.
the
Now I'm
rip-off.
just gonna stop talking. But
Interesting.
that would have been at first. I'm like, oh wow, those people get to like spend the night at like to Disneyland, and then it just sounded like a horrific.
No.
like Jurassic World, where
Yeah.
Well, then and then it was all these people finding out that their homes were destroyed, so they had nothing to go home to, and they're trapped in Disneyland.
Yeah, none of that.
And
is
it was like
worth staying overnight.
raining, and like they had to like find shelter, and like they were just
there's a
it just
video
sounded
of
horrible.
Tokyo Disneyland during that.
yeah. Well, that's what he's saying. Like they were, like you can see the light towers. I've seen the video. It's crazy. Tokyo Disney Sea though, I want to go to that park. That's like the ultimate park for me. Like they got so much cool stuff there.
Yeah.
That and I want to go back to because I haven't when I went to Paris before they like redid a lot of the stuff.
You went
It's
to
like
Disneyland Paris?
yeah, when it like first opened and like
Euro Disney.
it was Euro Disney. It was in 1990, summer of '95.
How did you get to do that?
We were in Paris, and I'm like,
How were you in Paris?
I was on a school trip.
And
See, I was on a school trip and I could have done it, and I wound up going to the
You wouldn't
Louvre
let us go
instead.
to Catalina at one year
Well,
because the kids were too rowdy. They
My
broke-
brother got to go to Washington D.C. twice, so my reward was I got to go to Europe,
Yeah, you came out ahead.
and it was the summer of '95, and we were in Paris, and there was a lot of different,
Whatever you've seen.
and it was only me and my football coach went because nobody else wanted to go, and he had to because I couldn't go by myself.
Finally got Brendo alone.
Because I was gonna just go by myself. 'Cause
How old were you?
I was 15,
Okay.
and we had a lot of like open like because like they would go because it was a bunch of seniors that I was with, and they just all went and drank, and like
Because how? Oh, okay.
because it was like our football coach did not care what anybody did.
He's trying
but-
to get you alone.
When in Rome.
He didn't know he was not trying.
When in
Oh yeah,
Paris.
you want to know what happened when he got me alone? He's like, have you done anything about all that weight, Brendan? And I started crying.
You really set the mood.
Like he basically was like, "You're fat," and I was like, "Okay, that's horrible. You're a horrible person."
Was
And-
he trying to do it nicely, or
I don't know what he was doing.
But it didn't work.
No, it made me very upset.
I'll help you burn it off.
Oh yeah, Shanghai Disneyland does look awesome. Tron ride. But anyway, so we went to. So it was just. So I was gonna go by myself, but the tour group's like, no, you have to have an adult with you because it was like way out in the like. It's not like in
It's like
Paris
in the
proper.
area.
Yeah. So you had to take a bus, and then like, and I'm like, and at first he's like, no, we're not doing that. And I'm like, it says we can go, and I kind of started up my Brendo. I kind of was like,
Young Brendo Hulk.
well, you remember like when it seemed like we weren't going to be able to do the Halloween Horror Nights, and I was like, remember when me and Malcolm's like, I think we have to do this because I was so excited.
Well,
and
you weren't being belligerent, but you were just.
I would have
excited.
gotten belligerent if we hadn't gotten to do it.
You were jumping up and down. I'm like, what the hell?
I'd never been to Horror Nights before, and I was so excited. And
And you were driving. You were about to crash us into a building.
well, plus just the idea of going. Plus, I don't know. It was like I was going with you and Malcolm, and I was just so excited because like I love Malcolm, and he's like Malcolm bought us souvenirs and like I don't know, it was great and it was so much fun. But anyway, so my football coach is like, fine, I will take you.
Brendo want Disneyland.
Brendo want Disneyland.
Well, it was Euro Disney. So then we went, and it was so amazing because it was freaking empty, and the park it's Tony Baxter's like masterpiece, which he's one of like the big engineer.
Tomorrowland there looks
The
amazing.
Tomorrowland is like Jules Verne
Wasn't that
World.
the first Tomorrowland where it wasn't Tomorrowland?
Yes,
it was
it was Jules Verne like
It was
Discovery Land.
so they don't have to keep updating.
Yeah,
Right.
it was
Yeah.
it was amazing. There's a
And
summer.
they tried to do something like that for New Tomorrowland here, and it was
Yeah,
just
it
a
did not
ugly
work.
copper looking.
There's an amazing 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride. There's this. There's just all this beautiful like just like set pieces and everything. They just went all out on the castle is amazing. There's a freaking dragon in the castle. There's and then
Does it come out?
well, it's like you go down there and it's
like
like
in the
down
dungeon,
there. It's
right?
like in the dungeon.
Like
It's
a
freaking
big
cool.
one?
Yeah,
And it comes out at you,
like it's just like sitting there. It's pretty
or it
cool.
just doesn't move?
And, like it's an animatronic,
Weird.
but it's pretty awesome.
That's scary.
And it was pretty freaky.
Whose castle was it supposed to be?
I think in there it's
Sleeping Beauty, isn't
it's
it?
Sleeping Beauty.
No.
I don't know.
Wait, well, the one in L.A. is
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty, and then the
Florida's
one
Cinderella.
I don't know. I'd have to look, but it's some French
wasn't it
name.
Beauty and the Beast?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, anyways, the cool
That's
part
what-
about Disneyland
Dragon.
Paris,
Do they tell you it's there? Or do you like?
I knew it was there.
It's like a walkthrough, right?
Yeah, it's like a walkthrough thing. But the
They
Disney,
still do that here.
Yeah.
yes,
I remember it was closed.
and it was
There's, like,
closed
pages of
forever, and then
book.
they brought it back.
Is it better?
It's way better than it used to be.
What's in it? I've
There's
never
like
even seen
there's
anything
like some
walk through it.
scary parts.
Yeah, they just updated the
It's
the
like new
effects are way better.
technology.
It used to just be,
So it used to be
little
dolls,
puppets,
like yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy. I
So
miss puppet dolls at Disneyland.
no, I don't at all.
I think that it was cool and I liked it a lot, but they did a good job of updating it.
The coolest part about Disneyland Paris is their haunted mansion is in Frontierland, and it's called Phantom Manor, and it has this whole crazy backstory of like the bride is murdered by the Phantom, and he's the ghost host, and then like they like the Phantom's trying to get you, and like you're trying to solve the murder. And then like you go into like this, you go underground. It's like this old west town, and it's like it's really weird. Like it's really freaking, it's nuts. And when I went there before they changed it, originally it was the narrator was Vincent Price,
Oh,
and
really?
then they changed it to a French dude.
So is everything in French?
At the time, it was not. And then again, that's one of the reasons why they complained. That's why they redid a lot of the park, because they're like, this is too American. So they redid. For instance, they put the Phantom Manor host in French, and they made some other French stuff and
French
anyways.
bread and French fries.
Because
all
yeah,
that.
when we went, that park was like being at an abandoned park, but it was fully operational. It was like Cartman when he's like all right, cool, yeah, and I was like on it by myself,
No one
and
needs to go.
yeah. So yeah,
You might be able to afford to go back.
maybe because I got a job.
Because you got a job.
Finally. I did.
Now I can reveal that I was behind that whole job offer of them.
Oh my
You
god.
orchestrated the whole thing.
You didn't recognize me when I was interviewing.
Yes. But I got a job at
Why is
a
Dick Tracy interviewing?
digital mapping company in Redlands. They're a very big tech company, and I'll be doing PC technician stuff.
Very cool.
And they told me that if anybody yells, it's the power. So I finished How I Met Your Mother this week.
Yep.
I had like 3 out of 3. Comic-Con, post-Comic-Con, finish whatever, because the 3 times I did it was whatever I was up to on How I Met Your Mother. I binge-watched How I Met Your Mother, and then I would get that job offer.
it.
And it happened again.
That
3
should
for
just be
3.
Your like application, like, hey, just finish How I Met Your Mother. Hire me.
Well, this one was like this I watched all 9 seasons. It was.
So you got to the end.
I made it.
What'd you think of the end?
I loved it.
It's great. Right?
People are crazy.
I know.
Because if you did not see that coming, I'm sorry, but you're kind of a
You
dum
weren't
dum.
paying attention then all along. I agree.
Because they telegraphed that.
Yeah.
And the thing with the kids, they specifically are like, you have the hots for him. They filmed that at the very beginning. So it wasn't like they stuck that in at the end. They planned that from the very beginning. because those kids, that's just, they filmed that all at once.
Well, again, from that very opening scene, or the closing, I should say, of the first episode.
You knew that was how it was going to
That's
end.
how they're ending the
Him
show.
with the blue horn.
Yeah, like that's, come on.
I wish they made the Greta Gerwig version. How I Met Your Father.
That would have been
That was
awesome.
a real thing.
Was it really?
For a minute.
Huh.
Meg Ryan was the voice of the mother.
Did not know that. So you got a job, so that's exciting. You start
Got a job, start August 3rd, so I got one more week of...
Last week of freedom.
Last week of, well, good thing, like I'll talk about in a minute, but...
Last
We're
time
in-
I got a job, I got hired on a Friday and had to go in that Monday. I didn't have any time to...
Well, they got to do like a
Whack
background. They got to finish up all my references. They called Phil.
Yep.
What
I was
did
like,
you
don't
say?
hire that idiot.
What did you say? Brendo Vandalay Industries?
Say Vandalay! So you want to be my latex salesman?
But, yeah, so...
What are they calling Phil for?
Personal
Reference.
reference.
Okay. Well, you should call me. That would be a
Well, also, we have a record label,
Well,
and I
yeah,
do
yeah.
use that as a reference because I do the
like,
part of my technology.
He blows up some of the time.
Yeah, there's
But-
a reason he's not
At
sending
this
the
job-
Now I know that if you yell back at him,
At this job, they specifically said if anybody yells at me, they can get fired. So, because it's all
Now,
employees.
are you gonna take that to heart?
If somebody yells at me, I'm gonna take that.
'Cause
to
I'm
heart.
afraid what happens. Well, what happens if they don't follow up on it?
I don't know. Do I list K. Smith as a reference? No, I do not. I mean, because I still
worked with
don't
him.
know if Kevin actually knows that we worked for him. Like,
I worked with you.
well, I know he knows that, but like, I just remember at that last episode, he's like, Derek and Brenda were here.
I hung out a lot, and that's like, yo.
And then I'm like, we worked.
I looked at you like, what the fuck? I'm sure. I mean, we were stamping hands. I was selling merchandise. Of course they knew.
So you got a job.
Whoa.
You got
Put that down on your resume?
a great.
Yes. So I got the job. I'm excited about that.
That? Not appropriate.
Whatever.
Maybe we should apologize.
It's okay.
I'm not gonna allow that. Kick him out.
So I got the job and I'm excited. I went in, I filled out all the paperwork, and I did the background thing and blah blah blah. Watched a safety video.
Yeah.
And,
Nah, but you told me you have an arrest record.
what?
You told me
I don't have an arrest
You
record.
said you were wilding.
We
What
were-
you doing?
I was detained when I was 17 because
That's not an apology.
because my brother and his friends were streaking.
That was
and
the lamest thing you could get
It is.
arrested for, being accessory
Accessory
to
to streaking.
Well, they were trying to nail because my friend was 18. They were trying. There was talk when the rent-a-cop was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you charged with accessory contributing to the delinquency of a minor."
which is my punk band.
And then the cops get there and they're like, "Why did you call us?" But they were so mad that they like detained us because they're like, "We can't just release you. We got to
were
release
giving
you
lip
to
the
your
cop.
parents." I was pissed off. I was like, because I knew I was gonna take the most heat for this. I knew how much trouble I was gonna get
You yelled at
in.
a cop.
Yes,
You've almost caused a scene on a plane.
almost.
But like, don't you realize that like if I cause a scene on a plane, I'm gonna.
Well, that's why I was freaking out.
So weren't you in your life just do whatever they say? If I have to get off, I get off. But you were.
Well, I
you were-
didn't want to. If they were tried to kick me off that plane, I was gonna start some.
What could have happened? We've been trying to break you out of Guantanamo right now.
But then there was also the back of my head. I'm like, you're gonna get so much.
like no.
But
good
I
can
was
come of
not gonna get kicked off. I was gonna cause. I was
it. It seemed like
just
a
on
bad
principle of getting kicked off a plane and plus I knew if like I know how I get when I'm
idea.
like.
Somebody told me to get off the plane. I'm like, just let me know where the Chili's.
You
2
have
is.
to understand, Derek. I have a documented problem with authority. Like I do.
Well,
like
so when you say that out loud, I realize that's true. But I'm like, why is Brendo sticking it to the man all the time?
because I get hassled a lot.
But not the. I guess.
I don't know. I think it's just all the injustices I suffered as a young boy,
And we were
and
talking about commercial ideas for popsicles, and I'm like, if anybody has an idea, come say it. And Brendo heard is like, think up of something. He's like, you do it. And I'm like, I wasn't saying that. I was saying if you have an idea,
you do it.
Don't tell me my business, devil
So
So
woman.
you should use that in like your Tindering and stuff. Like you're a bad boy that has a problem with
I'm a
authority.
bad man. That's right. I'm a bad boy.
I'm a loner.
Well, I was thinking like
rebel.
George. Like I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad like
Yeah.
a loner daughter. Well, anyways, I did.
Problem with
Well,
authority.
because I knew I knew I know what I knew what was gonna happen with my mom, and I was completely right. Because you can, I said this on Popsicles. You can imagine what happened when my mom got woken up at 2 in the morning. Mrs. Creasy, this is the San Diego Police Department. We have your sons. Like just the kind of
Those scams.
the hell that wrath down. Because when the other parents got there, like, oh, are you guys okay? And my mom was just, get in the car right now.
You're dead.
You are dead. And my brother,
Like breaking bottles of the rock quarry again, Brendo.
I got grounded for at least 2 months. I got my AOL taken away.
That led to another thing. You can listen to it on Popsicles.
That's on
Like his
Popsicles.
online girlfriend was disconnected from him, and
Yes.
we learned Brendo has the same sweet nothings that he's got them stored and ready to go. Listen to Popsicles for the rest of that story.
All right.
I
so,
think I found her on Facebook.
Sweet. Did you see it? You saw a picture?
Yeah.
Well, let's see it.
I'd have to dig again. So I'm not
Just
going to
type
do
her
that.
name, Lulu Valentine, or whatever her name was.
And I'm not going to do that right now, but
I
I'll.
want to see this lady.
It's,
Was she satisfactory?
eh,
Does she look like somebody that would be talking to you in 1999?
probably. No, this was 1996 or 97.
So
She-
some other news happened.
Oh, yeah.
Since you're not currently doing Matt and Brendo's wrestling show,
Just real quick. So last night, Mark Ariano broke the news in the Matt and Brendo's Wrestling Show chat that something was going down with Hulk Hogan because he just all of a sudden disappeared from his WWE profile.com profile, his Hall of Fame profile. He was removed as a judge on the Tough Enough page. Just like his merchandise disappeared. He just basically like in one fell swoop, it was like he was gone. And so everyone's like, oh, this must be huge. Because the last time WWE did, because they didn't even do this when like CM Punk like walked away. Like that did not happen. Like we're immediately, the last time this happened was when Chris Benoit murdered his wife and son and then
that's
killed
the
him.
level
That's
of
the
stuff we're
so
talking
everyone was
When
like,
did that
what?
happen?
That was in 2007. Or was, so
Why did he do that?
because nobody knows for sure, but there's multiple theories. Some people think it was concussion syndrome,
It's like he's knocked around too many times.
roid rage. There's multiple theories,
So, but what happened
and also
here?
he killed himself, so they can't ever find out for real. Anyways, so nobody knew for sure, but then there was one message board post where a guy was saying, "Oh." Because I just kind of like thought about what's going on with Hulk Hogan right now. Oh, he's got a $100 million lawsuit against Gawker because they leaked some of his sex tape that he made, and it was a sex tape he made in 2008 that got released in 2012. Not all of it though. So again, I'm like, could that be it? But like that tape is out there, so like they wouldn't even have rehired Hogan because they hired Hogan since that happened. So I'm like, that's not it. And then we're like thinking like maybe it's something over the actual court case. And sure enough, the full tape is sealed currently as part of the trial, but it's out there now. Like it's so what happened was somebody leaked it to the Inquirer. They made a transcript, but WWE must have heard the whole tape. Because I'm like, whatever was on that, it must be bad. And it turns out Hulk Hogan said some horrifically racist things like, I hate N-words, these N-words, several N-word
Nerds.
things, and then like just horrific things. It was not part of the sex tape that had originally been released, but I guess after they did it, they were just talking, and he's like telling her about how much he hates
Wow.
and he hates black people because he's like, I'm not racist, but I guess everybody's racist. That's something that he says, and then he says effing N-words. At least 3 times, according to the transcript.
Yeah.
So these are transcripts, but that tape's gonna come out. Like,
And then earlier today, he asked you, what side do you fall on?
Well, I thought for a second, I thought you were like a Hogan apologist.
No, I was yelling at all the Hogan apology because Mick Foley even was like, Hogan just made a big mistake and he'll redeem himself. I'm like, and so my tweet today was, 8 years ago I signed a lease on an expensive apartment. That was a mistake. Disparaging an entire race of people is not a mistake. That's racism in your heart. Like, because everyone was like, oh, he was just angry. And then even people are like, we all say things like that, we're mad. I'm like, no, we freaking don't. No. Like, and then like, and I was just like, I was just getting worked up because I'm like, is a whole like, so are there way more racist than I think there are? Because everyone's like, oh, this is no big deal, and I'm like, it is a freaking big deal. Like,
so you're done with.
You're no longer.
Unless I don't know.
It's only a day of you processing it.
It's just upsetting. So we'll see what he. I'm sure he's gonna do his whole.
It's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable because that's like some. Because again, when you guys know I get mad a lot, but you never hear me like, no, Phil. I hate blah blah. Yeah. The N-word has never come out of my mouth. Like, I mean, today my friend's like, well, I've said it when I'm mad. I'm like, I get mad all the time, and that word has never come out of my mouth. Again, that's something inside you. So maybe he claims that he's worked through it in the 8 years that it's been. I'm like, how do we know that? Like, and again, the disturbing thing about this is that he knew this was going to happen because if he hadn't filed this lawsuit, that would have just because Gawker wasn't going to release the tape because under pressure, like they probably would have done some kind of settlement, and instead, but Hulk Hogan wants his $100 million, so he's like, no settlement. We're taking this to court. He knew the tape was going to come out, so he's like, so basically, that's the most disturbing thing about this for me is that Hogan chose $100 million and the knowledge, like, not that it's bad that we could have never known about this, and I guess, like, maybe it's, I don't know if it's a good, but just the fact that he knew that and he still went ahead and went with his case knowing this would come out, I think he assumes that he thinks in his heart that this is going to blow over, and he's probably right, and that's also what pisses me off, is that somewhere down the line, Hulk Hogan's going to be right back where he is after saying all this horrific stuff. That also makes me angry, and then you don't know how, I had to get off of Reddit because people were like, oh, someone was like, this isn't real racism, and I'm like, the reason why racism still exists today is because people dismiss stuff like this as not real racism, because they have an idea in their heads of what real racism is, and that doesn't actually exist. This is racism.
He's not wearing a hood and like.
This is why that's tolerance for racism, and that's why race relations in this country are so weird, because we do allow this kind of stuff. Because how many other instances are we, like, we were just watching Michael Richards today, and like, not that his career has gotten better, but I don't know, like, I mean, I guess what do you do? Is there a racist jail that we can just lock these people up in?
What are you gonna do with this?
I don't know. I just saw that.
Your Hulk
do you throw it away?
I don't know.
Do you sell that at the shrine shop?
That's the cool way to get rid of things.
Maybe I should do that.
But now,
you sell that
what do you
online.
think you're going to sell that for? I mean, it's tainted.
But that might make it a collectible.
Yeah, maybe people want to buy it.
Now you found a way to make it.
Now everything's okay now.
Making a buck off racism.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. So then while we're, because basically what happened was between the time that Hogan's stuff was removed, that happened at like 11 p.m. Pacific time, and I knew, I'm like, they're not going to drop this story until everybody's up.
They tried to do it in the cover of night.
Well, I think what happened was WWE got wind that this was dropping, and they did. This is the most. I've never seen WWE do something like this, like a proactive, like hard, firm stance. So kudos to WWE, because
you'll still be watching the network.
Because here's the question.
Does that mean they're going to take off all of his?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, what about his old shows?
I don't know. They already
do that with the guy that killed the people?
Oh yeah, he's well. They
can't
didn't
find anything?
No, you can't search for him, but he's on there because he's still on there.
Okay, so they didn't take anything.
But I think they might do the same. But they did. I was mad because they took
search Hulk Hogan on the WWE network. That's crazy.
Well, They haven't done that yet, but they did take Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling is gone, and I never got to watch it.
The
cartoon. Brad Garrett is Hulk Hogan.
I never get to watch it then?
Well,
Was that new or old?
it's like from the 80s.
Wow. Put it there with your Fat Albert stuff.
Anyways, I was very depressed about that. But
And I have to watch Gremlins 2 tomorrow in a full theater.
somebody's going to say something.
It's the best moment.
It is.
The best movie, and now it's tainted. They could have waited 2 days to do all this.
Well, if you're on the fence, just look up the transcript, and that might.
Well, should I be yelling "Go Hulk" to drown out anybody else that wants to yell
I don't know.
something anti-Hulk? I mean, not that I just want to enjoy the moment where he crushes the popcorn.
So while this is happening, so we're waiting for the actual story to break because we knew whoever's got this story, the actual story, because I didn't know it. There was like 7 hours where I didn't know what he actually said, but we all knew it was bad.
Oh, so that must be really bad.
I was like, oh, what? I got to know. Like I was like the How I Met Your Mother.
Right. Is that racist?
What?
I got to know.
I don't know. It's from How I Met Your Mother.
White people said it. It's fine.
Anyways, I just really wanted to know, and then because at first the G1 climax started at 2 in the morning. I'm like, maybe I'll just watch that, and then by 5 a.m. it'll be 8 a.m. Eastern time. It'll be up, and then I'm like, I gotta get some sleep. So I ended up going to bed at like 3, and because also while this is happening, it was not Meltzer. It was again National Enquirer are the ones that somebody sold. Whoever got the full tape sold it to National Enquirer.
Inquiring minds want to know.
But then I think Daily Radar also got the tape. They mailed 2 copies, so 2 places have this. So WWE, to get ahead of this, because they knew if this story came out and they hadn't taken some action, WWE would get so much heat. But because like all the heat is on Hogan himself, WWE, they're like, we fired him. He's done. We're not selling his merchandise. They pulled all of his endorsement deals. He's out of the video game that it doesn't even come out yet. Like, he's just gone.
Can you still play him in your game, though?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, my gosh. That's a good...
Wow.
He's currently in a feud with Andre the Giant.
What are you gonna do?
Andre the Giant wins by default.
Andre the Giant's gonna win.
So,
I love the internal wrestling of Brendo, like all these
a lot of things
hidden ramifications.
So while this is happening, I'm also... Brandon Higgins, a listener of Popsicles, tweeted to me that Charlie Talbert, who played Angus, has a new career as a stand-up comedian in Los Angeles.
Really?
And at first I'm like, oh my gosh, I can go see him. I'm going to meet him. I'm going to meet Angus. This is amazing. We're going to be friends. Because then I looked him up because then I'm like, oh, maybe he has a Twitter. He only has 150 followers. And I'm like, dude, I could probably talk to him on Twitter right now. But then he's like, you might want to listen to the stand-up. And I'm like, okay. So he sends me a link to this podcast where they basically, one of the things they do on the podcast is a young comedian will do their set, and then they critique it.
Okay.
Charlie Talbert starts his opener is a horrible rape joke.
Oh God.
And I'm just like, Angus, no. Angus! And so I'm losing Hulk Hogan and Angus in like one night. And like I'm like, what is happening? I was kind of a mess.
And then what else did he say?
So, well, then he also really awkwardly like joke flirts with this girl in the audience who ends up being the comedian that goes on after him. Roddy Piper's like, I have 2 daughters. Lose that rape joke.
Roddy Piper's on the.
Roddy Piper
podcast?
was on the panel.
Okay.
He was like, they have a guest. So
Okay,
Roddy Piper,
okay.
and then they. So anyway, so that was, and then I'm like, well, maybe he has other stand-up. He doesn't have any new stuff. I'm hoping he got better. But there's another set from 2014 at the Comedy Store, and he gets up there, and it's him. It's Charlie Talbert. He looks like kind of like you can tell it's him, and he sounds like him, and he's got the mannerisms, and I'm like, this is amazing. But then he's still telling that rape joke, and I'm like, oh. And then
What's the joke?
No.
I don't know. I don't even know. It was just really inappropriate. Something about falling into women, and I don't know. And I'm not going to tell you.
Maybe you can save it with the perfect delivery.
No. So, so then, so what was it? Oh yeah, the other thing that he did. Well, he told just all these other dumb It was like Screech, like, oh, I'm trying to be dirty just for the sake of being dirty, because I'm
I'm not
child
right,
actor,
right.
and I'm like, come on. And they even told him, like, dude, you should just tell stories of what it was like, because he was in all these other movies. He's friends with Chris Owen, who's like, he's in, so like they tell stories about that. That's like, you could talk about, like, what was like working with George C. Scott. Tell some George C. Scott stories, like, just fun stuff. But like, he's like hard, and then I don't know. But anyway, so this one, he gets up there, and then the host is he's black, and then as they're doing, like, oh, let's say everybody, like, thank you, Charlie Talbert, and he's like, no problem, and he calls him my N-word.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just like, oh my god,
Dude.
what is happening? What is happening? Angus and Hulk Hogan in one night.
So wait, you got your Angus poster right over here. What's
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
happen
we
to
gotta
that?
get rid of that too.
I think he was trying to be cool.
you
I don't
put
think it was a racist
Should we put
thing.
your Hulk Hogan
I think it was
statue
just-
by it?
I think it was just an inappropriate.
I'm gonna get you some Cosby LPs to hang up next to it.
Well, the host even made. He's like, he was pretty funny. I'm even gonna allow it, but that still doesn't make it okay. I'm sure in the
That was
back of that
host
guy's
just going like,
head,
I'm gonna save the
like,
show here.
I want to punch this dude.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it was
You want
very.
the Hulkamania edition of WrestleMania.
I know. What do I do with my? I have a
And it
ring.
came with the Hollywood Hogan
It
toy.
came with that, and it came with a piece of ring canvas.
Where's the ring canvas?
It's in there.
So should we just burn it?
No,
But what?
I paid like $100 for that.
I know, but if you keep it, you're kind of racist.
No, I'm not racist. You can't taste racism. That's from Clerks
Where's
2.
the canvas?
Well, maybe it's not in there. No, it is. Let me
Can
give
you
me
sync
this.
with it?
It's in here. That's it. It's the square. It's a little square.
That's it?
Yeah. Oh, and
What is-
this. No!
Brandon.
It's signed. Well, what about-
Did that come with it?
Yeah.
And so this was pieces of canvas from this show.
Yes.
Okay. How much? $150 for this?
It was like 100.
And they have an NWO version of him?
Yeah, and that's the only place you can get it.
But why an NWO and not WWE?
Because that one is the normal one that you can just buy at any Funko Pop seller. The NWO version you can only get in the Hulkamania
Because they
edition.
own that now.
Yes.
Well, you're getting rid of this.
No,
So you've made a decision that it's fine
I
to
don't.
keep.
I don't know yet.
I'm not saying that it'd be bad either way. I don't know. This is a hard decision. He signed this for real?
Yeah, he signed 20,000 of those.
He signed 20,000 things?
Hulk Hogan is a machine.
A racist machine.
I know he's a racist machine.
It's like a Shell
What about my
Silverstein
picture
thing.
of him on Facebook? Do I have to
I don't
take
know.
that
I don't
down?
know. What are you
Shell
gonna do? Are you gonna?
Silverstein, the racist?
'Cause somebody's gonna find that.
Racist machine. And what? Not give you a job?
No, they're just gonna make fun of it. I don't know. I'm sad, you guys. And then the Angus thing, it was just.
Who do you think that if it was me, what equivalent?
If
would
you
this
said-
be? No, if it was me in your position, what equivalent to all of this?
Michael,
hero,
if
what
Michael
character?
Keaton,
I mean, what am I gonna throw away?
I don't know,
All your
all your
Batman
Batman
You
stuff.
get rid of all your
Like
Batman
every
stuff.
Batman item.
Yeah.
I own.
Every
Otherwise,
89 Batman.
Every 89 Batman thing are racist.
What if it was Jack Nicholson and you had to get rid of that hot toy?
Everybody would be like, oh, Jack.
What would you do with your? You just.
What if
Well,
it
that's
was-
what everybody's trying to do about Hulk Hogan. They're like, oh, he's a 60-year-old man from Georgia. Of course
Do you
he's a
think
racist.
It would they would take his Oscars away if it was Jack
Hulk
Nicholson?
Hogan had an Oscar. Oh.
No, if it's
I don't know. Haven't they? People have done stuff, and they've. When have they ever taken Oscars
Yeah, I don't
away?
think they did
I know,
that.
but it wouldn't be the same because taking all of this WWE stuff away is like a big thing,
Yeah.
and it's making it seem.
Well,
it's different though because he's an employee
Also,
of that company as opposed
I
to.
think it's a temp. The thing is, I think a lot of this might be temporary, just because they need to distance
They
themselves.
gotta yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring it back at some point, but
Well-
they got to make sure
well,
the
plus,
dust is clear.
When you think about it, like if you ask the average person on the street, wrestler, 9 times out of 10 they say Hulk Hogan.
He's by far the most famous.
Like he's a household name.
Yeah.
I mean, between Rocky and just everything, Gremlins 2, and like he was everywhere. Like
Suburban Commando, Mr. Nanny. That's what I knew him
So
from.
now I can't watch Suburban Commando anymore.
oh.
Another blow.
Well, my brother's joke, which I wanted to be mad at him. He's like Hulk Hogan I've been disappointed in Hulk Hogan since No Holds Barred. I'm like, that's when he came even more awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, Carson.
Man, that kind of puts that.
I don't
whole
think
movie
Carson's
in a
ever
different
even
light.
watched No Holds Barred.
That puts that movie. In a
No, that
different
we
light.
did. That's right. Because we went to our friend's house where he got the movie on pay-per-view, and then they had the match because it was Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake against Zeus and Randy Savage in a cage, and Zeus could not wrestle or talk. And really, he just did what he did in the movie, just rah, rah. Like,
Yep, that's pretty much the thing.
Well,
So we read some books this week.
you can't transition out of that. But you have, if you could say, how many words should we get? If you can say, like, 3 sentences to Hulk Hogan, we'll give you 4. Like, what would you say to Hulk Hogan?
how do I know you're not? Because I want to believe your apology.
1.
How do I believe you? Tell me how I can believe you.
And then that's it. That's all you need.
I want to believe you.
And then one
So
more.
you go the Mulder route.
You got one
Yeah.
I want to believe.
more. Please sign this.
Because when I met him, he was the nicest dude.
I told you. That doesn't mean anything.
No. Ugh.
So, what could he do? If he apologized to you
I don't
personally?
know. We'd have to sit down and talk it
you'd
through.
say- like, if he went on his apology tour, is that enough?
I don't know.
Because you don't know if he's sincere.
No. And he did this. The most messed up part about this is he knew this was going to come out, but he wants that $100 million. So he doesn't care. And
So he could have stopped it or gotten money? Is that what you're
yes,
saying?
yes.
So if he stopped it, he wouldn't have gotten the money?
He could have said, I think Gawker was willing to settle for like, I don't know. It's like, there's rumors that it was up to like $2 million.
But he wanted money.
But he wanted the money, but then that means the tape goes into evidence, and it's gonna get out, and it did. They don't know who got it out. If I had to put money on this, I think it's somebody at Gawker. I mean, come on, because Gawker is if Hulk Hogan wins this case, Gawker is done, and that's like a whole network of websites. That's a ton of people's jobs.
Like,
That's
what other websites?
Gawker, Kotaku, like a bunch of
Really?
like. Well, Kotaku's already gone.
What?
Oh yeah, you know about that?
Since when?
Since a while ago.
I read an article on Kotaku like last week.
Engadget, I think. I don't know. Let me look at like their.
Doesn't sound like a whole lot.
No, I want to. There's a lot of. So
Alright.
Gawker Media, and that includes. Sorry. Why are we doing this?
This is the
Oh,
Brendo-
so you
Brendo
got
did something from Wikipedia
Sync,
segment.
Deadspin, Gawker.com, Gizmodo, IO9,
Oh, it's Gizmodo. That's what you were.
Jezebel, Kotaku,
You could do that.
Yeah, but
though.
Kotaku.
Lifehacker. There's one of them that went down, so I don't know.
I'm telling
Anyway.
you, I just looked at Kotaku like a couple days ago.
Well, maybe they didn't. One of them was going anyways. Whatever.
All I need.
So that's a lot of websites.
What's that one that posts nip slips from celebrities?
I don't know.
BuzzFeed.
I don't think they do that.
So what'd you read this week, Brendo?
Well, anyway, so yeah, so that.
All I need is Egotastic and FoxNews.com.
But I'm just saying that, like, I would not be surprised if because like they're in desperation mode right now, because that's like the end because they don't have $100 million. Anyways,
Do we know that?
like Nick Denton has said, like if we lose this case, like it's over, it's done. So anyways, it'll be the Hulk Hogan network of racist blogs. I don't know.
Racist gadgets.
Christmas.
Like that.
Check out this video game, brother. All right.
Do you think he loves Grand Theft Auto because they say the N-word in it?
Who knows?
So what did you read this week?
Wait, does he have any feuds with black wrestlers?
Yes.
That's why I said No Holds Barred takes on a whole different thing.
Yes,
Oh.
everything. The thing about Tough Enough, well, the big thing that everybody's talking about, because on Tough Enough, the favorite to win was the one black dude, and Hulk Hogan, and one of the judges put him on, but Hulk Hogan wanted to eliminate him too, and now they're like, so does he get to come back now? Like,
Does he
how
have
does that work?
black wrestling friends?
Yes, and some of them are coming to his aid, and he's like retweeting, like, see, this black person says I'm okay, guys. And I had to unfollow him on Twitter because I was like,
Hulk Hogan?
yes,
Oh, that's a big deal.
because it was well, he was like retweeting like Virgil, and I'm like, Virgil will say whatever. If you gave Virgil $10, he would say anything you wanted him to say, and then like George Foreman is coming to his defense. Dennis Rodman is coming to his defense. So I'm like, just because I don't even want to know what their logic is in this. Like, he said what he said. Like,
whatever happened to the chef?
He's probably working some indie somewhere in Orange County. But
hey, what did you read this week?
Do you think he's upset?
I don't know. Let's go find him, Derek. You can ask him.
Does he have a
What did you
Twitter?
read this week?
What?
I'm gonna read the chef's Twitter. That's what I'm gonna read this week. Hold on. Does he have a Twitter? You think?
I don't know. I don't think he's even wrestling
Here's a picture
anymore.
of Marlon Wayans and Hulk Hogan trending. Like, I guess he's.
Oh gosh.
Ah.
All right, book corner.
Hold on.
Book corner. I'm gonna just do mine then.
No, stop it.
Do it.
Now I'm getting mad. So
What?
you need to chill.
Book corner.
Stop it.
Book corner.
You're pissing me off, Phil.
Why?
You're like pushing. Don't do that.
We're done. We've talked all of it.
Ah. God.
We're done. Uh-oh.
I'm about to walk off the goddamn show.
All right. All right.
Do you want to just do the Phil show?
I don't.
What the hell, Phil?
What?
I thought Derek was one in a hurry.
I'm not in a hurry. I just want to move on to a subject.
Derek was trying to do something, and
Yes,
you're
he's
like,
reading Twitter.
Stop
We're
it.
reading websites. I want to go do the show.
God.
The chef is not an easy person to find.
No, he's
All
not.
right,
But
all right.
Phil, you
Chef
need to
Phil.
stop.
No, we're not reading people's Twitters on our
Well,
show.
you need to not push.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's do it.
Book corner.
You can skip book corner if you want to.
No, I don't want to skip book corner. I just don't want you like yelling at me.
Oh, I'm the yellow.
Yeah, you're like book corner, book corner, book corner, book corner, book corner, book corner, book corner. That's annoying.
I was trying to be annoying.
I'm done. Show over.
Oh, stop. Stop. Stop it.
God.
You're fine.
All right.
Don't take out the Hulk on everyone else.
Sorry, it's a very stressful
All
time.
right, I realize that.
And then you're like,
but direct that at the right direction.
All right.
What'd you read this week?
Well, I read the Stephen King book, Finders Keepers. It was as awesome as I thought it was going to be, and I read it in 2 days.
All right.
Is that a new one?
Yes, it is a sequel to Mr. Mercedes.
Wasn't he supposed to retire a couple years ago?
He was supposed to after the accident, he said he was done. Well, no, it was before the accident, and the accident happened, and this was like 10 years ago, and people don't remember time apparently because he has since said, no, I'm not. He said that years ago. He's like, I'm not, just at a slower pace. But even that, he still writes at least a book a year.
He was supposed to write a movie with Steven Spielberg, a remake of The Haunting, and then the Liam Neeson movie happened.
Well, anyways.
And he created Rose Red, because that was his version of The Haunting.
So Finders Keepers good?
Yes, and then I read Patrick Scullin's book, Pandemonium,
Oh, yeah.
Volume 1, Death of a King. It's steampunk Robin Hood with bears instead of people. And it's really cool. And I liked it.
Steampunk Robin Hood with bears instead of people.
Yes.
Or instead of foxes, depending on the version of Robin.
Well,
Hood
there's
you're referring
bears
to.
in the Robin Hood.
That's true.
Well, it's all bears in this one.
It's like Bear City, that SNL thing. Would you know that if that showed up on scene? Bear City.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Never
Doesn't
know.
ring a bell. Now I know.
If you let your title slip. You read Super Fudge?
We're
That's
reading
me.
all the fudge books.
Yeah, we're reading through the Fudge books in our book club.
And then there's a new one, right? That came out in
Yes,
the last couple
double
years.
fudge.
Like 2002.
Are they the same age?
What?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because
Is it post 9/11?
Yes.
yeah, so
Yes.
No.
They mentioned 9/11.
No.
no, but it starts out like they're in the 70s.
And then now they're
60s.
in present times.
So like it mixes, like they go to the movies to see Superman, but then he
Well,
like IMs his friend.
They also modernized. They also tried to modernize the original ones, but they didn't even do a good job. Because again, in the same book, he's like, They replaced like his Christmas list where he's like, it's like he put like a laptop and an MP3 player, but then they go see Superman in the theater.
Well, it was funny because he said he wanted an MP3 player and 5 CDs. I'm like, what? Which one do you
one?
want, dude?
I don't know. Whoever did that, like obviously,
Yeah, it was a hack job. But the book itself still is great.
And then the new books take place in whatever time they were in. So this
They do
one,
that with Harry Potter with like really small things, like instead of butter, it's Fizzlewig or whatever they have over there.
That Fizzlewig in England.
But it's stuff like that.
But actual things.
well, yeah, because it's Philosopher's Stone
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of Sorcerer's Stone, and
Like
It's like localization.
this is like a
But
modernization.
this is, yeah, it's different. It just makes me mad because I think kids today are smart enough to read a book set in a different time and know
like
it's set in a
Green
different time.
Gables.
Yeah, we're gonna like have her like tweeting. Oh, Marilla. Don't believe what Marilla said today. Hashtag Green Gables. Hashtag Oh
I
Gilbert.
don't even know what he's talking about, but that was fun.
I could go on. I could do a whole Anna Green Gables podcast if you want.
Hold on, let me just check this.
Okay.
All right.
I don't want people screen capping my reactions to ads.
No, the whole episode is
I'm
like
sure
gonna be you
I'm
in
like,
the background.
whoa. I was like, wait, did I do something?
That was Mr.
No,
Book Corner over
that's
here.
Book
Corner.
Corner.
All right. Well, I'm currently reading.
Mr. Book Corner.
I'm currently reading.
You look at you scared our listeners.
What
Poor
did it
guy.
say?
He
Seriously.
said he seriously got
I've
scared
been
for you
through
guys.
it.
That was a relatively minor one.
That was an
I would say.
F3.
Yeah.
It's 2 a.m. I seriously did. I got like
It's
I'm
hot. I know,
operating.
it's hot.
It's hot.
Again,
You're
it's hot in
sad.
here. I was up till like 4 in the morning dealing with this
And
Angus
you
Hulk
just got
Hogan.
over saying two of your heroes fell.
All right. Well,
And
I'm
normally I can be way
also
more irritating than that, and he doesn't yell.
reading how. I guess it was because both of you were like doing your
Yeah.
thing. You got this guy yell. You're like looking up Chef on Twitter. You're talking over each other, and I'm like, ah. All right.
We're all good.
How video games are made. I'm still reading that.
That's one of the ones from the bundle.
Yeah,
right?
but my primary focus right now is Armada, which is a new Ernest
Ernest
Cline
Cline.
book. It's really good.
But a ripoff of
It's not a ripoff.
Last Starfighter.
It's like Last Starfighter plus Starship Troopers plus other stuff.
Christmas.
It's really good. It's like a lot of video game nerd stuff.
You finished it?
I'm not. That's a currently reading book because I got the Finders Keepers from the library, so I had to finish it as fast as I could. And then
Fudgemanian Bible Adventures.
I'm also you're
That's
spoiling.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See, Brendo's on the top here. These are our cliff notes.
Okay.
And then I'm also currently reading, because I got it for $1 on the Voices of Wrestling site. It's their New Japan 2014 year in review.
All right.
Because it's currently G1 Climax tournament, and it's good to read up on all the wrestlers'
Your
histories,
current.
and it's been really awesome so far.
Does it help? Because it's not in English.
Yeah, so it's cool reading
So it
a
helps
book
to know the stuff.
to know the backstories and some of the other stuff that I don't.
It
No.
looked like some new thriller
is this
movie
Steve
about
in the thing here?
about the internet where I witnessed.
He says it looked like some new thriller movie about the internet where I witnessed a crime.
We should.
And you're the one in the chat, so we come after you because you're the witness.
We should remix that with the Unfriended.
That's a movie.
With
That's
the
it right
Unfriended
there.
trailer where the movie Brendo gets. the
Write a
blender
treatment.
in his
We'll write
hands,
that
like,
one
"Ah."
with you.
If that got remixed, would you be mad?
What?
If your seriously angry rants got remixed? Because I want to know if we can touch that or not.
Sure.
No, but if Steve Espinoza writes a treatment, we should co-write that with him.
You can write that. I'm good.
All right, we'll do it. I'll write it with you.
Phil, book corner, Phil. Phil, book corner.
I finished Super Fudge. We already talked about that a little bit.
That's the one where he loses a tooth.
Working on Fudgemania. No, that's the first one. That's Tales of a Fourth Grade.
Fudgemania, what does he do?
Well, just started reading that one, but that's the one where they go on vacation with Sheila.
Super Fudge is when he can
That's
talk.
Fudgemania.
That's
Yeah.
Super
Fudgemania.
Fudge.
Super Fudge, he can talk. He starts calling Peter Pete.
He gets the Minor Bird.
He gets the minor
They
bird.
moved down to New Jersey.
He moved to New Jersey? I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
I watched the show.
Super
It was my
Fudge
favorite
is
Saturday morning.
amazing.
Super Fudge, I mean, much as I love Tales of Fourth Grade Nothing, Super Fudge like ups the ante quite a bit. And it's really, really good. Fudgemania, I just started reading it, but it's still really good.
I would never read Sheila the Great because that's a spin-off of one of my least favorite characters.
Well, and we discussed this on our other show, but there are certain like sets that like actually list that as part of the
As
series.
one of the books.
as instead of like
Sure.
a one-off, but the box set that I got didn't.
Sheila's super annoying the
Yeah.
entire way through. She's the worst.
Yeah, but that's
It's-
her character. That's
I
what
know.
she's supposed to be. But
I'm like,
it's not
does
an
Judy,
official.
Did Judy Blume have like an enemy named Sheila?
Maybe,
Like,
maybe.
It's not a good name.
And then I haven't quite finished Bible Adventures yet, but
What
is
is that?
spectacular.
It's a
book about
There's a
the
series
making-
called Boss Fight Books where it's like people talking about the games that impacted them, and they go through like the making of it. So there's a game called Bible Adventures.
It was on the NES, and
So it's about the game.
it's about the game and like what went into making it. It's fascinating because it was a non-licensed one, and the company. Well, I mean, we
They
kinda
figured
talked
out a
about
way
it, but
to go around the Nintendo security chip,
by shorting it out basically.
and so they could have these crappy Bible games.
But the whole point of this one though is that it's one that he played as a kid, and I had it too. It's actually a pretty fun game. It's what it is.
But the book itself is really good because he talks about his spiritual journey.
And the dudes
And
that
the
made
dudes
it,
that
he
made
interviews
it.
all the guys that were like behind the scenes, and it's really interesting. It's a really good read. So very much have enjoyed that.
You would have thrown Phil out of your house. You would have got up and it would have been like, what would you have done?
I don't know. I
Nah,
guess
it
I'm like,
never goes that far.
I can't leave.
It never goes that far. I've been on the other end of that plenty of times.
Where you threw him out?
No, where like he got mad and then it just blows over. And we move on.
I'm
I
sorry.
got my adrenaline rush going still.
It's exciting. This one can be
What if you
what are we gonna
killed
call it?
Phil
Brendo.
and you have to kill me?
Steve says I had dialed 9
There's these two people fighting.
Stop fighting. You're scaring me.
What would you call? Hello, Brendo murdered Phil. Who?
Well, I'm listening on a podcast and these guys are fighting and I'm
They're in
worried for
Ukaipa
them.
somewhere.
Can you go to them?
Go to Ukaipa.
What would you do? That really is. At least maybe like a TV episode or something. That's kind of funny.
I'd be screwed because it's live streaming on the internet.
Yeah.
The
I'd have to
evidence.
go to court if I escape.
You're the witness.
But
But I'm kind of like, I think I'm leaning out of the picture right now, though. So maybe that could be your defense.
Like he was antagonizing.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure if I ever harmed you, Janelle would murder me.
Oh, yeah,
would
that's
you
the thing.
tell Janelle, or would you be too scared that Brenda would do it again?
Oh, no. No, here's the thing. Brendo, I know. I would be scared of Janelle if I got that from Janelle. Like that's, if there was someone I was more afraid of, it's definitely, you can only serve one master. They say.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me
You
tell
gonna
you.
tell her this happened?
Oh, of course.
Oh,
Oh, she'll know all about it.
What's
Well,
her
she's
reaction?
gonna get mad at me.
Oh, Brendo.
Maybe. I
She
don't
always
know.
gets mad when I yell at Phil.
She'll say, "Oh, I heard you yell to Phil.
Video evidence.
Heard you yell to Phil."
Was that the first video? No, because there was one where it was just you here, and we were.
So that was when I closed out of the
Yeah, you
hangout.
guys-
But now
actually-
there's. Oh, I hate that I'm in it. I hate that.
And it's just you like, hello. But that led to one of the funniest. Everybody seems to
Oh,
love
that was
that
funny.
moment on the show when it's just you, and then you talk to Dan. And
Alright, anyway.
He's imagining Derek jumping through
Yeah,
the
I
window
would.
to
I would
escape.
try to get out of here. I know you're like, you suck. All
right.
gone. There's no more heroes.
I saw, new movies.
Yeah,
I saw Minions.
We did another one of our babysitting
You have to
trade-offs.
bring out the Brendo Buster. You have to see me fight, Brent. I would get the pillows and come out and protect Phil. Anyway, we saw Minions.
Minions was
I saw
awesome.
Minions, great, right?
The kids and your kids were by far the best behaved kids in the theater because there were kids that were just repeating everything that happened. And they're with their parents, and I'm like, you need to shut that down because this is our future of movie going,
Yeah,
and they weren't.
you can tell my kids are well trained. You also were saying though that they really wanted it, like Luke.
Luke
especially,
was like,
he wanted to tell you something about it, but he knows he's not supposed to. But it's like wrestling inside of him.
I don't know how I'd be able to handle that because I don't like spoilers.
That's what I mean. My
And
kids
I'll be like,
know
chill
like
out.
there is no spoiling.
Oh, so they.
No, they're
Do
good
it,
about
but
it. But he's just like
He's like-
internally wrestling.
He's like,
I want to tell Cabreno, but I know I can't tell him. But he doesn't. He does the right thing.
I'm just glad they don't talk because
Yeah, they know. They know.
I don't want to yell at your
I'm
kids.
taking Derek's lullaby. Now's a good time for the lullaby.
All right,
Good
and then
So
you
then
and
while
Janelle
you did
saw
that, we saw
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, which I absolutely loved.
It was awesome. Paul Rudd.
I think it was great, and it was funny. It was definitely like quirky and weird, and I liked it. I think I said this to Janelle, and I'll say it
A lot of
again.
people have been saying what I think you're gonna say.
I liked it even better than Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a great way to cap off things. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved Avengers, but I think it was even better. It was a great, it was just great all through.
Like $5 summer movie ticket books, so there's just tons of kids.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Steve's
talking about, yeah.
I don't know. I can only I could if you had me like go do this every day, I'd tap out after like a few days, because there's only so it's not the movies, it's not your kids, it's the other kids
I know,
and
I
the
know.
other parents.
Oh, yeah. Well, movies in general are irritating. Then you go to kids
Especially
movies.
now, like I'm telling you, like I don't know if Apple knew about this, but like now with the freaking there was
The watches.
the freaking watches.
Yeah.
Like I had two dudes, I was like their watches were lighting up and they were like checking their text. I'm like, that's
It's the
Stop!
same thing. It's
Stop
the
it!
same thing. Well, Ant-Man, we didn't have any of that kind of nonsense, fortunately, but the room was packed, and it was great. What did you think there compared to like
I
Avengers
think it
and
edges
stuff?
it out.
Yeah.
Or they're the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to like put down Avengers.
This is, I
'cause
like
it was fantastic.
when they do new things,
Mhm.
and this succeeded where Avengers probably didn't work as well.
Yeah, but the tie-ins with the larger universe were
The
great.
Occult, did you see The Occult? Because I had to buy the probiotic drink that the Japanese
Uh-huh.
have been making commercials for, so I looked for it. It's at the supermarket, and then the cop was drinking it right before he escaped.
Oh yes,
and
that's
then
funny.
he dropped The Occult.
was that how they placed
No,
that?
I
It was
totally.
just the guy drinking. He's like, "What the?" And then he dropped it, and then little Ant-Man ran.
I saw that, but then I didn't make the connection until I thought that's a little product placement, but I forgot about the tie-in there. I'll tell you what the best real world thing though is we saw the new Ant-Man Lego sets, and it's great because it has you know how it's in the
Small?
trailer.
Yeah.
You know how it's vacuumed up and there's a Lego there. So it's the set from that, and you build out of little Legos the large Lego that he gets vacuumed up with. Plus there's
and
other
it's got
stuff
the
in
little
there.
Ant-Man.
It's got the little Ant-Man guy. It's great.
Is it a smaller Ant-Man? Or
Well,
regular
no,
size?
because you build the Lego to scale. So you
Okay.
build this giant Lego, and he's
Oh, okay.
so yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah,
And then on the DVD on demand corner, I guess I didn't finish this, but I did doing my WWE network, just watching NXT and some of the other stuff on there. There was a big pay-per-view last weekend, and then I watched this New Japan G1 Climax. I even posted this in the Matt and Brendo's Wrestling chat. I'm enjoying watching wrestling at 11 p.m. on a weekday probably for the last time. And but the tournament, I don't know how I don't know. It's gonna be
What time
rough.
does this start?
Well, if I watch them, it's 8:30 to 5:30. But I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna
Your
watch.
last one was at 5 in the morning.
Yeah,
right?
it was super early. But once I get the job, I'm gonna because the each show is 3.5 hours long, and they're every day up until August. So with not having a job, it's easy to watch that, and then I still have my whole day left. Now I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna have to prioritize. I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of juggling.
can you watch it on double time since you don't know
No,
you can't understand what they're saying anyway?
but the movements are so wonderful and fluid that I don't want to watch it
I
all.
didn't know if that messes it
These
up.
are the best wrestlers in
Alright.
the world.
David listened to his podcast at
I
3
could
times.
not do that.
But it's it doesn't change the pitch. They just talk faster.
It's so weird.
It is funny for comedic timing, and they tell jokes. You don't have time to laugh at it,
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
But he gets to listen to a lot more podcasts that way.
I'm sure he does. All right, so you watched a bunch of
Well, okay, so a couple things. One, we finished Brooklyn Nine-Nine. What's up there so far, the second season.
You
It's
didn't
really
even
fun.
put that show that you said was the funniest
I know,
sketch show.
but I remember though. Well, so there's this new sketch show. Janelle and I started doing this thing where we'd go watch 4 different sketch shows in a row and then rate them all based on each episode. And we've been doing this as our summertime thing. So the new one is called the Loiter Squad, and I think it's Adult Swim, and it's really funny.
Just listening to you trying to remember this because you're it's got city in it.
City or something.
City, something.
It's Loiter Squad. It's funny. It's very it's kind of a mix of like Tim and Eric weird, plus they do like some man on the street stuff and some sketches, and it's really goofy. But I only watched like the one episode because Janelle was definitely not into that, so we pared it down to Tim and Eric, Amy Schumer, Inside Amy Schumer, and Kroll Show. So we watched through an episode of each, and then we rate them how we like each episode of those.
That sounds
And,
amazing.
Janelle has been, Kroll Show has been coming out on top many of the times for Janelle, so that's her.
Because it's amazing.
For me, it's most often Tim and Eric, but sometimes Kroll Show bumps up there. And there was one Amy Schumer one that was like just definitely the best one. So.
All right, you're still watching that Gordon
We're still watching Gordon Gibbons' Life on Normal Street. We watched a few more episodes since last time. It is great. I think you would like it. Janelle and I have been trying to like pin it down, but it just feels like our childhood, like the shows we watched as
It
kids.
sounds like Erie, Indiana,
Yeah,
and
she's
Janelle agreed with me, and you need to watch it too.
Yeah, because it's definitely got the amazing stories, kind of weird supernatural
And
stuff.
it's got the Pete and
It's got
Pete
the Pete and
vibe.
Pete vibe, and it's just great. Like it's really witty, and it's been so fun watching it with the kids because they're very insightful. So like there's one where this guy has a pencil that if you write down something you want to forget and then erase it, you'll forget. It'll erase that part of your memory. And so he like writes down something about like his girlfriend that broke up with him, and then he forgets his girlfriend, but everything else associated with her. And Luke goes, if he does that and erases those big things, he'll forget the small things that are really important. And I'm like, oh my
You're
gosh,
4.
you're 4 years old. Like, yes, that was it. And they didn't state that. This is like in the middle of the episode. He's like really worried that the guy's
It's also
losing
your
the
son that
important
when he went
memories.
to the mystery house was like, it's an optical
Yeah, it's an
illusion.
optical illusion. So
And the guy's like, all right, kid, get out of here.
Yes, it's fun because I don't think all 4-year-olds would watch a show like this and like analyze it like that. So.
I barely started seeing that kind of stuff at 27.
So that's been really cool. And then I also been watching through spoilers. So I've watched through some of it before, but I don't know. It's on Hulu Plus, which is what we've been watching Tim and Eric and Amy Schumer and Kroll Show on. So when Janelle goes to bed, then I close out the night with some spoilers. So, and it's fun.
Cool. On Netflix side, like I said, I finished How I Met Your Mother. I thought it was great. Again, I pointed this out. If there's an episode in season 8 where it's pretty clear that the mom dies, so I don't know why people were, and that was a whole year before you actually found out for sure. And I know some people include into that, but a lot of people are like, nah, that's not what that is. Well, it's pretty obvious.
Yep.
It's like, I wish I had those 45 days. I'm like, why else would he say that? She obviously dies.
And it's the only way they could have had him wind up with Robin, and it wouldn't
Who
be
dies?
The mom.
The new girl mom?
Yeah. It's the only way he
People
could
didn't
have
like that?
wound
Was
up
that
with
what
her.
People didn't like?
I just
Oh,
spoiled
you
it for
spoiled the
Steve.
whole entire series there.
It's not that, because she's not the focus of the series. Like,
You've already
she's
said
not.
that on the show a couple times.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I don't think that ruins the show.
It doesn't at all, because that's not the show is about. Again, I don't know. I think the reason why I value the show so much is there's so much of us in that show, because it's about a single dude and his married or couple friend. They all met in college, and it's the same time period, so they reference all of our stuff. Like, they love Star Wars, and like, so it's the first show I've ever watched where I'm like,
Blu-ray
this
of
is
the
about
new-
us.
Of the new Star Wars jettisons all the special features of that thing that you bought.
Right.
And instead has a whole thing of like times other people have mentioned Star Wars, and it's like Neil Patrick Harris going, "Oh, we're the
Oh,
first to be
the-
with you," in a scene, and it's like, why am I watching
Yeah.
this?
That's they obviously don't understand what we valued about the special features.
They had that great documentary, Empire of Dreams.
Yeah.
I watched that on YouTube because I wasn't about to.
Whatever. You bought a few copies of Star Wars. No?
I got the DVD, the VHS for
And you
Christmas,
Okay.
and
so
I
you've
bought those
never-
DVDs that I
Yeah,
returned.
you returned.
And then I got the DVDs that I do have are pirated ones from China.
Well, see, I knew you bought them.
I didn't buy them.
You stole them in China?
Well, okay, I bought them. You know how much I paid? Okay, they were 6 kwai a piece.
6 quad.
That is 70 at the time. That was like 75 cents. So it's only one disc because they don't have the special features.
So it only cost
So,
75 cents.
75 cents each for each movie. So,
So you bought them, but at a significantly reduced.
and none of that money went
None
into
of it-
George Lucas's pocket.
All right, so you win. I didn't watch anything on Netflix this week because we've been watching all the other stuff. So
I've been watching Angel.
Yeah, you digging
I
it?
forgot about Pee Wee. I gotta finish Pee Wee. I'm almost done with Pee Wee.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
It's a lot of.
They went to not really, because
like
season
four-
3 is like 2
okay.
episodes, and then each season after that is like 10 episodes. They just went to another planet, and the secret word was like kill Tipsy's them, and they tricked him. And there's a sleepover. This is the best. I love this trick when everybody's asleep and they turn off the lights and somebody opens their eyes and it's a cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
I love
Like in the movie?
when anybody does
Well, like when they
Yeah.
do that in the movie, that's
Probably-
like my favorite thing
because
because they do like the eyes, and then when he turns on his headlights, and there's all those just like stuffed.
But since it was
like,
a sleepover, the people opening their eyes were like conky and it was like weird animated eyes and stuff.
It's a great show.
Yeah, because you were watching it with the kids.
Yeah, we watched quite a bit with the kids.
I don't like when they added a helmet. That's clearly a safety thing.
But that helmet was awesome. It had a mad ball on the helmet.
Yeah.
But it's saying kids wear a helmet.
Well, because
That's
kids
lame.
needed to wear helmets.
That's lame. Fonzie didn't wear a helmet. He'd wear one with a mad ball. Richie, give me a mad.
I remember they had that helmet, and I wanted it really bad, and my mom,
They
it was-
sold that.
they
helmet?
sold that helmet in stores.
Sure.
I gotta see
And
this.
I'm pretty sure they did, because I feel like I asked for it at some point.
Either that or you just asked for what you saw on the show because you
Maybe.
assumed if it exists
No, I'm
on the
pretty
show,
sure
you can own it.
I saw it in the store. I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining that.
It's
You
possible.
get Pee Wee football helmets.
But yeah, I'm really tired.
All right. Do you want to
do a
wrap it
Marmaduke?
now?
Oh, we got to do a
Marmaduke?
Marmaduke. Let's
All right,
do a
Derek's going to do
Marmaduke.
sound effects for a Marmaduke.
Oh, okay. Like rough and stuff.
I guess.
No,
I don't know.
no, it was just at the end.
Wah.
Is a wah.
You can do whatever you want.
Wah.
You're the artist of the sound effects. This one's like really wordy. Should I do a different one?
I don't know. Are you supposed to?
Okay, well, so we figured there's 3 categories. There's Marmaduke likes to eat,
Marmaduke's too big.
Marmaduke's too big,
And Marmaduke thinks he's
acts like he's a
people.
person. This one's kind of a mix of the food and the people one.
What was the first one again?
Marmaduke's hungry.
He's hungry, he likes to eat. So, okay, we got the... I'll show you. This is Marmaduke here. And, well, I don't know. Derek needs to see it because he's reading it. You can't really see on YouTube anyway. So the postman's walking up, and he says...
This is a 2-pager?
It's 2, yeah,
They're all
2
two
pages.
pages in the books.
He says, hey, hey, hey. He's like reading through their mail. It's kind of creepy.
Sift.
That's
sift,
illegal.
sift.
Yeah. And so
Well,
then he
you gotta
starts...
look at the addresses.
Yeah. Then he starts reading information to the mom, to the owner. He says, your neighbors all signed a card asking you to keep Marmaduke in the yard.
See, so he
So
opened
he
the
opened
mail.
her mail. He's looking at her mail. And you got a stack of bills from the vet, the butcher, the kennel, obedience school. Wow. Marmaduke likes to eat. I really enjoyed the
STDs.
jokes in this month's Dogs Digest. Pet Parade was a little thin, but Sporting Dogs has some good stories. And do you suppose I could borrow the doghouse plans from this month's Mechanics? So he's like reading her magazines, I guess.
Right. At this point, Marmaduke is concerned.
He's
Well, I
very-
guess
yeah.
he's concerned here. but-
Yeah, he's concerned all throughout. And you won't believe this last one. It looks like he joined the Bone of the Month Club. And he's got a bone. And Marmaduke's very excited.
Yeah, but
because he
he's
gets to eat.
excited. The lady.
Lady's very unhappy because he ordered a bone. So he's
She
acting
has
like
her
a person.
credit card information.
Well, yeah, that's why it's a combination, because he acted like a person to order it, but it was to order food.
Does he eat the bone,
I
or does he
guess.
just gnaw
Gnaw
on the
on it?
bone?
I
The
think
bone of
at
the
some
month.
point they eventually eat them.
I think they break
Like
it
they
down
break
a lot,
it down
right?
enough.
I don't know.
That one. It's not your classic one.
They all suck.
Should
They're
we
all
go,
terrible.
let's go for a class. We'll do one. Sometimes
Okay.
we do 2.
I don't think you remember.
All
There's
right.
no such
It's the
thing.
lady saying, talking to Marmaduke. He looks sad. You're the saddest thing I ever saw. You're not exactly a lap dog, you know. Oh, he's sitting
Oh,
on her.
Marmaduke's too big.
He's too big. You look sad, thing. I don't need any help. There he is, moping by the washing machine. And he's following her along with the laundry. Must you follow me everywhere? Don't you have anything to do? Then he looks sad, and he gets excited, and he runs out to the street. Thank goodness, I thought that school bus would never come. And he's excited because they're home.
I used to do this while reading Garfield's comics. I had little jingles for the Sunday version and the regular version.
So this one we mostly had a Marmaduke's Big,
I
guess.
had voices for Calvin and Hobbes.
What did Calvin sound like?
Sounded like a kid.
What did Hobbs sound like?
Hobbes sounded like this. I don't know.
Like
Calvin.
squeaky face, squeaky voice Keen on The Simpsons.
Yeah. Sounds
Well-
good. You got double. What did you write?
Maybe the joke is he knows how to read. Marmaduke, that is, yes.
How do you order it in? These are like 70s Marmaduke or whatever. This has got to be old school Marmaduke.
I think it's
Let's
from
see.
80.
I think this is 1986.
So was he doing it by catalog or phone?
I guess so, yeah. Would have been.
A phone order.
Now it seems like it's all Marmaduke's owner dad, like complaining about Marmaduke, and then Marmaduke will crash through and prove. The guy right.
Yeah.
Mailmen are not treated well in comic strips.
No.
Dagwood's always bumping into him. This guy's reading the mail. There's never like a good mailman.
Yeah.
Man, that's a serious injustice.
That's why they went postal.
Yeah.
Except for what's the mailman's name on Mr. Rogers? He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, he was.
Mailman Mike.
Well, then.
he's Mr. McFeely, and then it's like molester vibes, and it's like
Oh, come on.
What about.
And he has like the weird hippie
No, what about in
hair.
Pee-wee's Playhouse?
Yeah.
Reba was always trying to slack off at work. She's like, "It's my day off."
I'm just gonna chill here in this playhouse.
Oh, that's true. All right.
She's like hiding out in there.
And then one of the ones coming up in the little description on Netflix is Pee-wee forces Reba to get something on her day off, and it's like he's always hassling Reba. And her whole thing in Pee-wee's Playhouse is she shows up, and there's always something too weird for Reba going on.
What about Samuel L. Jackson as the postman in Hail Caesar, starring Anthony Michael Hall?
Nobody knows
I don't
about
know
that.
Oh, come on. That was like one of his early roles. And the dog chases him.
What about Sinbad and Jingle All the Way? The funniest joke that I always laugh at that nobody ever does is when he threatens people with a bomb or a package, and it's just like a fruitcake, and his like timid explanation is like, "I've been a little out of sorts since that Zip +4 thing." I'm like, that's like a funny male joke.
That's pretty good.
Nobody ever laughed at it
He said-
until Brendo.
He said Marmaduke used their Amazon Prime. That's how he ordered it. That one-click order.
Yeah.
So we're wrapping up.
Yeah, I'm
You're good?
tired.
What are you going to call this episode?
You need to stop. What was something that you screamed
Book
at?
Corner.
Book corner.
Book corner breakdown.
Corner breakdown.
That's a good
I
one.
think that's what it should be. Book Corner breakdown.
Do I have to not edit this?
Yes, you have to not edit
I
it.
guess it's up to you.
You can if you
I
want
really
If it's
yelled
I
a
know
lot.
that it's embarrassing. That
to. It's on YouTube.
You don't
though.
have to shuck and drive for us.
It's up
You
to
can just
you.
have the aftermath.
We'll leave it up to you, but you still have to.
Because I don't want you feeling embarrassed.
No, it's
Because
fine.
I know that's what I worry about the most when it happens. Because when you come out of it, you're gonna not like what you did.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
It's fine. I need these. I don't know.
It's up to you. You can leave it in or not.
What do you say?
What do you say in the
Steve-
chat there?
What's his name?
I think this is Steve Espinoza, but I can't
Steve
see the top
Espinoza.
there. It is Steve, right?
What does he say? Leave it in.
I don't
He's
know,
the one
he
that had the
probably fell
witness.
asleep.
He's the one. That's true. Then all this stuff about our like
Set up to the host. Oh,
up
come
to the
on.
host.
I'll leave it in because it's too much work.
Well, plus there, like we refer to it when we're talking about like the screenplay that we're gonna write about a guy watching people getting murdered on our podcast stream.
But what if we lose all of our listeners?
They like it. Has anybody ever complained?
He just said, "Don't kill me."
Nobody's ever complained about anything.
No,
But I don't think people complain. I think they just stop listening.
there's been plenty of episodes when Brendon's like yelled at me about technology and stuff.
But like a Brendo F3.
Not on the episode, though.
I don't know. I feel like maybe
I think this is the first
this is the first
Brendo
like mid-episode?
meltdown in the episode.
Maybe.
On because Popsicles has
Popsicles
happened
has
a
been a
few
couple.
Does that
times.
mean that I made it happen?
No.
That was part
Well, I
of
don't
it.
know. You were part of. Well, it was because you were doing your. It was the you two.
I don't know.
Because
You're
you were doing your
Twitter.
thing. Phil was
So
getting
I was trying to
annoyed.
motivate the show.
And then I already acknowledged it, but then Phil kept going after I acknowledged. I'm like,
I don't
okay.
know.
And then
It
I
was
was
a
listening
perfect
to
storm.
you.
That's what it was.
It's Derek's fault.
It was Derek. It was Phil. It was Hulk Hogan.
Whose
Let's
fault
put-
was
let's,
it?
let's put the
Something
blame where
Brendo
blame
was.
really
It is Hulk
belongs.
Hogan's
Hulk
fault.
Hogan.
I remember
And Angus.
someone said,
In the chat that they hated something. Oh, it was Craig from the Res said he didn't like Mark Maron as we were talking about how we went to go see him, and I was like,
You got
who
mad
does
at
that?
You got mad at that. So that was like a F2 probably.
But I just went off on the fact that like you gotta chime in on that, like But
Speaking of Craig from the Res, we haven't heard from him since the Brought to You by Craig from the Res episode. I'm curious to
maybe
hear.
he like died of awesomeness.
Maybe. But I want to know what happened with the boat. Did they fix the seat? Did I ruin the boat?
Do you owe them a lot of
Broke
money?
his boat.
Oh, yeah.
He broke his boat and his inner
And
tube.
an inner tube thing. I even asked ahead of time. I'm like, is there a weight limit on this? And they're like,
you
no,
broke
it's
it 'cause
cool.
you're too big.
Yeah, well, yeah, the bench on the back.
You
And-
broke an inner tube?
Well, it's like those big tubes that they drag behind the boat.
And the top of it ripped
The
off.
top, like, ripped off.
Where Audrey and Luke are filming.
They were,
They
yes,
could win $10,000.
it is on video.
Well, then they should send that in, right?
The problem is,
hilarious.
I mean, I don't know. It just kind of looks like I wipe out. You can't tell very well from the video.
There is a video up, Phil, that would win the money, but we don't know where. We can't locate the
Oh,
video.
We were-
Someone got it on their phone and they can't track down who it is.
We were on the back of a boat, like on a whale watching trip, and I'm standing like this, and then the boat like drops out to go over a wave, and I land flat on my butt, and then I like flounder around. trying to
Someone
get
got
up.
it on video and then they never got it.
Yeah. So
That's a $10,000 Phil video.
pretty sure.
Okay, now I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay. Anyway,
Phil's trail of destruction was more than first thought.
yeah. Anyway, they were very cool about it. And like it was an old bench that the wood had started to rot away, they said, and then
They just said that.
and then the inner tube they'd left out in the sun, so the sun had like, damaged the spark.
Sure.
But they were just being nice. It was really they let a fat on their boat, and boats aren't made for fats.
It's like when I broke my friend's bed, and they're like, "Oh, that was an old bed."
Yeah.
This is...
And
I'm like, yeah, because beds are just breaking all the time.
say what you will about that movie Shallow Hal. I know some people like hate it, but the one line that I always think of from that movie is when she sits on the chair and and it breaks, and he's like, "What is this chair made of?" And they're like, "Steel." It's like, well, you should have welded it better. That's kind of how I feel. What is this boat made of?
That movie.
Steve
I
said
still
he
don't know
once-
how I feel about that movie.
I don't know. It's weird, and we don't have to get into it. But Steve said he once walked through a friend's screen door when it was brand new and it was super see-through. That's embarrassing.
We had a friend didn't walk through it. Well, he
Smacked
ran
into the
smacked in a
window.
glass door.
That didn't break though.
Well, if it's a screen door, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what'd you barbecue now?
That's pretty much what happened with Matt. He's like, "Hey guys, boom." But that also was the day of one of the
The ultimate
Brendo
knocked the
flip-flop.
wind out of myself.
Ugh.
All right.
All right, so
Derek, any last? Derek's like packing up
he's
over
ready
there.
to go.
Taking 4 cherries, I left the rest for you.
We keep sending Derek home very late at night.
It's not as late. Last time I was like hoarse and dead.
Now it's only 2:30
I can
a.m.
make it home in less than an hour.
That's not bad.
No traffic.
What do you want to plug or wrap up or whatever?
You're at Derek Armijo.
Yep.
that
Listen
it?
to that Lone Ranger podcast. That was the last one I did.
Who did you talk about Lone Ranger with?
Ed Erlac.
Huh.
The second, it was Garden State and White House. It was a White House dam that turned into a Garden
This is
State.
picture start you're talking about.
Yeah. They're all good.
Did you ever end up doing Jaws with Benson?
No.
Gotta get around to that.
Do I?
I don't know.
I want you and Benson on a podcast. I feel like you would kill each other.
So if you want to hear more of Brendan
And I feel
freaking
like
out, too,
you would poke Benson, and then he would just snap, and I wouldn't be there to
I
defuse
snapped
it.
Benson. I feel I'm the brute of all.
You did make Benson snap once. The one time Benson snapped was Derek.
I laughed at him.
But Benson made me snap a couple times.
Yeah, that was
So if you want to hear a lot more snapping, you should listen to them on Popsicles.
Popsicles is the snapping podcast.
Yeah. This is
Oh,
just
we were been good.
this is like a little taste.
Yeah.
It's just
Bringing the popsicles.
this whole, again, Hulk Hogan and Angus on the same day.
It's too much for any one man to handle.
I don't know what I'm going to do about all my merchandise.
We should sell it at the ShrineCon that we're going to.
I'm not selling the Angus poster.
And everyone's gonna be like, "Hey, that's the guy selling all the racist stuff over there."
I don't think anybody knows that Angus might.
Racist.
may
What
or
do
may
they call
not.
it when you're getting rid of stuff? Racist blowout. Everything was go.
The liquidation.
Liquidation sale. Oh.
All racist things, half off.
So
You know what's a collector's item now? That Bill Cosby biography that just came out with Letterman and Jerry Seinfeld like endorsements on the back because they pulled out
I
of
pulled
it.
it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like an error.
They took down like a statue. They took down. Well, there was a statue of him at Disney World that they took down.
Really?
Statue of him?
Yeah,
Or-
like at MGM, I think at the Hollywood
Oh, okay,
Studios,
okay.
or maybe at Epcot. It was like great
That's the
entertainers.
most changed studio because of people doing weird stuff.
They're doing a total revamp now because it's completely like, everything is gone. They got the great movie right now. That's about it.
Like they took out Pee Wee's thing.
Well, they took out the whole backlot tour entirely now.
It was there in 2012, so this is recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with this year, or like 2014, I think, maybe. So.
Okay.
You should send us some letters.
Oh, it was a bus.
Let us know. Okay, there you go.
And then there is a statue somewhere they said that they're going to remove.
I heard they're turning up the temperature in his room in the House of Wax.
Wax justice.
Well, now one of his cases is going to get to go back to trial, and then the LA district attorney is trying to open a case on him, and he's also because one of them like talked, he's trying to get his settlement money back, and I'm like, oh, Bill, man,
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
because it's like the Barbara Streisand effect times 1,000. Like the more you keep doing this, like the worse it's gonna get for you. I'm like, Bill,
It's the Barbara Streisand effect.
like because there was a controversy that she had. That's it's named after her, where the only reason anybody knew about it was because she mentioned it and she made a big fuss, and nobody. It could have just gone. Something happened. I don't know what I don't know. You can look it up. Just type in Barbara Streisand effect, and because she made such a big deal, the internet just went crazy, and it just bit her in the butt times 1,000, and like so that's like South Park started making fun of her because of like all this stuff. I think it might have been her response to South Park making fun of her. I don't. Anyways, you got to look that up. But it's the Barbara Streisand effect where you just end up amplifying it where it could have. So yeah. So now he's trying to get his settlement money back from this woman. I'm like, see how that works out for you, because that's one of the ways they can they can reopen the case. They're like, oh, you want let's discuss this now that the depositions are open and we can get some. We can like they could even like start redoing investigations and stuff.
The Howard Stern Show played an episode of Cosby Show where his barbecue sauce made everybody like want to have sex.
Oh my god!
And he was like, oh, you know, my sauce makes everybody a little huggy bug. He's like really
Oh,
creepy.
gosh. Is that like for real, or did they like?
No, that's the real thing.
Oh,
It
God.
sounded doctored, but huggy bug.
Well, they found. I mean, I remember when this whole thing first was coming to light again after Hannibal Buress kind of blew it open. Was they found one of his like stand-up routines where he's talking about Spanish fly, and it's like, whoa, you guys.
And I remember my grandfather put to tape this party record that he made called "Why Is There Air?" I don't know if you're familiar with Cosby albums.
Yeah.
And I love that one. I listen to it all the time. And there's a story about how he went to the dentist and they gave him Midol for the pain, and he just decided to always take Midol because it works so well. So there's pill popping in his.
I remember we used to listen to my grandparents actually had chicken neck or whatever. There was some chicken.
How do you tell your kids about these controversies?
They don't need to know about it yet.
Well, like
They don't know who Bill Cosby
happened.
Because when we were Luke and Audrey's age, we absolutely knew who Bill Cosby. They don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
When Pee Wee happened, like I asked what happened, and my grandparents yelled at me.
My mom wouldn't talk about it.
And he's like, the story they told me is he got naked somewhere
Yeah.
in public, and I'm like thinking like, well, say somebody help him.
That's what I thought. I
You were
thought
so
I just
close.
had this idea in my mind that he's like walking around a theater naked, like waving, and then like somehow got it in my head from like I guess from school that he was just like waving his junk around, and like none of us understood what we were like. All those jokes, like as kids, like we said them, but I don't think we even knew what they really meant. Like because I remember it was like, what is Pee Wee's favorite baseball teams? The Yankees and the Expos, and I'm like 10, and I don't know what the heck that means, but it's like Pee Wee. Like,
It's all good. Nike made these awesome SB. They used to do this a lot. SB dunks that look like the characters of things. So like they had a Milli Vanilli one where the dreadlocks were the laces. But for Pee Wee, they had gray shoe with red tongue for the suit, and it's like, oh, cool. But on the inside, in the sole, was a row of movie theater seats, and at the end of it, I'm like, oh, come on, you just ruined the show.
Oh, man.
We'll end on that note.
I still wonder, like, man, if that had never happened, what?
He said he was just gonna quit.
I know he was gonna quit. That's one of the reasons why he was out there, because he was.
I'm surprised that he grew his hair that long.
Well, that was part.
Hiatus.
If that mugshot hadn't happened, I think things would have, because that mugshot was just freaking everywhere.
Yep.
Like, because that was also part of it. But then, and I don't know how, but like again, it did somehow get in, maybe because he was a kid's, that he like had done stuff to kids. Like I remember that became part of the narrative, and I remember I don't know, I just remember always defending Pee-wee, and people would look at me sideways, and I'd have to be like, no, you show me where I'm like, he did not do anything to kids. I mean, there was the Jeffrey Jones thing that I know for a minute he was investigated as part of that, but he was no wrongdoing on Pee-wee's part.
What about Jeffrey Jones?
Jeffrey Jones definitely did some stuff. Jeffrey Jones definitely did some stuff.
How does this all affect Billy Baloney merchandise?
I don't know. I love Billy Baloney. Billy Baloney was going to be the bad guy in like the original version of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I like him. But he does have a sinister...
He's a sinister, kinda.
All right. I'm ready to go.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Derek.
No problem.
Because
It's been a day.
what was going to happen was
quite a day.
Pee-wee, they had to go. So Cherry, like the story that Pee-wee told us when we were at the Q&A was Cherry was going. They had to rescue Cherry. So half of the playhouse went, and then Billy stayed, and he took over the playhouse. And it was going to be some. And at some point, Cherry was going to like. There was a scene that he's like, I have one scene that I know of where like it's just Cherry jumping out of a plane. So like Cherry just getting dropped out of a plane. And I was like, this is awesome. And I wish you could have gone, because just seeing that playhouse in person, like I immediately started crying.
Remember Matt went last minute. He's like, yeah, I cried too. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Stole my moment.
I cried. Yeah.
I just am jealous that you got the hoodie because they didn't have it in my size.
The hoodie. I almost left it at Comic-Con. I had to meet him in character because I had the first tickets.
Yeah, we didn't get to meet him because we were the early show, so he did a Q&A. But he did come up to me. There's pictures of me like with Pee-wee, and I asked him, because I asked him, is Tim Burton, what's the Tim Burton? And then he's like, do you have another question? Because it was a real quick answer. He's like, I don't know yet. We're talking about it. So he's like, do you have another question? I said,
I thought you said, I don't know yet.
Well, then he's like, do you have another question? And I'm like, and my other question was, are you going to be part of the new Star Tours? And he said they didn't ask me, and and then he kind of did a little story. He's like, I was actually kind of bummed about that.
He was in Rebels.
Yes.
RX.
So maybe that was their making up to him, because they basically removed him from the ride.
In a box.
Yeah.
On the ride.
Yeah, he says little things.
But yes, because he was.
So they tried to get Tim Burton.
I think they did approach him.
Like,
well, I think he was busy. He had just gotten locked into that Disney deal, the multi-picture Disney deal. So that's when he went to Judd Apatow. Tim Burton, I think, actually recommended Judd Apatow. Yeah.
Really?
I think he said he talked about. Well, it's not in a recording, but
I'm sure they're probably all up on YouTube actually.
Because he talked about how but then Judd Apatow brought Paul Rust and.
Okay. So.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Thanks. Don't worry. The show's not over.
All good.
Is stronger than.
That's right. This is old hat.
Brendo's Book Corner Breakdown.
Brendo's Book Corner Breakdown. I think that's what we're gonna call it.
Or Book Corner Breakdown is a more ominous.
That's true.
Because you don't know who broke down. But you can say you have three guesses.
Janelle just got on the chat.
Oh, she's coming to check on you. She probably heard it through the.
No one is talking about our mommy and daddy
now
time.
They are.
Now we are. Janelle's just checking to make sure no one is talking.
I did try to. My question was, is there any music in the bedroom? Because he talked about how music is in the bedroom, and he.
I just said there's no songs that we would listen to that
obsession. I heard about Derek's obsession.
Oh, what's Derek's
Well,
obsession?
the condom thing.
I just got a nugget and I pulled it out.
And and he didn't bring up any of that stuff, and now you brought it all up. So
Nice,
there you
bring it
go.
up.
With the lambskins. It is. I would love to quiz anybody that had lambskins because it's such a weird thing.
Well, it used to be rabbit skins back in the medieval
Rabbit
times.
skins?
Sure.
Are you in the middle of time?
In medieval times.
Oh. Is that? It's not clear. What does it look like? I said, is it like putting like a leg of lamb?
She felt the disturbance.
She felt the disturbance.
Is it like putting like a rack of lamb on?
Is it greasy?
No.
But is it? It's not clear. It's like a. Is it like an Oregon Trail?
Thank you, Janelle. Have you ever seen the casing on the outside of a sausage?
Oh.
That's the similar
enough.
types of material.
All right, we're done.
You asked.
The casing of the sausage.
We're done here. Phil just referred to himself as a sausage.
No,
But
I'm
you
saying
have
that
to
type of
listen
material.
back here because there was a Brendo breakdown
Yeah, you're gonna want to hear this.
that I was in the middle of, and it was intense for a second.
It was because you were.
I mean, it's nobody's fault, but it happened.
It's Hulk Hogan's fault. We figured it out.
He wears a sausage.
Yeah,
case.
if you run out of them, those always work too.
Oh.
Do you guys play like Late Mom and the Butcher?
It's all your fault, Janelle. She's saying this is hilarious in the chat too. Look at this.
I don't
I
know.
was this close to getting out without this.
Yeah.
And you had to drag us back in.
All right, well, go to radiobrendo.com. It's not that. Derek just knows that Phil gets. Look at Phil right now. He's all.
Look at this. I'm sweaty.
Phil tried to move on, and
Sweaty.
Brenda wasn't having it.
It's not the fact that they're like, oh, haha, you use condoms. It's just we know that Phil gets.
It's not my thing. Even though they are my things.
It's very my thing.
Okay, so keep talking.
Married
Don't
people
read the
do it
stuff
at least
Janelle's
2
saying.
times.
At least 2 times.
That in and of itself is a whole conversation.
Because we had 2 kids. But we've
Married
done it
people with
twice,
condoms.
and we have 2 kids.
Seems like very Hagar the Horrible. Like you just slap some chicken skin.
I think Derek was also surprised that you used condoms. So that was
Well, since Janelle is since Janelle's the one that brought it up here, she had blood pressure issues with the
that's what I was telling
With the
him.
latex?
No,
with
but
the
some
pills.
people can't.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so she
Well, there's
can't-
lots of reasons not to go.
Well,
So,
so but one way or another, that's what happened with her. So.
And then they don't want unplanned pregnancies, so
I was at Target recently, and me and some goofballs were buying a bunch of stuff, and then this big bro throws a giant box of Magnums on the counter and like some tire sealants. And we're like, that guy's a man.
Tire seal.
Like that shiny Armor All or whatever
Uh-huh.
it is. That's what that guy has planned.
are those like hand in
I
hand?
just need
And we all looked at each other like, oh.
Is that like to patch him up? Does he reuse them?
No, it's like it shines. It doesn't fix it.
Maybe he likes it shiny.
Oh, it's not your fault,
That was
Janelle.
a good ender.
All right, radiobrendo.com, BenviewNetwork.com, BrendoMan@gmail.com. You can email us.
Twitter us.
Listen
Join our group.
Join our group, book club stuff. Listen to Popsicles. Listen to all the other podcasts. You can listen to the Pillage Cast retro episodes.
When was the last time you did that?
It's been like 2 years. But they're all up there still.
Well, I think Gates wants to like separate back from the Benview Network. There's like
He doesn't like the
There's some
Benview
heat.
there's some heat there.
Really?
Well, somebody went on because there's we made a podcast wiki, and someone went on the Pillage Cast and said, and they even wrote like, this is not a part of the Benview Network. It was never agreed upon. And I'm like, oh, I wonder who did this.
That's fun.
And I'm pretty sure that was Gates.
That's funny.
Okay.
Well, you should. Oh, that was a good thing. You guys should listen to the other shows on Benview Network. But there's another thing I was going to tell you guys about.
What?
You should go to our Facebook page and join our group,
I just said that.
and then you could watch videos.
I said
I don't know.
Facebook group. Stop
I
it.
can't remember now. trying to like just flow and something good would come
You're
out.
trying to keep this going?
Yes, I don't know. It's time to bring this train into the station. That's all, and that is not a euphemism.
Because you know I can't go to bed right after this, so I'm
Oh, I
gonna
know.
like. Ugh,
All right.
it wasn't very clearly stated. Okay, so
Okay.
go to our radiobrendo.com. You can join our Facebook group. From there, there's a link.
On the thing.
So do we need to guide Janelle through like, here's the
Is that the
steps?
quilt your mom made you?
Yes. That is my mom's nerd quilt. Where she's like, here my nerd son. Here's all the stuff. She probably
That's
just went in
cool.
there, just went into the fabric store and was like, I have a 35-year-old nerd son.
What can you recommend on fabric? Janelle wants to know what's sticking out of your air conditioner. Oh, that's like the cords.
The cord. I mean, they gotta go somewhere. I don't know.
All right, what is this? One episode 185? 175? 178? What are we on?
It's on the thing. What are you doing to me, man?
I want to know what episode number.
What is it? 178.
178.
All right, I'm so tired right now. You need like a neon sign. Okay, well, you buy me that neon sign.
We could get a banner. That'd be fun.
Neon signs are not cheap,
No,
like
but
at
banners
all.
are cheap. Put a banner and hang it up here during the show. It's a good
Too
idea.
much work.
It's not work. That's easy.
Fine.
It's a good idea. All right, Janelle says totes.
All right,
We're on
you guys
it.
get on that.
They're like 50% off right now on Vistaprint.
All right, you do that.
All right.
All right, for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creasy.
And I'm Phil Vaggio.
I'm Derek.
Have a good one, everybody.
Oh, we're still on.
So she found comic book fabric.
Well, like they sell patterns, like the little square pieces, and they have like licensed ones, like for everything, and they're expensive too. Because somebody like I want one, and she's like, it's like just the material alone is like $80, and then all the hours it takes to. Because yeah, you got Big Hero 6, Walking Dead, Ninja Turtles, Marvel Comics, Spider-Man.
The whole 9 yards.
It's like every property. But I'm pretty sure she just walked in there. She's like, yes, my nerd son. He's a nerd. He likes
Who's
nerd
that?
things.
Steve said while you're here, you should twirl a sign in the background. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. Don't be worried.
Stop saying that. You're gonna freak everybody out.
Oh, I'm calming their nerves.
No. My uncle invented that.
Yeah, he has like a copyright. I don't know
On what?
on like sign spinning. Like supposedly, it's like that Seinfeld
Is that
thing,
the
like
twirl?
twirling with the umbrella. But he like gets paid from people doing that or something.
Wait, so if I go twirl a sign, I got a page and
I don't know. There was something he was going on. When he told us about it, he was pretty intoxicated, so it was hard to get like the whole story exactly straight. But there was something about that where he has a lot of money, and it's because of his pioneering in the sign spinning industry.
Your side of the family is kind of fascinating.
My side or her
No,
side?
Janelle's side, because like you got your dad, who like you want to know where all those travel brochures come from,
Yeah.
like.
That's what we always see. It's your dad's rack.
It's your dad.
It is at every hotel we go to, every airport, all that kind of stuff. It's your dad's rack.
Uncle invented sign twirling. Parents counsel virgins on sex. What talent doesn't your family have?
Yeah, you got quite the.
Having normal.
Yeah, there's probably other weird stuff in there. Your dad does the brochures. Your stepmom parties with college kids.
Yeah, Janelle's stepmom is like Amy Poehler in Mean Girls. It's pretty funny. All right.
Happy 31st birthday. to
We're not on the show right now, Janelle.
BJ Bear.
Show's over.
Made with all my love, June 18th, 2000.
If she watches the 3 hours on YouTube.